This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. This show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's the show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Thanks alive. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Clayton McKee here. We are in Studio C, and I'm not sure. There's so many things happening. If there's technical difficulties tonight, it's par for the course. There is things happening that... never mind. There's a lot going on. Oh, and I do want to start tonight's show. If, in spite of other claims that have been made by other people in this presidential election, I would like to say that this little show, and anybody who has ever been on this or any show on the Q Talk America Network has done more for inclusion, diversity, and equality than Donald Trump ever fucking will.
Oh, for the love of
Oh
fuck.
my God, when he said that, I about fell over. I saw that quote, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding. And then they showed him saying it, and I'm like, huh?
No one's done more.
No one's done more than him.
You know what? That's just what he does, though. He just says things.
He does, literally. But we're doing more right this second than he will ever do in his lifetime
Just
for equality.
Looking at you, I'm doing more.
Oh, and speaking of
Thank you for gazing upon me.
and speaking of looking at her, if you're not watching and just listening, that's Kat Carlson sitting directly across from Al Perkins, and they're both sitting kind of kitty counter across from me at the old oval table of official business.
I believe.
Oh, perpendicular. That's exciting. We're waiting for Marnie to show up. Amina's in the chat room. Hi,
Yeah.
Amina. Is the audio echoing continually? That's what I need to know. These are the questions I need to know. If it is, I need to fix it, and I'm going to work on that right now. Oh, there's so many
all the
things.
good
Oh, well, there's a lot going on. Because it's a long... I think I shut this off. Maybe.
Super.
Super.
Unless you're Republican, and then wow, is this your worst fucking nightmare?
That's
Well,
true.
I was just reading an article before I came over here about how they did themselves.
Oh, and that's everything. Like, is it Boehner's fault? Is it the Tea Party's fault? There was a whole big thing about Samantha Bee. Have you seen her little clip?
No, I didn't see that.
Apparently, Samantha Bee wants her turn at the internet. So.
Oh, good for her.
Everybody gets
Everyone
a
should
turn.
have
And I
a
like
try.
that you found John Oliver today.
Oh, that was the best. Well, I found it yesterday, but that was 22 minutes. So worth it.
That's every week
And
with
it
him.
hits every nail
Every
on the
time,
head.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Are you talking about last
I
week's
debated.
Trump?
Yes. I actually debated we should just show the whole goddamn thing in this show. I'm like, they can find it on the interwebs. They can
Yeah,
get there.
and we've been pretty much talking up the John Oliver for about 2 years.
Oh
now,
no,
so-
true you have. But I've caught a few of them here and there. But I mean, it was on and on. I'm like, God, I don't want to
It's
take
a lot,
22
yeah.
minutes. And then the 22 minutes actually passed like about 14 seconds. It was so enjoyable
Yeah.
to watch.
So find the Samantha Bee one about what happens when liberals don't vote. Like what exactly went on with the Tea Party. You know, what the most important election of our lifetime was, the 2010 election and stuff. And really, really good stuff with her usual sense of humor. And it's good to have her like on board the late night circuit now,
Well, good
adding
for her.
all her joy.
Oh,
I like
heavens.
she's the really dry one from the Daily Show, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she just got her
Oh, and
show's
her new
called,
show. What is her new show called?
I don't know, something.
Standby.
A Full Frontal? Is that her show?
Full Frontal.
Full
Full
Frontal.
Frontal,
Samantha Bee,
yes. Yes. And
Look at that! I knew something. Congratulations to me. I feel better. I can.
all the good you
I'll
do.
participate in the show tonight just because I know something.
yeah, so
exciting.
that was oh, I got to do my thing every week. Hold on.
How's the sound right now? Is it all good? Mom's like, turn the music up. I got a lot going on over here. I had to, by the way, there were some technical things. I had to rebuild all of the templates in the software. So if something's going on, do let me know because I'll figure out how to fucking fix it eventually. Who knows? Jesus Christ. James. Hello, James. Welcome.
And Anita, and Drew is
So
here.
minty.
Mama Di.
Oh, and Marnie's here.
No, Marnie's there.
Welcome,
nice.
Marnie.
I thought you were going to say she was in the chat room. Like, oh, well, there's that.
What is that?
Oh, who knows? She's a lesbian bearing
So
gifts.
Sweet.
That looked the most like an Oscar.
It looked like liquor.
You looking
did.
like a liquor.
House, and I was just about to congratulate you on the world's greatest deviled eggs.
Ooh,
I cannot believe it took that long for someone to put bacon into a deviled egg.
so good.
That's the best thing ever.
As I was departing the other night, you were starting that project, but I was done. I had to exit stage left.
It was a long night. There was no
often
getting
is, I'm
around
sure.
it.
Yeah. For those of
thank
you
you
who
so
watch
much.
for those of you who watch the Oscars straight through on a single run, it took about 3 hours.
No, 3:32 or 3:33.
We watched it, and I left Al's house after midnight. It was a 6-hour show. By the time we were done,
It was like Gilligan's Oscars.
well, I yeah.
right? It was supposed to be a 3.5-hour tour.
I would like to comment that it was a big conversation started though the show. There was a lot that needed to be reacted to, and
Yes, you did. You talked about a lot of stuff, and
But
got
it's been that
sidetracked.
whole week of television. I have that coming up in entertainment. That there's been a lot of TV on ABC this week that had a lot to say, and I really have to give it up to ABC for
fantastic.
some big
saying
fucking
it?
brass cojones.
Oh,
So either you can react to it and just be pissed off that it happened and be like, why are people saying this on TV? Or you can have a conversation about it because
Always have a
truly
conversation.
fascinating things
because
Yeah,
I'm
very, very
truly
smart.
going on. So
Is that it? Oh, there we are. Never mind. Learn it, kids. Figure it out. Let's try different languages, Nero. Thank you.
is that it? So Amina's talking about that over Nairobi, they'll be able to see the International Space Station. So she had posted that in her
Oh, and
Facebook today.
so exciting! Coming, I think this week to PBS is a special about Mark. What's his name? Who spent a year in space?
Yes.
Oh,
Who-
Gabby Gibson's
Hashtag a year in
husband, right?
space. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
No,
wait.
not a husband, brother.
Her brother, the twin,
The twin.
Oh, his brother.
Their brother.
who
Her
lands
husband's brother?
tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
I
I'm
think it's
sorry.
the husband's brother. I think it's the brother-in-law.
Right, the
Yeah.
brother-in-law.
Correct.
He's
Right,
the twin
right.
of Mark Kelly. He lands tonight, which I thought was
Scott Kelly?
I think Scott Kelly.
Scott Kelly.
He
That
lands
sounds
tonight,
legit.
which is interesting because I think he flew in specifically so he could vote in the primary.
Really?
Fantastic.
No idea.
Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be
I
funny?
would, totally. I'd be
He
like,
just
land this shit.
Yeah.
That's a really great tagline.
If I can't do an
Astronaut comes
electronic
back from
vote.
space
If,
to
if
vote.
wait, if
It's
he can
just that
vote,
important.
you
What's
can
your
vote.
fucking excuse.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I secretly love to like troll on the internet and
No.
and kind of start the argument. No.
Stop.
I love arguing with idiots on the internet. I do it all the time. I do. If I have some free time and I see somebody like post some bullshit that I'm like, clearly you're ridiculous, and I need to tell you why.
I must say something.
Right. And so then I get into it. And so then they're like a pack, like an entire pack of uninformed idiots. And I was having the most fun talking to some idiots about.
The most.
It was so much fun for me.
Oh, why? Sure.
But yeah, they're like, oh, I don't like any of my choices. I don't want to vote. So then it just like spurs me to go find out that there have been 1,500 some people who have filed with the Federal Elections Committee to run for president. We only know about so many of them, but yeah.
Well, aren't there
But
always those little
and there's
scatterbrained?
independents, there's Green Parties, there's
Right.
Like
libertarians.
Roseanne Barr ran.
Right.
And there was I think
Right.
it was in 08 she ran, and there was a fear that she would pull enough that in a very close vote that 1% would make a difference.
Oh.
And there's always that fear of that third party candidate. But you know what? If you feel like that third party candidate represents who you are, like fucking
for
vote for
them.
them.
Vote
Yeah.
for 'em, absolutely.
Who cares if it's pulling a vote from this person and that? Who gives a shit? Vote for that person. Just fucking vote.
At least you showed up and voted, right?
Right, got off your ass and voted. And like you've said so many times, and it's a fact. You can't bitch about a goddamn thing if you don't play the game and vote. If
Well-
you can't.
My conversation ended up in their solution being complete anarchy with no government and no rules and everyone having
Is that
guns.
if Roseanne Barr
Yeah,
won?
that's no. This is how the discussion ends on the internet all the time, and I
And
love
fuck
it.
Obama.
And then they start calling me names, which is
course.
when I won.
Sure.
Yeah, the minute you're calling me names, I just won.
Sure. Yeah. If that's all you've
yeah.
got coming back is just to call me a faggot or whatever
Right,
you're going
right.
to call
That's-
an idiot
yeah.
or whatever.
You're
Yeah.
fat. Shut
Yeah.
up.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that how they do it in
Yeah.
Dykeland? Yep.
Oh, and I won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at-
and if
fuck
I'm president,
Mike.
everybody's going to wear bib overalls and flannel.
Yeah.
Carry around and be a
Right.
lumberjack or some
Yeah,
bullshit. I don't
one
know.
tooth.
I love it.
And the national car will be a Subaru or a whatever
Hey,
you
hey,
people
hey,
drive.
there's nothing wrong with that.
You've got a Subaru. I
I
know.
know.
She became
Also-
a woman in that Subaru.
Also,
Maybe.
that commercial. That
so
commercial. She
Well, I
became
wore my
a woman.
Super Tuesday stuff. You know, I had to have my
Oh, you got your voting
I
shoes
got my
on.
voting shoe. Well, these are my Super Tuesday shoes.
Okay.
Not the
You
voting
know,
shoes.
no, because my voting shoes are.
you only wear
far
them once
more
every
like
4
red, white, and
years?
blue. No,
No,
not really.
you wear them every election thing. Yeah, I got it.
sometimes.
Okay, that's all right.
But I have my other flag shoes that I wear
Okay.
on voting day
Yeah.
with my socks, voting socks.
Now I was reminded,
fucking
and I had
moron.
forgotten
Feel good about it.
I
because
love it.
I get all my early ballots in the mail and I do all that stuff, so I forget that.
Yeah.
I forget the times when you actually have to go physically vote or it's actually a voting day or whatever. But for Arizona, that vote that I just mailed in, that's for it's like 2 or 3
March.
months. Is it March? Is it
March.
April? There's another. When is our next thing
Like
coming in
March
Arizona?
I have no idea when
I was
our
gonna say
primary
I don't
is.
have a mail-in. Our
feel like
primary
it's-
is not until. Wait, I do know.
Because
I think ours is late. I think
thought
Ours
ours
is
was March.
really late. No. Stand by.
Stand by.
Ours isn't until the end of April.
I didn't
think.
I didn't
Is it
I have
listen to
the
the
whole
news enough.
calendar.
Okay.
Stand by.
I didn't listen to the news enough to find out when it is. I just found out it wasn't today.
I was thinking it was right before that. I thought it was March 15th on a Tuesday.
And there's also something
But
going
maybe
around,
it's,
and I'm
Tuesday,
sure
though.
somebody either in the chat room can verify this. I read it on a Facebook post that somebody actually called to find out from, I don't know if it was the, what's the woman who, I'm going to say registrar of voters, but that's not correct. Who's the what's the office that does the
Recorder.
recorder? They
County
called
recorder.
they called her to verify. Apparently, it is illegal to photograph your ballot and post it online and
That's
do that.
what I've heard.
Yeah,
And it's like it's some class felony to do, and people were voting. A lot of people that we know, or at least that I know, some you all know all of them,
few, yeah.
were posting pictures of their ballot before they
Right.
sealed it up and sent it in. I'm not one of them, but they're like, yeah, they can come back at you for that for some voter. Like, really, you're going to pursue that?
Right.
They're going to really go after
And
that?
I don't know
I'm so
what
sorry.
it. Yeah.
You were correct. Arizona primaries on March 22nd.
Okay.
Okay.
However, the thing that I was stunned by
The fuck is your
problem?
California doesn't go until June 7th.
Yeah. Right.
California.
Right, which is we talked about
They're
that.
completely
Yeah.
out of the mix.
The highest, we'll use the highest populated state in the union goes last, and it should go
The
first.
more I learn
Man.
about this primary ridiculousness, the more I'm like, of course the system.
Let me
is
guess,
rigged.
you're out of
Look,
town.
They're
Yes.
admitting to have rigging it.
So what can I do?
Rigging
I wonder. Look,
you got to
I'm
get an
stressed.
early. You can get an early ballot.
I can still.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
And you'll get on the
I don't
early.
get to stand in line.
You'll get in the early ballot thing, and you'll have to just stand in line and turn it in that day.
No,
But I'm out of town.
She's out of town.
No.
Somebody can.
The day that you can mail it back. You'll get yourself on the early ballot list. They'll send you a ballot right post haste.
Yes.
You mail it back to them, all as well. But then you stay on the early ballot list until you take
Oh,
yourself
right,
off.
right.
So in November, if you don't fix it before then, you get it in the mail, and then to get the experience of going, you go in with your ballot that
Okay,
day and
okay.
drop it in the box.
Which is
I
what
didn't know
I've
I
done.
could get it ahead of time, or
But
if I hadn't already
but
done
don't
that.
lose your early ballot. You can take it in and drop it off, but don't
'Cause,
lose it
yeah,
because
'cause
then you have to do a
a
provisional,
provisional-
and they count those
It's a
last.
fucking nightmare.
Right.
Right, right. Okay.
And they only count that if it
Right.
gets down to
If they
within.
need to.
if
Yeah.
they need it.
Yes,
I
Aaron,
have
you're
to tell
right.
you, whew, that just scared me. I
Settle
don't
down.
like.
And
to
I know
miss.
you like to go and do all
I
that
do.
stuff, but I
As
think,
long as I get to vote.
But I think you should still get
Yeah.
the early ballot. And
Oh,
even
yeah.
if you go walk in, take it in, get the sticker, and do your thing, fine. But if for whatever reason
Right.
you had to be out of town,
Right.
the fact that you could still do it early and be done with it is as much better than risking
Yeah. By far.
not.
Oh my god, I lose
did,
my mind.
I used to do better with looking up ballot initiatives. What do they call those
The
things?
proposals?
The
Yeah,
proposals.
yeah.
When I had it in advance and I could do a little
Sure.
Googling.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I have a tendency, now that I vote back in real time again, to get there and be on my phone.
Oh,
Googling,
looking
like,
up stuff.
What the fuck is this one?
Right.
No.
Because I tune out the signs so early.
Oh, because there's so many.
Oh, and all the
Everywhere.
Like I have an
Commercials and-
opinion when I first
Yeah.
hear about them, but then on election day, I'm like, oh, is it yes? Is it no?
See-
And they're always so strangely worded when you get
Yeah.
down there
Right,
that
absolutely.
I need my cheat sheet because it'll be like,
Can we move that
Yeah.
to down there?
And
Yeah.
what's so
Owns
funny
to
is
support.
those big signs actually force
Ah,
me
it opens it up.
to learn about them because I've got a little voice that sits in my back seat that goes, "Hey,
What's that?
what's Prop 302?"
Sure,
and I'm like, "Well, I don't fucking know. I guess
Which
we have
is
to look it
good.
up." No, which is awesome.
I think
No,
it's
love
kind
that.
of fun
It is
for you
really
because the
fun,
kids
yeah.
are quizzing you.
Yeah.
Because
That's
he's
kind
like,
of
"Hey,
fun.
which one is this?"
I don't have that.
And then as we learn them, then he's like, "Oh, is that the one where they want to like change how people get retirement money?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's the one."
Nice.
Right.
Oh, we want to vote no on that. Yes, we want to vote no on that.
Yeah, and then I always have to think about it.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds right. So that, and I always think, well, that probably means I don't like it.
Oh,
if they
right.
worded it
They-
this way,
right. They
then
spin
probably
that. Yeah.
Sure.
So Cruz and Clinton won Texas.
Yes, that's I had heard that.
that was.
Okay.
Just walking in, actually.
Yeah,
heard
it was
that.
just breaking news. I was listening to CNN on the way in here
Mm-hmm.
because the TuneIn Radio app that we broadcast on also
Yes.
tells me occasionally, "Hey, CNN is."
By the way,
By the way,
there's a
do this-
more informative show.
They give the real news
By
sometimes.
the way, there's actual news, and I have to say that I have missed Wolf Blitzer because
Bliss
I,
Wolfer.
yes,
That's weird.
I-
Not a lot of people say that.
You know what I learned?
I love his breaking news
One
like
thing-
face and demeanor.
One thing I've learned about him, and I've heard him say it before, but I never paid enough attention. And all of a sudden, again, we're in this high cycle of they're on the fucking 24/7
All
on
the
the same
time,
thing.
yeah.
So they toss live to somewhere, and he's got 3 people he's going to talk to or talk about or whatever they're doing. And again, it's all under the guise of breaking news. But I've figured out what he does with everybody, even though we don't know. Like he's asked this person 3 or 4 questions, and they're going to go to somebody else. He tells them to stand by. Stand by.
I love
And he
that.
talks to the next person.
Maybe that's where I got it.
No, but
It could be.
and
It very
nobody,
much could be.
nobody's
Because
ever.
I was in love with him in 2008. I was all about Wolfie.
The Wolf.
I was all about John King in
Oh,
2008.
I was.
I
Wolf
still- I don't
Blitzer.
like John King.
Still
I
love
liked him
John
in
King.
like 08, whatever. Now he's like a little bit much.
I've never liked John King, and I don't like the other one that what's his name that used to be was he a cartoonist?
Oh yeah, he's
I don't like him either.
he does state
The
of the-
lead with Jake Tapper.
The lead with
I
Jake
don't
Tapper.
care for
Oh,
him.
yeah.
But anyway, but he says
Well, he's
stand.
another one. He's not a very well hidden conservative.
Oh,
and he's
I-
kind of pro-Trump.
Well, I just don't
So
like.
that kind of shows on him.
Oh, I just don't like his demeanor. It has nothing. Whatever he's talking about, I don't care what he's talking about. I just don't like him. He looks like a car salesman to me that I don't like. So going
Jake
back to my
Tapper?
story, we stand this person by, and we stand. Everybody's on standby because we don't know where we're going with this fucking story because nobody knows how to read ahead.
Right.
So we have 37 people on standby for Wolf Blitzer as he does. So but then what's funny is it's funny when an hour and a half later he goes back to somebody, and I'm like, were they literally standing by?
on hold the
Listen,
whole
it's
Or
your
time?
did a producer go, we're not going to
Go
need
to
you for an
dinner.
hour. Can you
Right.
come back?
Right.
Did a producer figure this out?
I would think so.
But I just think it's the funniest thing that Wolf Blitzer puts everybody on stand.
Sure. And then goes,
Well, Blitzer, please hold. Blitzer, please
Please hold. Please hold. Please hold.
I just love his dramatic announcements when they're
Oh.
when they're
And it doesn't
projecting
matter, like,
things.
what it is.
And the music
Yeah.
is good.
But I like how they
The
time
graphics
it
are
down
good.
to the second when the poll is closing.
Yeah.
Like even though John King is working that map like a tired old bitch.
Pushing and shoving and
He
Sounds like
knows
a tired old bitch
that he's
now.
got to he's got to get that sentence over before the 4, 3, 2, 1 to the next
Right.
state
He's got to
closes.
Yes.
hit that post.
because it's going to
You-
change
and-
color, and he has to do something on the big wall. What do they call it? The Wonder Wall, or something to that
Oh,
effect.
no.
No, it's oh.
The magic
The
wall.
word-
The magic.
Is it the
Where
magic
he's doing
I think
wall?
it's the
this
magic wall.
Show me on the map where they hurt you.
That would be further South Dakota, Wolf. Stand by.
Oh, good God! It's just fucking hilarious to watch.
So,
it
I mean,
all.
but we have a lot of Googling
It
to
is
do.
the magic wall, and there's a website.
But
called
no, is it
CNN?
Okay, so
Magic
CNN
Wall.
uses the term magic wall.
And now they MSNBC lost their mind today because they have the big wall behind Brian Williams and
Rachel.
and Bieber, and that has all the states with all the picture, and then they have the cute guy that's wearing he's very casual today. He's
With
in
the glasses?
He's in a sweater.
Oh, a sweater.
Yeah, he's not
Oh.
even wearing a suit and tie, but he's at the moderately sized wall. So that's what they've been calling
The
it all night.
moderately
And now to the moderately sized wall. And it really, like, it started off as a kind of joke.
That's
but
where everyone tells me to shop. Go over to the let it go.
No.
Just kidding.
Okay, Joe, can we get this in writing? Joe Deganzik is in the chat room, and he has decided that he has upgraded his stance on the election. If Trump wins, Joe will leave the planet, and I don't know how you're doing it, but I figure if you link up with those,
Sure.
what are they called, SpaceX
yeah.
people, they'll put you on something and shoot you out of the atmosphere.
sure
But
might.
I think
They
that'd be
sure
interesting to see because we'd cover that. We'd
Or
go
you
live.
could just go with Raven.
Who?
Simone. She's going to
Simone.
go to Canada
Oh,
with her
wow.
whole family, so he could go there as well. I mean,
Here's the
What you
here's
got?
the thing.
She
Trump
made
could
a-
fuck
Well,
up
number
Canada,
one,
though.
I've
Yeah,
got like
that's
old
true.
magic wall footage that's going to entertain me for weeks.
Oh.
Because
Something
CNNMagicWall.com, you can like click on it.
Can you play with the wall yourself?
You can. You
Oh!
can go in and be like, oh, look at all these counts. Now,
Shots?
this is from 2012.
Ah,
However,
exciting.
I have to. We have to figure out how to do it. We have to get you a magic wall.
I know. Look, I can
Look at
be
that.
like,
Those
oh,
are
look
county
at
by
that.
counties in
County by
Kansas.
counties, and then I can just
Nuh-uh.
back on back. Oh, I can't.
I'm sorry that you people out in the world can't see it, what she's doing, but
Return
it's
to
it's
national.
stimulating.
Apparently.
Click on it. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I could turn it to Marnie too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
look, you can. Just,
See,
It's
now
the
I'm
magic
in-
wall.
Oh,
Look
thank
at the
God.
magic
Go
wall.
back.
I am so glad to find out that Niagara and Erie counties both
Nice.
went blue in
Yeah.
the presidential election. I've been worried about that for a long time.
Have you? I'm glad we could clear that up for you. Look.
Because I always worry that Niagara County is secretly like the Republican stronghold.
I like
Because
that.
look how much, when you get over to Western New York, that's mostly Republican except for the top one, the top blue one up, that's bottom.
I know.
That's Erie County, and then above it is Niagara County.
Right there.
So there's where you get your
Oh, it was
population
close
centers.
though. Look, 50% Obama, 49% Romney.
It's still one though, but it is a very
Put them together,
conservative.
one Obamney.
put them
Yeah.
together.
Because
Why do you
usually
get Obama?
The liberals are this way, and
Yeah.
the conservatives go this way in the state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like I was surprised with calling Virginia because Virginia we always hinge on all the people live, the very educated.
All the lovely people.
Oh no, but most of the population, and they're also the wealthiest part of the population, and they're the most educated. In
Oh, sure.
Virginia is
Yeah.
up by D.C. So see how it looks like Romney should have won that state.
Yeah,
but
but all the
because-
people live in the blue places.
Yep, because of by Arlington, those 4 counties are where all the people live. So that's why we always wait for Virginia till the end of the night because they can get the 6 votes from that little
Right.
county to the left.
Took us no time to get all 11 votes out of
Yeah.
these people.
Well, at one point tonight they were doing the I think it was Arkansas or it was Vermont's votes, and it was like 58-11. I'm like, how about we wait for a couple more
Right.
votes?
Oh my God, Google's been pissing me off like this entire process because I'll just go Google presidential primary and they have a nice graphic and they have a little bit of information, but they're like 1% reporting Trump won, and I'm like, settle
Right.
down. Like
I
that
had to
might end up
explain,
being true, but settle down.
Right.
Because
We're not
if
sure how
they're
that
above by triple digits, depending on which 1% it's from,
Yeah.
if it's from their right county, then statistically,
Statistically,
like
right?
you
There
only
is
need
a
like
mathematical.
320 people to say it's
Yeah.
a win, and it just depends on what area it's from.
But still, I wish
I
they
learned
would
that like
wait.
20 minutes ago on MSNBC.
That's fantastic.
According to breaking news from CNN, who we were just demonstrating the Wonder Wall with, apparently Sanders has won Oklahoma, according to what they're saying just now.
Yeah, I said that about.
I did not hear you
10
say.
minutes
I
ago.
don't pay attention to what you say.
I didn't hear the Oklahoma part.
Yeah.
Feeling the burn.
Anyway, the other thing.
Oh no, I said that to you
Texas.
guys as we were getting ready.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
There
I
it
think
is.
in
MSNBC
here.
called it like 26 minutes ago.
No, well, they jumped the gun a little bit. Those
Little
people.
bit, you never know.
Well, see, this is the official release from the CNN people because they go right to my fellatone. What the fuck was I just going to tell you? Oh my God, I had a wonderful point and a thought and I lost it.
Both
Feel
at the
it.
same time.
God, how did this happen?
I'm not sure.
I looked at my phone. Let's see how many backtrack.
And now at 8, Minnesota and Michigan will close.
Yep.
Oh, I know what I was going to explain.
Colorado.
Please.
You were talking about the percentages of people that had voted. Like you said, 1% back and yada yada.
Oh yeah, I had
So,
a really fun time on the
the-
Maricopa County election.
So
website
part of
this
my,
week.
and eventually I guess we'll get back to this at some point, which what you did over the past week,
Hey, Nan.
I did the HRC event the other night.
yeah.
And somebody was all up in arms. It happened to be a Latino guy, and I can't remember which. I actually met and talked to so many people that night. I don't recall, but somebody had made the comment. He says, I would like to meet all those Latino people that voted for Trump in Nevada. And I'm like, well, it won't take you long. It'll be like 6 people.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like,
It's like 11.
he's like, no, it's like 45%. I'm like, let me break this down
right.
to you. I'm like, and I'm just going to use round numbers. Let's say 20 people voted totally Latino, and they said 45% voted for Trump. That's 9 people.
Right.
Yeah.
About. I'm like, so you're like, he goes, oh, I didn't realize that. Like they spin
could-
those
you could
numbers, and
potentially
it
meet
sounds
all
like
those
half
people.
the
Yeah.
fucking, everybody that knows how to make a burrito in Nevada voted for him. But that's not how that worked.
No.
It's just all of the people that were registered Latino that voted. That percentage voted, so it could have been 4 fucking people.
So I can't remember. Did Hispanics make up 20% of the voting population for the first time?
I honestly
in
don't know.
2012.
Could not tell you. You obviously know
Predominantly,
more than it.
predominantly Hispanic. So these states that are voting today, like a bulk of them in the Republican one are like 95% white, 96% white, because they have ethnic people, but they're voting Democratic. So you have to find an ethnic person that's also voting Republican. They're only statistically about 29% of people identify as Republican. About 36% of the people identify as Democrat. The rest don't identify or they're independent. So you just keep whittling that down. But when you only started with 5% to choose from across the spectrum of colors
Right.
that aren't white, like, oh, you're at a very small.
Small amount.
It's all the people that can fit in a phone booth.
Hispanics comprise 10% of the American electorate.
That's what it was. So it was the first time they'd ever hit 10%.
Oh, okay.
I'm
And
just
they went
curious
like
who the,
overwhelmed. They went like 80% for Obama or something. Like because Bush legitimately had,
Hispanics were 71% for Obama.
and like for Bush they had been like 40 something. Like he had gotten a pretty respectable
Right.
number there.
But I'm assuming that comes from his Texas and being down there at
Texas
the border
roots
and all that,
having-
right?
He has many Hispanics.
Well,
in
and
his family.
and doesn't Bush actually know a little Spanish? If I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
Yeah,
very
Jeb
much.
does.
Jeb.
Jeb.
Okay, right. But I thought,
Jeb!
Jeb!
Jeb. God, I forgot the
Yeah,
exclamation point.
exclamation
I
point.
wasn't sure who you were talking about for
He's
a
been
minute.
gone so long. Jeb. Who's Jeb?
If you just say Jeb, we don't have
I
any
think-
idea.
hillbilly.
I
Hillbillies
think
then.
W knows a few phrases and he's whipped
Yeah.
them out at
But
times.
don't over underestimate him about that. He might know
I
more.
can go back.
But
Good for you.
It looks
Marnie, you had a
statistics.
you had a
Well,
thought.
I was just curious what the number was for the poorly educated.
Oh, I'd like
I
to
mean,
know.
if
It's a
we
big
could
number.
know-
But
I
they
think
like
it's a
him.
big.
It's-
They love the poorly educated.
But
Sadly, it's
Trump-
more than we think.
I know.
loves the poorly
That's-
educated.
That's the bigger number.
Well, but now how did they figure that?
They had to take their shoes
poorly
off.
educated. We love the poor.
They more than
Have to do
hands
that,
had to
yeah.
use their feet to
Well,
figure out how many.
The best part is like, and it just that he went from highly to poorly.
To poorly, right? Exactly.
So
have
it
the
does,
highly
like-
And then they all
educated,
cheered.
the poorly
College,
educated.
advanced college degrees, no high school, no
He's
high
a
school
fucking
diploma.
douchebag.
Like there's,
I now love this website.
but it just keeps him winning. And then who the other day? Oh no, it was Rachel Maddow last night.
Stand by.
I gotta watch it. I've recorded. I have to watch it after this is over.
So Rachel Maddow last night did her thing about the Republicans in 2012. Just the whole
I
primary
was
thing
reading that just today. That's what I was
was
talking about
so
before the show.
fucked, and the fact that they started doing debates in the middle of 2011, like a year and a half before the election.
Right.
The pizza guy and Crazy Pants from Minnesota were on a stage.
Crazy pants.
That would be boxing.
So to get rid of all these things, and the fact that in 2012, in December, an online business site was planning to have a debate that was going to be televised, but everyone objected to the moderator because they said it would turn it into a circus-like atmosphere. The moderator, guess, Donald Trump.
oh,
The
Front
moderator.
door.
So they
Hi,
all
Jenny.
canceled. They all canceled the debate
Wow.
because even Godfather Pizza said, "Nah." Huckabee
Wow.
said no. That no, they were like, no. This is so. I think this whole thing is to get back at the Republicans.
For
So this is all on
dissing.
Rachel Maddow.
Wow.
But because of how shitty that all went, and the fact that they wanted so that they didn't have to move to center, they could stay with the conservatives. They
Right.
moved this whole primaries because they used to have more northern states, like Ohio used to be part of this. They went to more southern states so that the person that appealed to the evangelicals could lock it up on Super Tuesday and end this shit fast.
Which is interesting because I read an article today, I have it right in front of me, about how Super Tuesday was kind of invented by Democrats to get a more moderate candidate up front early on. Because
Right,
they
and then-
line up
but
all
they
these
did-
southern states.
But they didn't
again.
change theirs. The Republicans
Well, the
did.
Republicans have changed their rules, yeah.
Yeah, but they changed theirs since the last time to this time to get it out of Ohio and down into Arkansas. So now, but Rachel just has so much fun. Like everything they did was to almost guarantee a Jeb victory and then guarantee it fast, so he could like take all of his money
right.
and start the general election.
No.
And oh
and,
my
and
God.
now that early front runner that has no qualification and nobody knows about that they were
Right.
hoping to be Jeb
Right.
or someone, I mean,
Jeb.
could be someone.
Jeb.
Jeb.
Did anybody see the
It's now
meme
Trump.
of the White House flaked in gold and all? If the, how the redecoration would be if Trump were to
Well,
to
he'd
be
write
there?
Trump across the front of it.
Right, but then everything, like all the columns were gold flaked and everything. I actually
It'll look like
shuddered.
Caesar's Palace.
Right, and I shuddered. Like when I actually thought, if there is a way in hell that any of that could actually happen, because every first lady they always redecorate, and I get that, and some of them have done wonderful jobs, and some of them have really not given a shit at apparently.
But if you have the lack of taste to marry him,
But
I
I'm
don't
like,
want you near
oh
my China.
my God, I can't imagine how horrible.
Christ Lord.
How horrible. The fortunate thing is, it's a remodel, and they can undo it if something were to happen.
They can
That's
refurbish
true.
them.
I would say
That's
every
true.
cycle that gets
Yeah.
redecorated in an hour.
They do Space Mountain over all the time.
Yeah. Are you making a reference to White House would be similar to a ride at Disneyland at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be.
All right.
Oh my heavens.
All right.
Well, now that we're 33 minutes into the
30
show,
minutes in, let's start the show.
does anybody want to talk about what they did over the past week? Anything interesting? If not, we'll just move on.
I
Well,
went to a great Oscar party.
Yeah.
I sadly did not go to the Great Oscar Party and did not watch the Oscars because I was like, that feels like a long time. No.
The highlight reel is better, which you're going to get in a few minutes from him.
Right. I have enjoyed, for several years now, I've enjoyed the Al Perkins recap of the Oscars. So
And that's
I'm
fine.
going to continue
Right.
my tradition
I like it.
Yeah.
in that.
Uh-huh.
And this is only, I think, the
for many years to
second
come.
time you've enjoyed it in person.
In person, right.
Previously, you had been a transportation
Cat
expert.
Carlson from the future
Yeah.
was listening later, right?
But it was good that
Meet
last
Cat
year I
Carlson.
got Benedict Cumberbatch's name down when he was finally a nominee.
No, as it turns out, not too long ago, I was listening to an old show for, I don't know why, I was in the car for a long
Trying
time.
to sleep.
Probably. I was driving a lot, so I wanted to take a little nap.
This just
And I
in,
was still screaming at us, yes.
Cruz is winning, is destined to win Oklahoma as well.
Well done,
Good.
Wolf
Yep.
Blitzer.
Let's over. Thank you.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Please hold.
Go ahead.
In
I'm
any
sorry.
event-
Stand by.
I did not watch the Oscars on Sunday. I maintained the fine gay tradition of Sunday brunch, which is nice.
Atta girl.
I enjoy that. And then today I hosted what may become a Boozy Mom tradition of the monthly pancake breakfast at my house. Yeah, very fun. Boozy
Okay.
Moms, champagne, pancakes. A lovely time was had by all.
I like it.
Sadly, there was a sick child stuffed away in the back room because
That's how it works.
that's how it happens sometimes. No, and I would have canceled had I known that the child was sick earlier in the day. But I went to the PTO meeting in the morning, and that's at 8:00, and like at 9:15, I'm like, oh, I better put in my Starbucks order some coffee, so I don't have to fuss with that. I'll go pick it up.
Very nice.
Party starts at 10, whatever. As I'm walking out the building, the school nurse is like, hey, take him. Yeah, kid's got 102-degree fever.
Oh.
Oh, welcome to it.
Yeah. All right, here we are. So I just took him
Wow.
home and stuffed him in a bedroom and was like, rent whatever movie you want, pal. I'm not done till noon.
That's just good parenting.
Feel better.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a
wish you
parenting
well.
win as I,
Yeah.
as I carried on with my friends and drank champagne and,
Nice.
made pancakes for 2 hours.
I
Parenting
think it's brilliant.
done right.
pancakes.
Done right. There
That's
you
my
go.
story of the day.
Very well done.
Parent of the year, I believe.
Oh, absolutely.
Ms. Ryer.
Del Año.
Yeah, just that. I feel like just the Oscar party.
I feel like that was the
I feel like
consumption
that
of the
was
whole
it.
week.
I mean, and I'm pretty proud of myself for remembering something for the week. Usually
Yeah,
I remember
that's
everything, but
very
normally I'm
good.
like,
It's well done.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, that was exciting.
And Saturday, I went to the Peoria Center for the Arts.
Did I do it?
Oh, yes, you did for a show.
Found out where the hell that was.
In
And
Peoria,
it's the
I
old
bet.
Theater Works, but they've
Oh, okay.
at some point since the last time I was there, they seem to have built a new building and a new theater, or just revamped
I
it
think
beautifully.
I saw Stomp out there. Isn't it in the middle of a Del Webb madness, or is that another
I'm
one?
sure I don't even.
know.
It's kind of near Grand Avenue, and who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
99, 84th Avenue, and
feels legit.
way too far
I like
away.
it.
But the show was lovely, and our friend Rob was in it and had a really fun featured role.
A little
and
bout of pneumonia.
with pneumonia, the entire cast was sick, which was kind of funny to find out afterwards. After City of Angels is one of my favorite musicals. Favorite. Great music. The guy that wrote MASH wrote the book. The music's by Cy Coleman, who gave us Sweet Charity and Grand Hotel and countless other musicals. And David Zippel, I think, wrote the book, the lyrics. But it was so much fun. Their voices sounded beautiful. Everything was lovely. And then we went back. We went to by the stage door to greet Rob and congratulate him on a show well done. Missed him because he ran out the door home. Someone else that I knew that was in the cast, I talked to her for a second, and she had said, "Oh, this person has this person has that." She didn't realize I knew Rob. Somebody had pneumonia. Somebody's got this going on. They're like, we're backstage just trying to hold it together and stay alive. So I call Rob and I'm like, have you already left? Like, it's been a while. Like, you don't usually take that long to get out. He's like, oh my God, I didn't know you were in the audience. I left right away. He's like, I just ran out. I'm so sick. And I was like, oh. I'm like, well, good that you went home and got some rest, but they all sounded amazing.
Oh, good.
Considering the not
The level of
and not
plague.
in spite of, like, there was no evidence of it at all when they were singing. It was just lovely, and the Peoria Center for the Arts was a lovely place to see a show.
And you
That's a tough show to get done. Doug and I went.
with the Wilk, right? I saw your post.
Tough show. Really, a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, because half of it's the writer and it's in color, and the writer is writing the story, and then you see on the other half of the stage it's all in black and white, and it's done as a 40s noir movie, like. So it's really good. The Sam Spade type detective, and the girl Friday who's in love with him, but he doesn't know, and everybody's like shady, and it's Los Angeles in the 40s, so it's all very Chinatown. So it's black and white in color, and the people cross over to play different parts, and it's very tricky, but it was
very busy.
It's a very busy show, and really, really clever and funny, because it's Larry Gelbart. That's
Right.
a very funny guy. And Clayton, for you?
The biggest thing I did over the weekend was on Saturday, while you were enjoying that show, which is why I could not go with you, because I remember that when I saw you post that you were there, you had asked me if I wanted to go with you, and I could not because of my annual voiceover job for the HRC Arizona Gala that happens every year. The nice thing about it is they raise a lot of money. They remind you why we're still in the fight, and it's not over because, again, Arizona is one of those states that you can get married on a Saturday, post your wedding your pictures on a Sunday, and be fired on a Monday. It's not one of those states that is oblivious to that. It's very much a real thing. So I was there. I enjoy it. It's always fun to work with. When I get there, I'm given a 25, 30-page script that I have maybe 10 to 12 lines in, because literally all I do, it's not like I do equate it to like the Oscars when the off-screen announcer says, and now coming to the stage for their fourth time, blah, 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 whoever. That's literally all I do. I say, please welcome the chairman of blah, whatever corporation is coming up to do a speech. I literally just introduce those people. But the interesting thing about this is, and I shared this with you guys at your house the other day, in the script, and I always go over and I make sure that every name I know how to pronounce, because there are some doozies out there.
Oh, sure.
There are some doozies. Some have been Native American names that I did not know how to, they're not as simple as Running Man or Wolf Crier. Some of them are very intricate. There are other names like Smith and different names like that are easy. So there was one woman who apparently in many different events that she's been to and presented at, they seem to botch her name. And I don't know how they do, because when you read it, it's just as it's spelled. But they lost their mind. In a pre-production meeting, they had to go over with me to make sure that I knew how to say it. And I said, I got this. I'm good.
Do we get to know her name?
So we get into the
that's the
event,
punchline,
and
okay.
we are halfway through the event, and the production assistant from the back of house runs to the production table. Which one's Clayton? Which one's Clayton? I'm the only one with the fucking microphone. Who do you think's the announcer? It's me. She's like, she wants to make sure you know how to say her name. It's Reiner.
Reiner.
No, Reiner, right? It's Reiner. No, she says it. It's Reiner.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I understand the
but
concern.
it says it in bold, it's I work with a person named Ryer.
Right.
I can get Reiner.
can't get her name right
because
half the
I
time.
call her Reiner all the time.
Yeah.
Now it's all confusing.
Now it's all
I know.
confusing.
Yeah.
But that was the funny part. Now the other thing was there
love
was
it.
a mix-up. Michael Sam, who was the first openly gay
Yeah.
NFL drafted player, was there. And I'm going to say that I met him because he and I were about as close as you and I are right now. He
And you
walked
said
past
not
me.
a big guy.
Goodness.
Yeah,
He's
which-
not as big as I would have thought
yeah.
him to be.
He just seems like he would have been a
Because
like
I
a Hulk
figure
from the
when I
picture.
see a football player, I think of Howie Long.
The
He's
games are-
Right.
the games are
huge.
tight.
Yeah, it all depends
Yeah.
on where you play.
Well, I don't know what he plays. I just don't.
he plays
he's a-
defense.
whatever. Okay.
Defensive
I mean,
end.
it's
I don't
probably hard to go through him because he's like a wall,
Oh,
but he's not
like
as
6'5".
big as I
Okay,
would have thought.
okay.
So again, saw him. He didn't see me. I didn't actually. I mean, I saw him, but like there was no eye contact, no smile. I saw him walk by, and I'm like, oh, there's Michael Sam. Oh, whatever. I didn't really give a shit,
Mm-hmm.
but I listened to his speech, so I'm going to tell everybody that I met him. That's how I'm going to.
I like it.
That's
I like
how
it.
it works.
Yep.
I think it's
I
smart.
approve.
I met. Heard some great speeches by some people. Our friend Mayor Stanton, who Al did not know he took a picture with at the AIDS Walk a year or two ago.
That's very nice.
He was
I
there.
took a picture with him at the
He
Pride
was
Parade
there.
last year.
Yes,
Oh.
that's right.
Fantastic.
And maybe we will again this year.
Oh my God.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, and by the by, just a side note, and I don't think we've mentioned it on the air here. This
think
year,
so.
typically, I have done for many years. I have done the Pride Parade here in Phoenix on Pride Weekend, which is coming up in April. I have done it many years with my cohort in crime, the one and only Miss Katie June.
That's
Yeah,
right.
indeed.
This year, and then last year, you had your own stage.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
It was
I
the
did-
Cat Carlson
well,
Memorial.
I think she just
I
made
did
her
have
own
a
stage.
co-host.
No, she didn't. No, it was
No,
an
I did
official,
have. I had. There was a
I'm
like a
kidding.
PA system
an
and everything.
official stage. You and
Yeah.
Jonathan Breyer.
And my friend Jonathan Breyer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So this year, Katie June was unfortunately it's not that because she's pregnant with twins. She won't even be in the state. She'll be in Florida
Far,
at
far
a
away.
wedding, so she could not. So I am thrilled that Kat Carlson will join me
No.
at the Clayton McKee Memorial stage.
And it must be official because you know who came into Cobalt this weekend?
I have no idea.
Jonathan Breyer.
Oh
And he
yeah.
looks at me and he says, "You're abandoning me."
Oh, so he'll be at the stage by
Bye,
himself.
Felicia. No. He's already got another.
Oh,
co-host.
good.
There was like a weird third party co-host when I was there. Which I mean, and she's very very nice. I shouldn't say weird. She's very nice.
But having a
It's like-
trio was a
I
lot
like,
harder to work
well,
with.
Right,
where
right.
did you? All right.
Because you're like, this is my gig.
But it clearly it's the down the street stage, so it's not like the judges stage. It's the
Which is where we will
it's
be.
the make shit up as you go along stage. So
Right.
that's why I was out in the middle of the parade.
But what I'm
selfie.
curious to see is because I saw all the posts that you did last year from the parade. and
I
you-
was in the middle of
you
the
had a
fucking thing. I just
you were at a
walked out
selfie
on the
stick.
street, yeah.
You were on floats,
It was very
in
fun.
floats. You did stuff.
I was everywhere.
Reminded me back to when I used to do the parade with Gary Guerin. He was
God,
one that
yeah.
got on motorcycles and took the wireless
Yeah.
mic and rode up and down the street
Oh,
when the
yeah.
Dykes on Bikes came by, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, they are.
There's still the Dykes on Bikes. Yeah.
Right, but the Arizona
There's
girls.
some other ones too. Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
it's like the
Desert
Arizona
something.
Freedom Riders
I don't
or
fucking
whatever
know.
the hell they're
Right,
called.
right. You're
Desert
right.
Dame. I
Oh,
think they're
no.
the Desert Dames.
Or whatever, yeah.
don't fucking
It's not the Dykes
I
on
like
Bikes.
it when they
necessarily.
call themselves the Dykes on Bikes.
It might be. I don't
Dykes on
remember.
Bikes is nice.
I get a script
Dykes
and I
on
read it. I
Bikes is
forget.
actually a national
It is,
yeah.
organization. Like,
And
you
then
have
actually
to-
they're
you have to
international
s-
because they opened the Toronto
That's very nice.
Pride that I went to.
But in order to be
The second one. The
in
first one
order
was just
to
a beer
enter the
garden.
parade as Dykes on Bikes, you have to belong to the organization.
And
you have
be
to
a dyke.
subscribe to their rules.
Maybe.
I'm not sure be a dyke
Or
is,
dyke
I
accepting.
feel like it would be rule number one.
You would
but
think it would.
I'm gonna look it up.
Can you get us to
I
the
feel like anymore it would not be.
Get us
because
to the
it would
bylaws.
Be discriminatory.
That's exactly what I'm googling.
Yeah,
Dykes
well,
on
I
Bikes
just had
bylaws.
to laugh because the first big Pride I ever went to with a parade was in Toronto, and
that had to be fun.
you know when it opened up and the Dykes on Bikes came by and they had the banner, I'm like, oh, that's not just a derogatory term.
No, that's
They-
a thing.
That's their proper name.
right?
that's not derogatory. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's their scientific name.
true.
It is.
Scientific.
They're in Australia as well.
Oh,
according to
Amina.
Amina, so it is more than just
Yeah,
the American
they're a
continent.
legit thing. They're like Hell's Angels. And
a
look at
big
this.
deal.
The bylaws. There's 13, There's 13 articles in the bylaws.
So it's what is number
Well,
one?
it's women, so you know they've committed it to death for the love of fuck.
I know. I jumped on the PTO bylaws committee this year. I'm like, oh, what was I thinking?
You are becoming the Katie June of the show because she used to jump on shit all the time like that. She would overcommit herself and be on too many boards and too many committees.
That's what I do.
It's true.
So that's what you're doing. All right. It's all right.
All right.
So what's rule number 1 on the Dykes on
Article
Bikes?
1, offices. Section 1, principal office. The principal office of the corporation for the transaction of its business will be maintained in the Portland metro area in the state of Oregon. So I clicked onto the Portland Dykes.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that's the
I
mothership.
thought all
they
of
will-
the Dykes on Bikes had to fly to Portland.
They
and
will maintain
free
an
house
office. No, no.
for their initiation.
and a conga
Objectives
drum.
and purposes. The
Bongo.
primary objective and purpose of this corporation shall be Dykes on Bikes Portland is an organization committed to creating a local, national, and international community of women motorcyclists and friends of women motorcyclists. Our mission is to support
that you call your Aunt
Yeah.
Susie.
Right, you're right.
Our mission is to support philanthropic endeavors in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, and women's communities and beyond.
Beyond.
Are you ready? Jenny says Hell's Angels that have duct tape over their nips.
Yeah, no, that's legit.
Do they? Oh, they have to put duct tape over their nips?
Yes, they do.
In all the parades, yeah.
If
I
they're, if they're going
I didn't
shirtless,
know that because I thought San Francisco
like
they did not.
San Francisco, no, and
Okay.
there's like
That's
three
right.
Oh, so
states.
that way they're not topless.
right.
Yeah.
top right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a
You can let the
convenient
girls-
mental.
Because
have
women's
convenient
nipples are
mental
swinging.
block.
You
very
can let the
offensive.
girls
Men's
play
nipples
around.
everywhere. Women's nipples very offensive to the world.
Apparently,
Which makes
yeah.
absolutely no sense to me at all.
Hashtag free the nipple. Look it up.
No, I've
Yeah,
been
no,
in
that was
so
a-
many dressing rooms
was a
of
thing.
drag shows. I couldn't give two shits about tits because I've seen them on every single. I mean, half the
On
performers
all the men you know.
on the men.
Oh God.
And actually, one of the men I knew went to LA and had him put in just so he didn't have to work out. Like he just got a nice chest. I'm like, look at that.
That's
I told you my
dedication.
friend that went to Mexico to have pecs put in, but he didn't get the words right, and he wore a lot of
God.
makeup, and they gave him boobs.
And he got a boob
You
down.
did tell that story once.
He had to get them removed by a reputable American surgeon that spoke the same language as him.
That's fun.
It was fun because he just thought, well, maybe they're swollen.
Nope.
For how long did he have to suffer with them?
It was a while because they had to heal and stuff,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
and then decide like to get the pec implants.
And then decide
put
maybe I
in.
need a bra.
And it was the time of like pec implants being kind of new,
I
but
had
it was
that
just
done.
it was
I bet.
just the
Sure.
language barrier and the fact that he wears
They got
a
a little
lot
out of
of
control.
makeup
I
that
thought
the
you were just
doctor
working
just
out.
assumed he
little bit.
wanted. He was,
Sometimes.
what is it? Sexual confirmation surgery? What did we learn?
Now
that
that's what they're calling it.
Is that that's the new politically
Very
correct
nice.
term for
Well, that was actually said on the Oscars. We heard like
over
17
and over
times.
again. Yeah.
Cheese and rice.
Oh, and Nant.
Oh, fun
so
stuff.
sweet.
All right, well, we've bored you enough with that. Let's move on with some things, and we're going to come back with an attempt at headlines right after this.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
30 seconds of jelly jiggling fun. This is your 30-second dance break.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Alrighty, here we go. Another attempt of bringing world headlines to you, our listener from around the world and all the ships at sea. It's headlines on Tuesday, March 1st, 2016. One Kylie blocks another.
Disappearing up your own ass? It's a thing.
I'm not dead yet.
Grinder interior.
Not at my post office.
Not all drugs are 100% effective.
Well, that's kind of shitty.
Donald Trump for president.
And woman has a special carry-on from her trip from Jamaica. These and other things coming up right now. Q Talk America. Oh, and we
I
might
didn't think we would.
we might actually. Marnie and I have not stepped on each other
Wow.
on this show, so maybe that'll do it. Where is? Hang on, I have to get a picture ready. I have pictures with all my stories tonight because I thought that would be fun. Whereas I need this one. We need this one. Okay, here we go. I enjoyed this, and you're gonna understand why I enjoy this story here in just a moment. Kylie Minogue won't go down without a fight, and by God, she shouldn't. Last year, Kylie Jenner submitted an application to trademark her first name in connection with advertising services, then went on her merry way, plumping her lips, posting on Instagram and other stuff that those horrible people do. A year later, Minogue's legal team responded with a resounding, "Oh, hell no."
Yeah.
Hell no, she said. An Australian firm representing Minogue, that's Kylie Minogue again, for those of you who are paying attention.
Can't get her out of my head.
Can't get her out of our head.
No.
They filed their opposition to the application, claiming it will confuse people and dilute Minogue's brand, which has been around for a long time. In their countersuit, they labeled Jenner a, quote, secondary reality television personality who appears as, quote, a supporting character on the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And I still don't know why anybody would care to keep up with any of them. Oh, and remind us that Jenner has faced scrutiny from African American communities and disability rights groups. That means Kylie Jenner, not Jenner. Anyway, Minogue responded
Only their
to
first names are the same.
Yeah, Minogue responded to the ordeal by posting a lyric from her song called Light Years, which I don't know what the lyric is. And just for those of you who don't know who we're talking about, I will show you a picture. This, on the lovely blonde on the left of your screen, that is Kylie Minogue. The other one is a piece of trash from another family called the Kardashians. I'd like to remind you, just for those of you who don't realize how far back we go, Minogue's debut album, Kylie, certified gold in the U.S. and has sold over 65 million albums overall worldwide. And she's also owned Kylie.com since 1996, which is a year before Kylie Jenner was even born. So fuck Jenner.
What was, because Kylie is Locomotion, right?
Yeah, she did
Like
Locomotion.
88, 89. She's in that Tiffany era.
Yeah, she also she's done
I think it was earlier
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, she's
like-
done a few things.
Oh no, she had a slew of hits when I
right.
went to the
And
gay
then
bar.
there was a
So I
big
think
deal
we're gonna-
about
I think, Kat's
her
gonna
with
have
breast
it.
cancer.
Right, she did that. She was in the Ann Jillian deal with all of that.
Yep.
And it seemed like for a while there were several of them in that era that were going through
Right.
the breast cancer stuff. A lot of celebrities were going through a lot
and
of
then
that.
she had that hot dance song with all the people naked on the ground
Yeah,
touching each
and
other.
I don't know what that
yeah.
was. You're right.
I don't know if Kat's Googling something or if I need to Google it while Marnie reads.
No, I'm Googling and yet not recognizing titles. I know her.
Who, Kylie?
No.
Minogue?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Of
you know her.
I know all of them.
But it gets very generic after a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Madonna after like 2004. You're kind of like, okay, what are you singing about now?
I'm like, wait a minute, settle down.
So, disappearing up your own ass is kind of a thing. You know,
Okay.
you believe enough of your own hype.
I like a challenge.
I like it.
There you are. try to lick your elbow.
No.
No? Okay, you can't. I thought you liked a challenge. So Donald Trump is feared lost after disappearing up his own ass.
Cute.
Medical experts in the United States are trying to coax Donald Trump out of his own ass after he vanished
Leave
up
him there.
inside it during a
Leave him.
televised debate.
Leave him there.
Witnesses described how during a lengthy rant about how great he is, Trump was slowly sucked up by his own anus with a repulsive slurping noise.
Oh.
All
No,
that remained.
I wouldn't say that was repulsive
No.
at all.
No, it sounds delightful.
Suck away,
Make
dear
the
ass.
noise. All that remained was a small pink ring on the cushion of his chair, which would occasionally shout, "I'm a winner!" I'd say it's shocking, but nobody was actually all that surprised, an eyewitness told us. It was only a matter of time, really. Doctors tried to encourage Trump to emerge by dangling a piece of cheese in front of the orifice, but it was Monterey Jack, which the varyingly wealthy billionaire said sounded suspiciously Mexican. Trump has gained in the polls overnight, with many Americans saying that an angry pink ring on a cushion is what they want from a president.
Ring on her cushion.
Reports suggest that experts in the disorder from Britain are flying out to assist following their experience of treating Nigel. I'm going to mispronounce the last name.
European.
It is. Nigel Farang. Yep.
Rectal.
Firang.
Ferengi.
Ferengi!
Well, it's kind of what
I
I
like
like.
it.
I thought.
I think that's a Star Trek
I think
species.
we'll go with it. With a
Let it stand.
similar complaint that
I'll
happened
take
in
it.
2003. So obviously he's a narcissistic fuck as well. The end.
There's so many are narcissists for today.
Maybe that's an untrue story, but
Maybe.
maybe not.
Well, now
So-
they're all on, and I hope I'm not stepping on one of your stories, but now Rubio said something about Trump has small
About their
hands.
fingers.
So what does
Yes,
that say
Did
about
they
them?
get that from
Oh my-
John Oliver?
Did they
Right.
get that? No,
Is
because
it-
John Oliver.
did
then-
The whole
Rubio-
thing.
Right.
No,
He
but
may
John
have.
Oliver was Sunday.
John Oliver
Right.
was
Rubio
Sunday
was yesterday and
talking about
today.
an old magazine feud
Oh, that's
about
right.
Trump's
That's right.
fingers.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
And then all of a sudden
His
it's
sausage-like
Tuesday and
fingers.
yeah, his small fat fingers or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So now it's like he's
They're
got
very,
small
very
fingers.
small and they smell
I feel like
cabbage.
Rubio is watching
John
John
Oliver.
Oliver.
Yeah.
And we know that John Oliver listens
Well, he
to
knows
us.
it's good material. Right. It's a
Right.
circle.
So clearly we
Yeah.
are feeding
Yep.
Marco Rubio
Feeding this
material.
monster.
Absolutely.
But then, and then just to
Absolutely.
keep it really sick, now that we are in the middle of this horrible dick metaphor, then all of a sudden
I love
Donald
the-
Trump says, I've been told I have really beautiful fingers. And I'm like, okay, now everybody stop. Like, this is the conversation now is dick jokes. Like,
Right.
we weren't low enough last week with the sweating and who's wearing more makeup and all this shit. Now we're
I
actually
sort of-
down to dick jokes.
I sort of love that it's devolved into dick jokes.
Yeah.
See,
That's why I love the internet so much.
But I mean, that's where I
Dick
said
joke.
that.
But that's
and
the
then when
Republicans
people
that are trying to be so
becoming-
noble, and you're like,
Yes.
nope, your candidates are telling dick jokes on tour.
Yes, I mean that's what is just driving me crazy is that all
love
that's
it.
happening. And, I mean, it's amusing-ish. Except
Not even
for,
ish. Dick jokes are funny.
Dick
Yeah.
jokes can be funny, but maybe not right now. Like the country,
All
like,
the time.
all of the other countries are looking at us going.
But go to your Republican friends' Facebook pages
I know.
and read the nobility that they're fighting
No,
with.
that's exactly.
They're
yes.
voting in a
Yes.
whole different election.
Barbara Seville, local celebrity here in Phoenix. Barbara Seville just posted on the Facebooks. And if you want to look her up, it's Bob, the name Bob, middle name Ra, R-A, Seville. Barbara Seville. She just posted a picture of a Donald Trump dress shirt, with a 16 neck and a 34-35 arm, which oddly is the size I would wear. 100% cotton, made in China.
Yeah.
Label right on it.
All of
yeah.
those things are made in
I know.
China.
I just think it's funny that's there. Nobody sees it. It's kind of funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Marnie, have you
I'm
you've
good,
exhausted that
yeah.
story? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you the name Jerry Marin. Does that ring a bell with anybody? Jerry Marin.
I can
It
Google
sounds
it.
familiar.
No,
but-
don't ruin my shit.
That's what I do. I Google
Jerry
things.
Marin. Does this guy look familiar to you at all? Jerry Marin.
Oh, yes, the wizard. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the
the
mayor of
Wizard of Oz.
Munchkin Land.
Jerry Marin is the last surviving Wizard of Oz Munchkin.
But he wasn't the mayor. The mayor died.
He
a long
also
time
looks
ago.
like the one that
He's-
was in Poltergeist.
And he's keeping his title because, contrary to popular belief,
Not dead.
still alive. He's alive and well. There were reports that on Monday that 96-year-old Marin had passed away after a bout with pancreatic cancer. But TMZ spoke with Steve Cox, one of Marin's close
I'm a lawyer.
friends, who said that he spoke with Jerry yesterday after the
you.
death reports and verified that little Jerry is doing just fine. Now, for those of you on the YouTube feed and are watching, Jerry, you see pictured in the white hat
Represents
right
the
there.
Lollipop Guild.
He is the middle
Lollipop
Lollipop Guild
Guild.
guy. So Steve says Marin doesn't even have pancreatic cancer. All is well. He's cared for by relatives in Southern California. He doesn't do appearances anymore, but he is about as healthy as a 96-year-old Munchkin could possibly
be expected to be.
Jerry is currently the last surviving actor still representing the
You'll
Lollipop
represent it.
Guild.
My
Mazel
mom used to
tov.
tell
Good
a
on him.
story that the either the mayor of Munchkin Land or whoever played his wife, that she delivered their baby. Like they somehow
Oh,
made
yeah?
it to Niagara
Oh.
Falls during childbirth, and she was there for. And I don't remember which one. I don't remember which character it was, but it was either
Right.
the mayor of Munchkin Land or whoever his wife was, and their spouse having a
Right.
baby. Whoever had the gender
They may have been one and the
confirmation
same.
surgery. Yeah, that could be.
The mayor and his wife on the movie may have actually been married.
Yeah. So
know?
Oh,
The Munchkin.
They
they got
Land.
married
They
in
stayed to themselves.
Munchkin Land.
there's
We
a.
represent.
Aaron from LA, you post that as immediately after someone replies, "Rest in peace." We've learned he's alive, and no one reads. But we're cutting information right
we are
here.
cutting edge.
Cutting edge.
You know,
Breaking news.
Stand by.
Wolf
Please,
Blitzer.
please stand
Stand
by.
by.
Please stand by.
Stand by. You know, the thing that's interesting. Same thing happened with some people that have passed away a long time ago.
Oh, I was just going
Right,
to say
when
that.
those things
but
come
the
up-
anniversary thing comes
Right.
up that they on
Drives
this day
me
this person
nuts.
died.
Yeah.
I even post on there. This happened 6 years ago.
Right.
Please take this down. And they don't get it. I'm like, it's not. Don Knotts didn't just die.
Yeah.
Long
The
time
best
ago.
part
I've
is when
followed
people are
her
like,
before.
oh my God,
I'm
I
such a
loved
fan.
it."
What a
Yeah.
great loss.
No, you're
If
not.
that big of a fan.
That's
You'd have been missing him for the last 6 years.
It's exactly
Sure.
like all of the people that during the Grammys tweeted, "Oh, Adele's amazing! What a great performance!" No, that was shit.
Yeah.
That
No.
sucked. The sound sucked.
Right,
She
you
did a
haven't
great
even-
job, but no, that
You're
was
right.
not a wonderful.
And we're not putting
No.
Adele down.
The great
sound
performance
just
of that
sucked,
was that
She
she
is
didn't
amazing.
flinch.
Absolutely.
She didn't flinch.
But you
that
can't-
was not a good
that was
performance.
not beautiful.
I get.
None
Yes,
of that
I'm
was
with
beautiful.
you. I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Nope,
I'm
absolutely.
with you.
You could say, "Oh, what a shame! Adele's such a trooper," but not.
Just-
beautiful.
Nope.
Super Trooper.
So,
Thank you, ABBA.
are you all done, sir?
Go ahead. Yes.
All right. So this is exciting, and I'll have to send this somehow, so that everyone can kind of
Via the internet.
via the internet machine, so that everyone can kind of get a look at this, because it's one of the funniest fucking things I have ever seen.
Was it a dick joke?
There are dicks involved.
Is it a dick joke?
There are dicks involved. Completely, yes.
I'm on a roll tonight.
So if
I
you
know where
go
my dicks
to,
are.
if you go to,
Congratulations on that, sir or ma'am.
I do indeed.
Yeah.
if you go,
Still in the
by the way,
closet.
Abe Vigoda still dead.
Still,
Well, just recently, but still dead now. If you go to
it's personal this
dangerousminds.net, that I can at least lead
Is it-
to.
is
So
it naked pictures of
dangerous
Michelle
well,
Pfeiffer?
So no, dick jokes. I
What
said.
is it again?
So
Say it again.
Dangerousminds.net,
Dangerous.
and it leads you to, if you look hard enough.
Oh,
Is that your dick
my
joke?
No, not
God.
really, but that just worked out real
That
well.
was enjoyable,
Thanks,
though. Thank
I
you,
liked
Marty.
it,
That was
yes.
good.
If you look around in there, it'll lead you to John Waters' favorite website, which is this, that critiques gay interior design as seen on Grindr. I almost peed myself reading this whole thing. It was hysterical. So John Waters calls it hilarious. David Sedaris says it's just perfect. Lurid Digs is quite possibly the greatest design resource on the entire internet.
Lurid digs.
Lurid Digs. This brilliant blog doesn't deconstruct posh flats or stately mansions. My guess is that they dig through Grindr looking for the worst interiors on the erotic selfie genre. You would be shocked at the setting some of these men find appropriate for their boudoir photography.
It always astounds me. It astounds me what people use as backdrops.
Killing me. I mean, for real. It says, but Lurid Diggs is on a mission to educate the masses, in the name of good taste.
Like you do.
Queer eye for the gay guy. Somebody has to do it. So, like, for instance, there's this. Just to give you a for instance.
Just a naked with artwork.
Right, with the artwork behind him. It says, so this is what the blog would say to this gentleman. Do you know what drives me crazy about rooms like this? And then it says, warning, this will reveal just how anal I am. It says it's not the artwork. I mean, yes, the juxtaposition of the vaguely primitivist nude on the right with the large Thomas Kincaid woodland scene, probably entitled King of the Valley or the Forest Royal Family. Like, he goes through this whole, it's brilliantly written. And so you have this awkward naked guy with this ugly stuff in the background. It's not the wallpaper, so he never talks about the person in the photo.
It's always the backdrop.
It's always the backdrop, and the way it is written is hysterical. Were you guys able to find it on there yet?
Well, as it turns out, if you just go to dangerousminds.net, their first story right now is did Jim Morrison really rock out with his cock out on stage in Miami?
I know.
So you have to really
hysterical.
you have to search the site for John Waters.
Look up John Waters.
And find that particular article, because there's many quality investigators.
There are definitely some things on there that I was like, oh my. But truly, as you go through,
Because I'm true.
and you can go to the actual site, like it'll let you click in. I was on a story in here, so it doesn't show you everything, but the site actually does.
I mean, there are fun headlines in here.
I mean, there's this creepy guy in the hallway. It's hard to see, right? With this
Typical. That's actually a typical
picture.
Yeah.
Now I
It
know I
ruined
was
the
doing
idea
Grindr all
of
wrong.
winter retreats, proving that anyone dumb enough to lock himself away at a snowbound lodge will eventually start talking to ghost bartenders, taking blood elevators. Like, he goes on and builds this scene with this awful creepy guy.
Right.
Oh, The Shining also ruined hallways before the movie came out in 1980. So he breaks this down in these blogs. So if you get the chance, it I needed to point this out because the whole site is ridiculously funny, and I strongly suggest you check it out, lest you commit a sexy snapshot cardinal sin.
Lest you commit.
Yourself. If you're already featured on Lurid Digs, you have my deepest sympathy. But maybe consider sending them a revision shot showing what you've learned. I'm sure they'd love to know that they're making a difference in the world, one amateur at a time.
Yeah, and because I've been watching a
hysterical.
lot of Oscar related podcasts, and most of the people that when you're watching them, they'll have like an Oscar poster behind them or some movie posters from wherever they're posting from, and then there's some that are like, oh god, it would be so much better if they were homeless.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, but it's so funny. So I step out of it. It wasn't necessarily a huge story by any means. It just is so funny to go through and read some of the stuff because you find yourself not looking at all
Yeah.
at the naked guy because you're like, oh my god.
How atrocious everything else
And
is.
sometimes you don't realize what you're watching on, like, you stop paying attention to the podcast because you're just so busy looking at the room behind them, like,
Absolutely.
Like,
I
what
mean,
is
like
happening
this
in there?
picture of the guy's room.
Yeah, it's a shit show.
yeah, that's what I mean about, like,
I love a lot of
And what
those.
I'll never understand,
The
and
internet is
this
full
is
of that.
this
Oh
has
my
been a
God,
pet
I've
peeve
not
of
seen
mine,
that. It's
regardless
hysterical.
of what you're doing. Anybody who posts a picture, I don't care if you're showing you got your hair done and you're in
Yeah.
a mirror.
Yeah.
Close the goddamn toilet.
Or at least
Yeah,
flush
but
it.
you can't
That
stand that.
drives me crazy.
bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
minimum.
No, but close
minimum,
it.
give it a
Why would
fresh
you do
flush.
that?
Right.
And
Yes.
I've decided, various things. If you sign up for different blogs or different things, whatever your profile is on different customer service websites, you can associate a picture if
Is
you
that what
want
we call
to.
it now?
Oh, no,
Customer service website?
I mean, aside from the
For
online
real, like
profiles like
customer
that,
service stuff,
you can
yeah.
also add photos and pictures. And I've always done it just because I've always had good headshots. And then I see other
Sure.
people, I'm like, that's what you chose?
Yeah.
Put a piece of cardboard
Right.
behind
I'm
you.
the only
Fake
one
it.
on any of those sites or anything else. I always use a professionally done,
Right.
maybe slightly airbrushed headshot. They're all good. And I don't understand. And
Stand by.
And then,
I feel like we're playing fast and loose with the word
Yeah,
slightly.
I kind of. But go
Breaking
ahead.
news.
Yeah. Stand by. Yep.
Clayton may have been airbrushed once.
Oh, wait a minute. This
oh,
just
no.
in.
No. 7 years ago in the 40th birthday.
Yeah.
And then just recently in a new series that I just
Which
had
was
done.
wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, it's a good show. And actually,
It's a really good show.
there's just a couple lines taken out from what I specified. I don't know what he really did, but I just said, use your judgment.
All I told him to take out
I said this
was the years 35
Right.
to 60.
Make me look 20.
Oh,
Can
God.
you make me look
Read
20?
through that blog, though. Jesus, it's one of the funniest things.
Heaven's sakes. We're running a little bit late into hour 2, but guess what? Coming back, we're going to get the drinking word from Al Perkins. It's going to be
Hooray. Oh, I need more to drink.
exciting.
I think it should be.
I'm sure it'll be an exciting word that we'll all be able to fit into conversation just as
Organically.
easily as organically. It'd be lovely.
We're
Coming
still
up,
waiting on a winner in Massachusetts and Colorado.
What do they say for Minnesota?
it's cold. Fucking,
be.
it's cold.
Oh, in Minnesota.
We're coming right back. More headlines. Al, Kat's got a segment later on. We're going to shit all over because that's what we do.
Right.
It's Q Talk America. You're in Studio C with Kat, Marty, Al, and me. We'll be right back right after this.
Minnesota, Massachusetts.
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. This show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
There's always great conversation off the air that we go to a break, and as you can see at the live shot, Kat and Al have left the fucking room. They're done. They're out of
They
here.
hate us.
Marty is trying to explain something to me because honestly, the last story she told, I got about half of it because I was doing other things. But she's gonna send me the link. I'll read about it.
It's
We'll
very
figure it all out. So much going on. Hi everybody, welcome everybody in the chat room. Aaron from LA, Mina is in there. Joe D, my mom. I forget there's other people in there. I'm sure.
Jenny,
Nero's in there too.
Drew was in there.
Ah, so many
Anand.
people. Welcome, one and all. It's the show. It's a Tuesday
James
night.
was in there.
You're in
I don't know
studio.
if James left us, though.
Did he leave us or is he still in there?
He might be.
Oh, the music has a weird echo. Well, we'll figure that out again. Who knows?
Well,
There's
people
so
are
many
just
settings that
totally
have to be
bottom
figured out. Minty settings. Oh.
Are you gonna play the drinking word music?
Yeah, I
now?
stand by. God damn. Oh, well, run to the bathroom.
I was gonna try to be subtle.
Oh,
Pee
well,
as fast as I
there's,
can.
there's no point in being subtle, Alfie. Why start now,
With
Alfred?
this group? Weird.
Why start? No. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen right there. I want that. Oh, Jesus. Hate when that happens early. It's a premature cue. I hate when that happens. Because I figured out the timing of all this shit. The other day I was going nuts trying to figure this out. There's so many things that have to happen at the same time.
It's very busy.
It's very busy. So I don't know how much more time do I have to delay on him. This is only 45 seconds. I wonder how much time he needs.
He doesn't need that much.
You think so?
By the time you intro back in, he'll be here.
You think we'll be good?
I'm pretty sure.
All right, we'll try it.
He's a waitress.
Oh, hi, here
He
we
can
are.
do this
Here's
one.
our drinking. Oh, it's the wrong one. Here's our drinking word segment. It goes a little something like this.
Oh my goodness, I thought we were playing the intro.
And now, a drink along. We dare you to stay awake during this royalty-free music and to play a drinking game with us. If you are currently or soon to be driving a car, you cannot play. If you are presently the primary caregiver for children and or the elderly, you may desperately want to play, but no. If you are listening from a rehab facility, you are disqualified because you already hit bottom. And that means you already won this game at least once. If playing this game is in any way illegal for you, put the bottle down and make better life choices. There is no good in your goodbye, and there is no lifeguard on duty, so you will be swimming at your own risk. Tell your lawyer to take the fucking day off. You can't sue us. We warned you. Good luck.
Stand by.
That's
I have
our,
no bell.
Yeah, that's your bell. Here's mine.
Oh, thanks.
our drinking word is standby.
Stand by.
I
Prepare to
enjoy.
get fucked up. I say that all
Well
the
done.
time.
I
Stand
enjoy
by.
the
Okay,
drinking
all
word.
the time.
Standby. Just please hold. Standby.
Arrange your Uber now. Listeners at home, I hope you're at home.
Listeners at home.
Listeners.
Marnie, I think
That's
is it
good.
you?
I'm done.
You're done? It's me?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, conversations around racial issues have grown supercharged during this presidential election season, and part of that seems to have rubbed off on the old Capitol Hill in a debate over naming post offices. Well, after award-winning poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou passed away, somebody has decided to name a post office after her.
Hooray!
On days when the House of Representatives does not have much to do, by the way, of work, the body names post offices. I guess that's what they do on their spare
Clearly,
time.
as a legislator, there's nothing.
Usually, these are fairly mundane affairs. The body will unanimously vote to approve the naming of a post office, no matter what member puts the request forward. I mean, name it after Al Perkins or Kat Carlson or Marty Ryer. Doesn't make any difference. That was the case today when a vote to rename a post office in California to Medal of Honor office passed 381 to 0. However, it was not for the next vote cast to rename the post office in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, after civil rights icon Maya Angelou. No. The mayor passed with only 371 votes. 9 Republicans voted against the Maya Angelou bill, and 1 voted present. Didn't even vote at all. Said, "Fine, I'm here. I'm right here." Congressman Harris voted against the Maya Angelou post office naming because she was a communist sympathizer. His parents escaped communism, and he feels that he cannot vote to name the post office in the United States in honor of someone who supported the communist Castro Revolution in Cuba. That, according to Shelby Hodgkins, a spokesperson in the office of Representative Andy Harris, Republican from Maryland, who wrote in an NBC News statement, "The 9 Republicans who voted against naming the post office, stand by." After Maya Angelou. I just want to throw it in.
I was like,
I just want to throw it in.
Drinking word.
Very good.
They were
Well done.
GOP reps Mo Brooks of Alabama, Ken Buck of Colorado, Michael Burgess of Texas, and Jeff Duncan of South Carolina. Glenn Grothman of Wisconsin, Andy Harris of Maryland, Thomas Massey of Kentucky, Alex Mooney of West Virginia, Stephen Palazzo of Mississippi, and Representative Doug Young of Alaska, who was the one who voted president. Why the fuck would you give a goddamn? 371 people like, yeah, let's name it after Maya Angelou. It's in the South. What do they give a shit? Nope. 9. Nope. 8 no and 1 present.
The president's kind of a savvy. It's kind of a savvy vote because
Yeah.
you don't come across as a dick either way. You just.
How do you not?
At least you
here.
showed up.
How do you not come across as a dick? Especially with something as benign as that.
But it can not in this particular vote. It seems like a pussy move, but there are things where voting present, like on a Supreme Court choice.
Right, I can see it on something like that. We're
Yeah.
naming a fucking post office.
Right. I was just saying in general that could be, but not here.
Neither for or against.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I showed up.
I showed up. I did my job. Yeah.
Right. This was House of Representatives, yes?
The-
It sounds a lot like some bullshit that the House did.
Yeah, with that many people.
I don't think.
hang on, I'm reading back through it.
Yeah, it's the U.S. House of Representatives, right?
I'm sorry. Yes, House of Reps. Yep.
Again, your small local election elects these assholes and idiots to the House of Representatives. So shame on all of those people that live in all of those districts
And
that
remember,
voted in all of these idiots.
if
And
you
the off
don't
year.
like them, you can vote them out.
Vote 'em out.
Vote them out.
You can do your
Participate in
duty.
the system,
Right.
be a part of it.
Senate terms are 6 years, but House every
Right.
2 years
Every
they got to
2
run
years,
again.
those fuckers are gone.
Get those.
And
Stand
isn't
up
this
and
year
vote.
one of those years?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
I think a lot of them are up for.
No, every
Even-
every 2 years for the
Do they reset the whole House, or are they
yeah,
like?
the House of Representatives is every 2 years. They always have to be. That's why
But it's the whole House, not some even
no,
some
the
odds.
entire House.
Okay.
There no one's because it's 2 years. So how could you
Mm-hmm.
be even or odd? You only got 2 years.
You could, because then half of them could be on even years and half of them could be on odd years.
Oh, right. They don't.
Evens
so you're
and
saying
odds.
that yeah, no. There's only it's only every 2 years, and the entire place
Always
is up for
even
a
years.
new job every 2 years.
See, so we can change the entire House of Representatives.
Which is why
if
redistricting
everybody
and all
shows
that
up.
stuff, where they redraw the maps to make sure that people. That's why those people can stay in their jobs for 28 years.
Right, because reasonable people moved into this neighborhood, so we're gonna change the line.
yeah, so we're gonna just
Yeah.
this way.
They do exactly what I did to my cousin, who's 9 months younger than me. I was like, oh, you know what? Nobody can hang out with the older kids unless they're older than 10, and you are still 9. Well, fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's fair.
That's just how it goes.
We
No.
like the,
If she was in town, I'd be like, oh, you can only you can only sit at this table if you're 37.
It was something about you can only ride your bike in the street if you were 10. Like there was some
Right.
arbitrary rule. And then when I turned 10, my mom was like, I think we meant 12.
Maybe 13.
By the way, recapping back to one of our earlier stories, Al was correct. Kylie Minogue's first debut album, Kylie, was in 1988.
With the remake of Locomotion.
Number one hit, The Locomotion, in 1987.
What's funny is, and again, going back to right out of high school for me, that was my first radio job, and I remember it being on Rick D's Weekly Top 40 when she was on there doing
Yeah,
the
'cause she's-
Locomotion.
I mean, if you would have picked her to outlast Debbie Gibson or Tiffany, I mean, that's a horse race nobody wants to be in, but stand by. Breaking news,
I almost
Kylie Minogue
spit.
won. Kylie Minogue won.
I almost spit coffee
I love me
across
some
there.
Debbie Gibson.
When you referenced a horse race, and I was like, well,
And the song that everyone knows from Kylie Minogue is "Can't Get You Out of My Head."
that's one of the ones I
And
just go,
spinning, there's something about spinning around or spinning.
Spinning around, especially for you. Got to be certain. I should be so lucky.
I should be so lucky.
Can't Get You Out of My Head was
Lucky in Love,
2001.
She's from Stock Aitken Waterman originally. She's from the people that gave us Rick Astley and Bananarama and Donna Summer, Another Place in
Never
Time.
gonna give you up.
Oh,
Yeah,
Never
they're
gonna
never
all.
let you down.
That's why you like those songs because you like every other song that they did. Dead or
Right.
Alive.
Right.
It's all one song. Just add a
Right.
new
I
singer.
don't know that I'd say that I like them, but I like to inflict them on other people.
Oh no,
There we go.
we all like them.
Yeah.
That's our generation. Trust
Yeah.
me.
yeah. We're talking about our generation. Dun, dun, dun,
I'm
dun.
not old enough to sit at
We
this
all
table.
enjoy
Yes, you
it.
are.
Yeah.
Because you give us the demographic for the younger gays.
And not a lot younger.
Not a lot, no, not a lot younger.
Let's just
Much
push that
younger.
bucket
But
up
you're bringing the
right
whole
now.
Dykes on Bikes with you now, so
Yeah,
that's
there you
good.
have
Got the
it.
bylaws.
Morning Ryer, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Go ahead, sir. What were you going to say?
I'll say
Al?
that the
Were you
B-52s
gonna
are going to
comment
be
on-
are going to be at Phoenix Pride.
Yes.
I need a
I can't
written.
even deal.
I need a
Why?
written note
Are you
from
excited?
them.
You're not
No.
excited.
You need
that,
a written.
that they will perform Mesopotamia, or I shall not be going. Because if I stood in that fucking dirt patch,
Are you just
only
like
to,
a
only to hear
Love
Love
Shack
Shack
kind of
and Rock
thing?
Lobster.
no, right. If I just got to hear the
I want the
songs
theme
that-
from the
No.
Flintstones.
I'm working the VIP bar again,
Yeah.
so I am looking forward
Sure.
to hearing.
like I know, I know.
Braun
Shack
and I
Rock
went
Lobster.
years ago when they were at outside at the Cricket Pavilion,
Write something down.
and they were so fun.
They are
like,
fun.
and so I don't know now.
I've worked a lot of karaoke in my life.
Absolutely, I understand.
Again,
stand
look
by.
around the table.
Stand by. What? Oh,
We're a
that was
support
so-
group for each other. Yes, stand by.
I can't get on
their
board with
concert-
B-52s. I
But their
can't do it.
concert was
I
so
can't get on
fun.
board with these B-52s.
Yeah, it was a lot of
I
fun.
can't
they
do it.
suffer
I'm very
from-
unhappy.
A very rare phenomenon, but you can find it throughout music, where a band gets a song so big that nothing else afterwards
Yeah.
matters, and
Yeah.
they
Oh,
hit it
right.
with
Shack.
Love Shack, where like
Sure.
a perfect song, the perfect group, the perfect time, the right season, and they could never top it, and
They
their
can
career
never
just
get rid
ends.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's rare. But there's a lot of groups that have that one song that you're like, nope, that's the end. Career's
No.
over. Pack
Can't.
it in. You made your $1 billion, and you're gonna.
Good job.
Sure.
As my friend Cliff would say, you can live the rest of your life on that one song.
True.
Good work.
True that.
Going to Gay Pride and performing it. They could get.
I mean,
away,
really, that's my dream job. But
they could get away with singing 3 songs on there, but I'm gonna need them to include Mesopotamia because they have a fan that knows that song that was never a hit anywhere.
I don't think we can.
I feel like we should write a letter.
Well, we can email Fred
could.
Snyder and ask him.
Submit a letter. Yeah.
Say
I will.
it,
Oh, I
please,
will.
please,
Maybe I'll
please.
find them on the Facebooks and
You
tell
should
them.
There you go.
say, look, I'm of your age. Sell it that way. Just sell it that way. Who
I'm
cares?
considerably younger.
I'm
well,
a fan.
I know. I'm a fan from the early '80s, and I would like you to sing that song in Phoenix.
I saw a show with him or had lunch
April
with
3rd.
him or something in New York where he was like right next to me. So
No.
either it was a small restaurant, we were at the same table, or we were at the theater.
It's
and
like
he
you're related. Now you can
He
just
was
call it.
he was sitting at the bar in Phoenix or here at Charlie's years ago when he was they were at the state fair,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sitting next to him, and I'm like, he said something to me, I'm like, whatever, Fred. Like he was loaded, and I'm like, whatever. And he goes, you know who I am? Like, of course I know who you are. I'm like,
Yeah.
the Tin Roof. I got you. I'm like, and he's like,
Very
oh,
trusted
and I'm
right
like,
now.
look, I said, just to prove to you that I know who you are, I'm gonna get the DJ to play a song I'm gonna bring you on stage. And he's like, nope. And I swear on everything holy, it was a LaHoot night. It was a Sunday. LaHoot didn't know who the fuck he was. And I'm like, it's Love Shack, for God's sakes. How do you not know this song?
You drink enough, you forget a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I guess. But I was standing with Fred Schneider on the stage at Charlie's. They're playing Love Shack, and all the kids in
That's
the
funny.
did the whole,
Tin Roof,
Love
Rusted.
Shack. Anyway, so anyway, I feel like I know him too.
You know, well, you guys go way back.
Way back to the
But you have a
bar.
little Mesopotamian a little bit.
See what I can do. Am I done with my story?
I don't know.
What
I forgot
story
what
was
we were
I on?
talking
No,
about.
it's on your Marnie. It's you. Go.
All right. So
Stand by.
On a what?
Oh, stand by. My liver can't take too much, kid. So
On
Whatever.
It'll
an
do.
interesting scientific note.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, we've heard of the drug Truvada,
yes,
right? It's an AIDS prevention,
The PrEP- the PrEP
HIV PrEP pill. Yep. A man taking the HIV prevention pill Truvada has contracted HIV, marking the first reported infection of someone regularly taking the drug. So this goes back to play it safe. Like, just fucking play it safe. The report from the Maple Leaf Medical Clinic in Toronto says that a 43-year-old man who had sex with other men was infected after taking Truvada for 24 months. He's believed to have encountered a rare strain of the violent that's resistant to the 2 medicines that make up Truvada. The virus is believed to have been drug resistant when it was contracted rather than evolving resistance after transmission.
which would be the real worry.
Right. Truvada is supposed to reduce HIV transmission rates by more than 90%. The current research is putting it above 99% when taken 4 times a week, so it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So news of its failure is a surprise. I don't know failure, I mean, but that, because it says that it's...
So that you can still, you
It's
know.
the
you can
1%,
still
sure.
do it. It's right. It doesn't mean the drug is ineffective. However, I certainly don't think that this is a situation that calls for panic. But it's an example that demonstrates that pre-exposure prophylaxis, the use of drugs to prevent the infection, can sometimes be ineffective in the face of drug-resistant virus. In the same way that treatment itself can sometimes be ineffective in the face of a drug-resistant virus. I mean, anything.
and the
but
little-
it's just the idea. I think people like count on things. They rely. right?
Well, yeah.
On that. And that it's like, oh, well, we don't have to.
So
be
like
safe
birth control
otherwise.
and everything else,
Right.
a little plan of a couple different
Right.
couple
Yes.
different things. But one of the things
Yes.
in that article that I found interesting, because the headline was so gripping of like, oh my God, the House of
Right.
Cards is falling apart. And then you read it and you're like, no, there's still 99%
Absolutely.
effective. But then when it listed the diseases that the men that were just doing that and not practicing any kind of safe
I didn't
sex
see that.
was
Okay.
contracting, and I'm like,
Okay.
well, and Hep C, like we were all
Sure.
talking about when this
Sure.
drug started to make its case of like, well, what would you rather have?
Yeah.
Because it causes some liver damage, and Hep C is sexually transmitted.
Right.
So you could be going at your liver at two different ways. But they said that like they're having the problems with Hep C, they're having the problems with chlamydia.
No,
Gonorrhea.
Anand. It's not that Truvada is no longer effective.
Oh, no,
not
right,
at
right.
all.
Not at
not
all.
at all. Not at all. No.
But if we learned nothing from Jurassic Park, we should have learned.
Nature
seriously.
finds a way.
Right.
Stand by.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Life finds
This
a way,
just
and
did. Yeah,
and
yeah.
a virus is still a very simple life form, like trying to survive. We're trying to kill it so that we can survive,
Right.
but the virus itself is just trying to survive. It's just trying to
Absolutely.
multiply and do what it does,
And that there's
live,
so
and
many
life finds a way.
different
Like,
strains,
nature
and
finds
it's
a way.
like all viruses, it adapts, it moves on.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
the flu vaccine has worked in 49 states, just didn't work in Arizona.
Not so much.
We
no,
caught
everyone
something
has
different.
it.
So, yeah. So I mean, but read the article.
Read the article. I can give it to somebody to put on here because until somebody teaches me, I don't know how the fuck
Yeah.
to do that.
I will find
I
that.
think
know it's so easy,
we've
but
I think
I'm
we've
Yeah,
taught
it's
you.
No, you haven't. You've all been like, look, you're a fucking idiot. If you do
I
this,
know. I
it's
don't
easy.
think. I think it's
swear
a
to
quote.
God.
I think it's a quote. I think we all
I
said you're
can
a
go
fucking
back
idiot.
to the exact.
No, I don't think anybody
I doubt I
said.
called you a fucking idiot.
Anybody in
by
this
the way,
room
you did not,
has
by the
not
way.
said you're a fucking idiot.
But I
did
do
One
whisper
time
believe
in
it.
an
that you.
email, but I
You
was drunk.
whispered
Dear
it,
Marty,
But I do
you're
believe
a
that you
fucking
called
idiot.
yourself a fucking idiot.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
That
That
I
might have been a
believe.
thing.
Whatever. Stand by.
Whatever.
Well, we bag on all the other states where stupid shit happens, and I feel that it's only fair because we're a fair show.
What
We're
did we do? No, we're a shit
Fair and
show.
balanced.
Over
We
here.
are more fair and balanced than other shows that
Other
claim
fair
to
and
be
balanced
for claim to be
news
fair and
shows.
balanced.
Sure.
Do you want me to send it to you?
Well, a road accident
right
in
here.
Mesa, Arizona, a recent road accident caused an almighty stink. Actually, last Saturday afternoon, a sewage truck that was hauling porta potties reportedly rolled over
Oh, man.
on busy
Oh, God.
Highway 60 after swerving to avoid a barrel that had fallen onto the freeway from another accident. Portable toilets were thrown off, but were actually empty. Reports CBS 5 Arizona. However, well, they were empty from people, I guess.
I was saying, was there a young Jewish woman trapped in one of them?
Human feces
Oi!
and urine still
I'm
spilled.
schwitzing.
Human feces and urine still spilled
happened on
onto the
Broad City, so I'm
roadway,
just
however,
wondering.
from vents on top of the truck's septic tanks. Luckily, no one was injured. Arizona Department of Public Safety Sergeant Aaron Buckminster told the outlet it was, quote, the first time he'd ever had to deal with a poo spill on the road. Now, for those of you
A
wondering,
shit stain,
Now,
if you
here's
will.
we're not talking about.
here's a picture of the trailer and the porta potties laying on their side on the side of the road.
Also, we're not talking about. Bless you. We're not talking about poo. And
pantsless.
Christopher Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Right, no, we're talking about Winnie.
Winnie.
Not Winnie the Pooh.
No.
Not Winnie.
Shitter's full.
Shitter's full.
Shitter's full.
We like to send out a mailer. There are three.
Stand by. Stand by. The
Stand
shitter's
by.
full.
Now there are three compartments. I didn't. This is a knowledge. This is some knowledge here. There are three compartments in the tank on the bottom of a porta potty. One is fresh water.
Number one.
One is deodorizer.
Number two.
The other
Big
is
important part.
the other is wastewater.
Ooh, don't
More
drink
number
that.
two.
Don't drink
And
that.
as I
Number one
understand,
and
Further
number
south
two.
Dakota.
in
number two.
RVs they refer to them as like there's a gray water tank and a black water
That's
tank.
a true story. I
Black,
remember that.
black water. The
I didn't
wastewater
know.
came out of the top of the things. The crew that was transporting the porta potties cleaned up most of the mess. The DPS said it
A
would now.
goodly percentage.
So there's still a shit stain out there in Mesa somewhere.
The
Well,
deep-
by the way, there's a huge shit stain out in Mesa
The
somewhere.
DPS. Well, that's a whole different show.
Yeah, that's
One more reason I'm not going to Mesa.
The DPS said it would now
Don't do
forward
it.
the incident to the local fire department, which would determine whether further sanitation would be required.
again.
Well, sure, because the
South Dakota.
biohazard people go out there like,
Oh yeah, the hazmat people
yeah,
are
the
like,
hazmat
"Woo!"
people are like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes.
That's good work. That's good work.
Ah, yeah.
So, when we look at, there was a map that came up, and you know how we like the maps.
We do enjoy
I
maps.
love
We
a
like
map.
the maps.
Which
Now-
map are you talking about?
Well, hold on. Let me see something. I'll figure that out later. So, everybody talks about the 1%. You even mentioned it earlier, just in the last story about the AIDS thing. Like I said,
Oh, sure,
99%.
1%.
You're like, oh, then they're the 1%.
Oh.
We talk a lot about the 1% anymore, right? Mm-hmm. So I came across
Because they
this
got
map.
all the money.
It's all the money, right? What do you have to make in a year to be in the top 1% of your state?
Ooh,
Right?
ooh, I know.
So this being
It's-
just obviously in the United States that I have.
Arizona
this,
is
but,
$750,000.
well, according to this map, only 300,000.
Oh, look at that. I
Now,
know.
how the fuck is that right?
How can I get to
But-
that map? Can you tell me how to get to that map?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Oh.
I'm gonna hold on. It's
have to bring that map up.
Hold on. I'm gonna go like this, and then.
However you
I
sent it
was-
to Al,
I-
do the
no,
same thing in
no,
the
no,
chat
no,
room,
no, no,
and
watch.
it'll go.
Command C, and then I'm gonna go here. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Stand by.
Stand by.
We're learning. Stand by.
Stimulating
Stand by.
radio.
It is stimulating because if it works, son of a bitch, I'll be so excited. Hold on.
I'm already so
Ah,
excited.
I did a link.
Okay,
I
but-
watched Al. Oh no, did it work?
But I can't get to
Yes,
that
it works.
from what I need. So just tell me where the hell the map is.
Oh, go to mentalfloss.com.
And you did go to mental.
Map of what?
Didn't it? That's what it does, right?
Map of 1%.
Yeah.
Clayton, how can I best send it to you?
So
Tell me.
Okay.
Map of 1% on mental.
Google
floss.
what you'd have to make to be top 1% in each state.
Oh God, I thought I had done it right.
No, there's two different things.
Yeah,
sorry,
I got you.
Sorry, I didn't know.
No, you're okay.
Jesus, I finally
Wow,
got
you
one
need
thing
more,
right.
you need more money in Alaska.
I know it, right? So
and less in Hawaii.
Wow.
when it like in Minnesota compared to here, which is of course what I look like, just having been raised there, 414,000 a year to be the top 1%. California, 438,000.
This is good.
Obviously, as I had said, in Arizona, 300,000. But look at the top 1% in North Dakota. That is further North Dakota.
Further.
502,000 to be in the top 1%.
That's got to be oil money.
So what I was like, I don't know, honest to God. I don't know. Or the mob.
It could be the mob.
Look at Connecticut though. Connecticut's got money.
Where
$678,000 to
there
be in
it
the
is.
top
Yep.
1%.
And Florida. Florida's only 378,000.
There's a lot of poor people in Florida.
Bingo. There's your map.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Well
But
played.
that is the I just thought that was really interesting to kind of look around and say
That is interesting.
520,000 in North Dakota just slayed me. And I knew that you'd have to make more in Minnesota than Wisconsin, Drew. But
Oh, burn.
Drew, I'm dropping the mic on that one. But not
If
Al
it's-
Perkins has
if
a
it's my
breaking
mom, I'm
phone
not
call.
here.
breaking.
Go ahead.
Okay.
gonna let Al take
but I
this.
thought that was kind of interesting. Well, then it led to
His pregnancy results
some
are in.
other maps that you can look at on there. The second largest religion in each state.
Oh, there's more maps?
There are
More
all
maps?
kinds of
need more
more
maps.
maps. And like in Arizona, we are the only. It talks about the second largest religious tradition in each state. Arizona is the only one that is second with Hindu.
Google 25 maps that describe America.
Thank you. That's what
You're
I needed to
welcome.
know. You're on it. You're on it.
And there are a lot of 13 Buddhist states, Islam 20 states, Judaism 15 states, of which Minnesota, I was surprised, was
So that's
that
the
was their
second largest religion in each state.
Yes, the second largest.
Tell me that again,
That's right.
Kat. 25.
25 maps that describe America.
That's
it's
what I looked
it's
up,
from
I'm
the
not-
website mentalfloss.com.
Oh, got it.
It's the
Okay.
same place. And
Got it.
most commonly spoken language other than English or Spanish here in Arizona is Navajo. In California, and forgive me guys for my ignorance, I did not look up a lot of stuff, but California and Nevada is, if according to this map, and I can throw these on to see if I can see it better, but it looks like Tagalog.
It's probably a Native American
And
dialect.
I believe that it would be,
Dialect.
but I had just never heard of that.
it what the
Vietnamese
cookies
in
are called?
Seattle. That's what I thought, right? Tagalog,
it's
though.
language with about 57 million speakers in the Philippines,
Okay.
Oh,
particularly
right.
Manila, central and southern
Got
parts
it.
of
Oh, this is
zone.
very
yeah.
interesting.
So it's
Lots of interesting stuff on this.
Pacific Island.
The Hmong language is the most.
And the worst part is
second, most commonly spoken language other than English or Spanish in Minnesota, where I'm from. That didn't surprise me. I knew that. What were we gonna say? I'm sorry.
I know Filipino, and I actually knew that, and for some reason I drew a
Just kinda
complete
went.
blank.
was like, oh, I have no
And,
idea what that is.
I'm
Nice.
you're exactly right.
Lot of coworkers.
Isn't that but when it comes, most popular TV show set in each state. Mary Tyler Moore, obviously in Minnesota.
I'm getting there.
Alice
Arizona.
in
I can't keep up
Arizona.
with you.
I'm
There's
sorry, honey.
a
I'm just kind of
huge
going
very
down
much-
She's very
through.
fast.
But this is one of the things that would have been really good to have before because there's
I'm
a lot of
sorry,
great
yeah.
maps on this.
Well, and we can
I
look
love
at
maps.
things otherwise, but it really.
Hang on, I got a lot of work to do here.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Do your thing.
The one that I thought this will be something interesting that'll give us a minute, Clayton. And I don't know how with our listeners abroad how this is what this would be called. But what do you call a sweetened
Are you going to the great soda debate?
carbonated beverage?
Settle down. The
What
internet
do you-
has ruined this for me forever.
No. Why?
There's your map right there
First
for your
of all,
sweetened
there you go.
carbonated
There you go.
beverage.
Why is that?
Because I
It's
don't
ruined.
care anymore.
Why? What? I don't understand.
Well, I grew
the
up
big
calling
deal.
it pop.
Because first of all,
It
it's
was
going
pop.
to kill you.
Yeah.
And then when I moved out here,
Jenny,
it was soda.
I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Stand by, Jenny.
Yeah, I grew up calling it pop, and then I moved out here and called it soda. But
Me
then
too.
when you would go places and you ordered soda, they would give you tonic water.
Right.
Right.
And sometimes if you go, like if you're in the South, it's Coke.
Right, and I learned that, and I learned
So I
that
would think
from
like
serving.
brand would be like, that's Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
everything is Coke.
The people from British Airways that would come here and drink at the bar, they would drink vodka Coke, and I'm like, what a weird drink. But when they would hear vodka soda, soda to them meant Coke.
Ah.
So they
sure.
assumed that a vodka soda was a vodka Coke, and it's just
Ah.
carried over, and they've all
Okay.
learned to drink it
They've
and
all
like
just
it.
drink
So
it.
Oh, that's
Nero
interesting.
Nero
It's
calls
kind of like
it
when you go to
pop.
Mexico and you ask for pec implants and you get boobs.
Super similar. Stand by.
Stand by.
Boobs on the way.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so soda is here and in California.
Yeah, I think
Um,
pop is an Eastern thing.
Well, look. I mean, it takes up the whole Midwest. I mean, look at all the way over to Seattle, and it's
Okay.
hardly in New York.
That's an interesting look.
Yeah,
at
but
it.
I'm from that part of Hardly, New York.
hardly New York. Right. Yeah,
That's where I'm from, Hardly, New York.
that small part.
Almost
to know.
And-
mainly Canada.
And Anand, yes, Hindu is the second largest.
Ooh, the
in
most famous
Arizona.
book set in each state. I'm gonna.
I
add
know,
that to
isn't
my-
that fun?
I'm gonna add that to my
Now,
book club.
Just the map, like you mentioned just a minute ago, the TV show. So there's
Yes.
there's the TV show map that shows the different television shows based on state, the most popular in their state.
The one
Arrested
of-
Development for California. I love it.
I know, isn't that great? They have like, are you a and we don't need to go to it, but like, are you a cat or dog state?
What's New York's? I can't see that from here.
Jersey Shore, no, what's it called?
Hold on, let me see.
It's a green
The
state.
Office.
Seinfeld.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
there
the
you go.
Cheers.
rebuttal. No. Seinfeld.
I like
This is
that you guys
Boston.
can't
And by
find
the
New
way-
York on
by
that
the way-
map.
No,
No,
I don't
here.
actually. I can't see it.
And the rebuttal, they have a most
Oh, Seinfeld.
popular TV show set in each state, Rebuttal, and they say it's the no, it's still Seinfeld. Pennsylvania is the Office.
Yeah,
I say
but
the
yeah,
office is in
Scranton,
Scranton.
Pennsylvania.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
this
wait a
is
minute.
I've been to there.
This is the
Yeah.
the religious traditions map
Yep.
that you were talking about just a minute
Yeah,
ago.
isn't that interesting? That Hindu.
It's
I
not
did.
that
I thought
interesting.
of Annette. Well, the fact that it's
Well, no,
it's
because-
No,
only,
there are
I
a
really
lot
thought
of
it was.
no. There are a lot of immigrants here from India,
I really thought it would
Right,
be
but
more
a
than
lot.
just
If you
look on
Arizona,
their-
though.
but
Yeah.
there's no other immigrants from anywhere else
That's
here.
dot, not feather.
There's immigrants from Chicago, but
Right.
there are no there
Right,
are
and if you
no
look,
other.
these are things that aren't any form of Christianity.
Sure.
So
No, absolutely.
even
Other
Mormon
Sure.
is off this list, where Mormon would be the second.
Well,
and you were
yeah.
talking just a
Yeah,
minute ago about the languages. So here's the map for the different languages
right?
spoken other than English.
I really,
Spanish, I'm sorry, or
Spanish, right? I guess I thought that was very interesting. I did not.
the Hindu.
Yeah, I guess I thought that like maybe more up in the East Coast.
Well, it's just when you realize that they've eliminated all Christian religions.
Right.
Right.
You take all
that
those
what
out.
are you?
Yeah. No, and I got all that, but I really did think more.
Well, then you would just go with the most populous country in the world, and that would be your second.
Yeah.
And then this is
India. Like,
this-
No, I
once
know.
once you eliminate like all the Christians, so then you're going to get rid of almost all Europeans, all
Sure.
South Americans. So like, what's left? That map is very misleading because it's taken out all.
No, I know, but do you notice how Arizona is? And unless I'm looking at this fucking wrong,
No,
see
you're
how
looking
like
at it
right.
like Buddhist is in a whole lot of states,
Yeah.
but Hindu's only in one.
Right.
That's what I'm getting. Unless I'm talking over you guys and tripping over myself
No,
and not
be-
getting
no,
it.
no.
because Arizona is. I'm going to make up some statistics. Arizona is
Thanks.
about 30% Mormon, Okay, we'll say it's like 60% all of the other Christian religions, and then that 10% Hindu, because there are no other options.
Right.
There are no non-Christian immigrants. Well, not none, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you don't have...
We're at that Republican. We're at half
Right.
of
Okay.
5% of
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
Like 3 people showed up. Yeah.
So
Fair enough. Okay, now I'm with you. I'm like,
47%
what am I fucking missing?
voted for Trump, but
Right.
that represents 3 people.
Right.
Yeah.
And the one that I found the most interesting, there were all, I mean, each one of them can be very much discussed, but there was a 2010 immigrant population and
I
a
have that one.
1910 immigrant population. It's the 18th largest, or the 18th map on there, the largest immigrant population by each state. In 2010, Mexico takes up like damn near all of it. I mean, truly, damn near all of it. Montana and North Dakota are
is it
Canada.
18th one you said?
Yeah.
Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont are Canada. But otherwise, New York is the Dominican Republic, that kind of thing. Now, you go down to 1910...
Oh, I
Otherwise,
see.
it's all
Immigration was
Mexico,
different,
right?
right.
Immigration was so different. Canada was in Washington. Germany was Oregon and California. United Kingdom was Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. I mean, like, it's just Germany. Sweden is Minnesota, just bar none, done, right? Here, New Mexico and Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas were obviously Mexico. Shouldn't say obviously, but Hawaii was Canada. I mean, it just was really interesting to see and if Clayton, I don't know if you're able to, but
I am. Stand by.
it really was kind of wild to look at how
see the two
different.
contrasts.
So this is the 1910 map right there that shows.
Yeah, it gives you all kinds of. Oh, I mean, yeah,
I'm
there are a
surprised
lot of
by
mosques in Arizona.
I'm surprised by the New York, Russia, and USSR. In 1910, I thought it would have all been Ireland.
Right.
And then
I just looked at Germans. Most of those German immigrants actually came 30 years prior.
Okay.
From 1881 to 1890, 1.5 million
Wow.
Germans immigrated to the United States, lured here by the vast amounts of land available.
So now, would this have
And
been kind
religious
of the
freedom.
far and away kind of thing? I don't mean
I'm
to
sorry?
be ignorant. That would have been
Oh.
well before, though, I think. But that movie, wouldn't it have been?
Far and away the worst movie I've ever
Tom
seen.
Cruise
By the
and
way,
Nicole Kidman.
you're not lying.
Very nice.
But I mean, just that idea of looking
Yeah,
from
any
the land.
Well, sure,
immigration
'cause there's-
from Europe is space.
Right.
You know, Europe
right.
is kind of landlocked. We were wide open.
Yep.
Right.
And that's that
And-
go west time period.
I know that I can speak of for my home city in Joplin, Missouri. There were a lot of German immigrants in that area. There were a lot of restaurants and little bars. There was one actually that my grandparents used to go to, and it was called Gladys's Heidelberg Inn, and it was a little bar
Okay.
on Main Street in my hometown, and so there was a lot of descendants from German first and second generation there.
Sure, and
The
they're right
2010
there.
map. There's the 2010 map, and apparently this is why we have to build a wall.
Well, and by the way, build
Or
it
we have to make
higher.
them build the wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they're
Them.
going to
Well,
pay
they're
for it.
gonna-
They're
They
gonna
don't
pay
want to
for it.
fucking build it. No.
Totally
Neither-
gonna pay
West
neither did Vicente
Virginians
Fox.
in India. I'm going to need a written letter from them explaining that to me. What are the people in India doing in West Virginia?
I saw that as well.
What's
and
anybody
went,
doing in West
Wait
Virginia?"
a minute.
I hate to. It's got to be tech. Like that's
Yeah.
almost every.
Virginia.
That would make
I
sense.
actually I live in a part of this city where there's a lot of Indian immigrants.
Yeah,
Okay.
but West Virginia? I mean, I've been to West Virginia.
What is there tech in West Virginia? Are you sure?
I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense,
pretty
West
sure.
Virginia.
Can we Google that, please?
I mean,
That
stand
doesn't
by.
seem like
I've heard of
that.
Virginia Tech.
That's why I was so
Googling
surprised.
tech companies
Yeah.
in West
In
Virginia.
Virginia.
In Virginia, not West
Virginia.
Virginia. All right.
Right.
No.
Is there a West Virginia
Tech
Tech?
companies
And
in West
maybe
Virginia.
maybe it's
Further
just
West
because
Virginia.
further.
I mean, maybe they like mountainous regions. I don't know. Like
Maybe they like banjos.
They can
No.
hide.
Yeah, an ant. Tell me about banjos.
Tell me.
Like at least Pennsylvania, you get it. There's Philly,
I don't
there's
know. I don't know.
Pittsburgh, there's
Right,
you know
right.
the Rust Belt is now being called the.
Bless you.
You may be onto something. Bless you.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
And you might be onto
Stand
something
by.
because what
She's
they
a-
used to call the Rust Belt, they now call the Tech Belt during
Yep.
elections now. That they.
I want to go to
everybody keeps-
Finucci's, Jenny. It just sounds
Everybody
delightful.
keeps going with formerly known as the Rust Belt, now the Tech Belt. And I'm like, when did that happen?
Well, the rust is all gone now.
And
They're all rusted.
I appreciate Nero. You give something away for free, people will cross an ocean to get it.
True that.
That's so true. Yeah.
To continue on, I don't know how much more what you have. I have
No,
two more
I just-
maps.
please, yeah.
That I thought were
There
interesting.
were all kinds
this,
of maps.
This is the largest brand by state.
Yes, I thought that was fascinating too. Best
And obviously
Western?
Coca-Cola in Georgia because they're from Atlanta. Coca-Cola is based in
I
Atlanta.
love that
Georgia.
we have Best Western.
Best
I didn't understand that at all. I'm
Which
not going to
part?
lie. Best Western?
I don't
For
either.
Arizona?
They're based out of here.
I'm assuming they
but I-
originated here.
No, this is that map represents the largest brand that comes out of the state.
Okay.
Oh,
Not
I
that's
didn't-
used,
I did
out
not
of
get
out
that.
of based
Okay.
in the state.
Got it. I would have thought Southwest Airlines, though.
Southwest Airlines is in Texas.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they
that's
were
not
based out of
No,
here.
No, Love.
American used to what used
That's
to be.
why they have a
America
heart.
West.
Love
used to be, right.
Love
And-
Field.
Okay.
Right, Love
that's
Field.
right.
Yeah, that's where they're out of. They're out of
That's why
Texas.
they have a heart.
I've always been thinking it was Southwest, but no.
And then the other one is the.
Oh my God, Saks is from East Georgia. What is that one? Alabama.
That's
Yes.
Alabama. Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that was from there either. Now the next map I'm going to show you.
By the way, the fact that Florida is Hooters, that makes me laugh. The penis of America is Hooters.
is
Brad.
Hooters.
And Denny's is
Jenny
out of,
just cut that too.
Denny's is out of South Carolina, and there used to be in this because I spent a lot of my summers in the South. There used to be these diners in the South called Sambo's.
Yeah.
That I could not believe they got away with that name.
The
my
tiger,
God,
the tiger,
wow.
little tiger was their mascot. I remember.
Yeah, but I think they changed that when they realized what a Sambo was,
Yeah.
and they had to close them because people were finally like, "Oh, you got to stop."
Oh, I didn't
got to
realize because
stop that,
there
right.
was a Sambo's in my hometown. I remember going
they
to
were
it.
only in the South because
Oh well, there. The other thing, FedEx obviously is in Tennessee because they're based out of Memphis.
Right.
which I learned from the movie Castaway.
Yeah. Oh,
By the way, I'm all about
I knew about
Taco
it.
John's. The fact that have you ever been to a Taco John's?
yeah, I think I
I
have.
try not to.
There was what? No. They're awful. They're just awful. But
Would you like a
God
cinnamon
damn-
wedgie?
Exactly.
Would you
That's
like a
exactly-
cinnamon
Where on the map is Taco
It's,
John's?
Wyoming.
Oh, up there, right above
Yeah.
Coors.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Right above Coors
Is
in
that
Colorado.
Nebraska? That's Nebraska. No, that's
No,
Wyoming.
That's
it's Wyoming.
What?
I'll give it Wyoming.
You guys are
Montana's
really good at geography.
Oh,
Montana's
Jesus
above
God.
that.
By the way.
No.
Well, I was not told there were going to be funny words on the states that I know. Like, but I have to get to. Okay, I know which one's Louisiana, and then I know you go through Mississippi to get to Alabama. Like, I know that's Georgia. That's the funny part. Is like,
Have we played the game of Name All the States?
Oh, we did, and we horribly failed it.
We tried to
Now,
draw.
job.
now the
I
next,
had
the-
almost all of them
now
except
the-
Maryland.
The next map I'm going to show you. This is, from what I understand, this is the brand
Taco
that's
John's.
based there. That's the most popular brand within the state that's based there. That's what this map represents.
Yes.
Cold Stone Creamery's out of here. Colorado is the Chipotle.
That's right.
I didn't realize Pizza Hut was out of Kansas. I don't know why I don't know that.
that explains it.
I didn't realize
I
that.
didn't realize
That
DQ was
explains why the
Minnesota.
they've upped their game some, but that started off with some shitty ass pizza.
I don't like Pizza Hut pizza. Never. I did back in the day.
In and
When I
In
was
and Out
younger,
makes total
they
sense
used to
for
like you go in
California.
it for the lunch for like their smorgasbord of
Right,
pizza.
right, right.
That was good, but I don't like the crap they're selling now door to door. Not as good.
When my mom
No.
was in college, we had Pizza Hut every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because that was my dad's night to cook dinner.
Okay.
Oh,
I like
Yeah.
it.
I
like
appreciate
a
that.
lot,
That's
yeah.
a reasonable.
We legitimately, as children, had the Pizza Hut number memorized. Because
Oh.
every Wednesday.
I
My
love
family
that.
still has pizza every Friday, but not from Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Well, no,
and
I-
I to this day I can't eat it. Like
Really?
too much
Because of
Pizza
that.
Hut.
Right, right.
Cannot deal.
Well, and the fact that Minnesota, being a frozen tundra, has DQ as the frozen
Dairy
treats.
Queen is
And-
fucking delicious.
and
Don't
Culver's-
knock the DQ.
No, I'm
I'll eat
not.
their
What's-
hamburgers.
what's the
I'll eat
theme
their
to
hot
this?
dogs.
She's not going to
What's
attack
what?
me across
What's the
the
theme to this map?
this is the the
Most
brand
iconic
in the
food
state, the highest brand in the state.
Oh, Sparrow in New York
Fr-
makes sense.
From the state. I'm sorry, from the state.
Right, not in the state, but it's a
I love
national
Amina.
brand.
Yeah.
I thought In and Out would be from Florida. Ha ha.
No, they're-
Hashtag dick joke. Hey, dick jokes.
They're based out.
I
of
like that
Illinois.
you're poo-pooing a lowbrow joke.
I like it very much. I like it.
Oh my God, there's still Sambos? Is that what you
Yes,
guys are saying?
isn't that what they're saying? So, there's a book one, but aren't these maps kind of fun? I just thought
They
it
are
was,
fun. I agree.
I thought it was really interesting, especially that immigration map. I was like, whoa, how interesting that is. The state, the most iconic soft drink in each state, that there were just different things that I looked at, and I thought, well, that's interesting. Now Dr. Pepper makes sense for Texas.
Oh my God! Everybody I know from Texas is addicted to Dr. Pepper.
Really? Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't realize
Everyone that I know
was-
that's from Texas will choose Dr. Pepper over all other things.
Well, that's what they're saying on
over
that one
vodka,
map,
which really weirds
is
me out.
weird.
Right.
That,
Which really.
well, we're
weirds
gonna have
me.
to
Weirds me
discuss
out.
that
I
further.
don't
That
understand.
should be in thoughtful vulgarity.
Can I get
stand
you a
by.
cocktail? No, I'll
Good
just have a
call.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah, stand by. Stand by.
Well, how come that didn't save like I do? All
right.
So stand by.
Anyway,
I want to show.
Next scholar.
All right, so
Next
I'm reading that the Sambos don't exist anymore, and it's actually from a book, and they had the tiger is part of the book, but just funny. So
well, and the last one that I thought was something that Clayton would think was interesting about. I think Clayton might be the only one that finds this interesting. But the top selling vehicle in each
yeah,
state.
how did
Oh,
I know
I
And
that?
missed
no,
that map.
but it's number 24. It's the top selling vehicle, and the whole fucking thing is almost blue, and that's for Ford. Like almost every state, including Arizona, Missouri, and Minnesota. New York, on the other hand, is Honda Accord. It says that's the most, that's the top selling vehicle there. Oklahoma has Nissan Altima.
Well, Ford what though? Or just,
Just at Ford F Series.
Oh,
Ford
okay.
F Series it shows.
Pick them up.
does that
truck.
mean trucks?
Yeah. Pick
Well,
up
that makes
trucks.
sense. Everything up here, that fucking.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
this
but
one's
look,
interesting.
It's all of, Al, that's what I'm saying. Look at this map.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, that is.
It's
Holy
blue.
shit.
It's blue.
It's Ford
Honda
country.
Civic is California, apparently. Ford Fusion, Michigan. I
That's
thought
too
it was weird. I thought it was very Ford centric, and that Clayton would disagree based on it should be
Well,
Chevy.
you can't disagree. But I can't disagree on facts.
I cannot disagree with this map.
No, here. This is for
Hi,
Al.
Harrison.
This is for Al, just because I want Al to feel like
There you go. Oh my God.
there it is, Alfie.
How
Yeah,
about
that's now that's
that?
the according to this article that I'm skimming through. That's the changed one because it used to be a black boy and the
And the tiger.
and the tiger,
Sure.
but they lightened up his skin.
Oh, I just remember the tiger. I don't remember any
But
black
in
boy.
November '81, they filed for bankruptcy. Neither the name changed or bankruptcy protection reversed the downward trend. And in 1982, all but the original in Santa Barbara, California, closed their doors, and they've been renamed Seasons Friendly Eating. Some were sold to Denny's. And the original owner owned the New Orleans Jazz and moved the team to Utah, which makes sense because I could never figure out why there was a Utah Jazz.
Oh, because they were the
basketball
New
team.
Orleans Jazz. Yeah, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that name?
No,
Like,
and they just never, because Utah is shitty for mascots.
yeah, what are you gonna be?
Right.
The Utah, we dropped a bomb here once.
Right.
Now,
The Utah Atomics. That'd be good.
now, Al, I'm gonna ask: Is this more what you were thinking with regards to Sambo? Or I just because I just found this.
I'd have to
I'm
tell you
with
what the
you.
name of the book is.
Because
it's
that-
the
yes,
story of Little
that's what
Black
I
Sambo. Is
pictured.
the
I don't.
Yep.
Okay,
No.
I had never heard that as a
That is
backstory.
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, but the book that they took the name from, I guess, or they actually said it was taken by. It's kind of like Walmart. It was based on the name of the founders, but the chain soon found themselves associated with the story of Little Black Sambo. And then the restaurant thought it was fun to capitalize that till people were like, really?
yeah.
Al might enjoy this map. This is one
Plus,
from
they
the.
were all over the South. I didn't. And they originated from California, so I'm going to assume their heart was in the right place.
This is a
would
map
think
of
so.
most common cause of death other than heart disease or cancer. Look at all the stroke states.
Right?
They're just stroking out. Like
and here
that.
in Arizona,
Yeah, but
because of
isn't,
how
like,
people
nationally,
drive,
that's
Yeah, it's
accidents.
got to be
And
that.
respiratory distress is pollution or dust. Arizona accidents because of our big giant roads with.
Just nobody can drive because
Yeah.
they all come from all the other states where they stroked out. They come
Yeah.
here and drive. Just a guess. Just a guess.
I just thought that was kind of a cool thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those were wild.
Oh,
That's a
and,
very
and
cool-
it turns out I'm wrong about this one too. That
What's that?
the story of Little Black Sambo is about an Indian boy. So that,
Oh, okay.
Oh, I really that was
No.
not what I
Well,
thought
'cause-
either.
but they made him a
That's-
they made him a dark skinned boy, and then
Well,
anyways,
and-
it was just.
but that makes sense to have that with because it's that I'm
I just
assuming
remember like
a white
right. That's a
it would be an Indian reference from
Indian-
India.
because
Yeah.
that's where tigers are from.
But I really do remember just kind of like as you became more aware of like things that you didn't really know were kind of racist. that
Kind of,
restaurant would
kind
strike
of.
you
There
as
still
like,
are. One of
but
them's
their
a
heart was in the
re-
right place. It was like a Walmart. They just didn't know that,
Right.
One is a presidential frontrunner currently, who may like to eat at Sambo's on his way across America in his Trump plane. All right, let me get through. We are running way long on stuff. We got stuff to go to. Let me get to this little story, which has another picture that goes with it. I'll show you in a second. The wrong type of carry-on luggage. Custom officials have arrested a 24-year-old woman that they said tried to smuggle a half-pound of cocaine in her vajayjay.
Yes.
Shakira Thompson.
That's the only place to smuggle.
That's what I'm saying.
Shakira
Shove it
Thompson
up.
was arrested
got the
last.
most room.
She was
Stand by.
arrested last Sunday at Kennedy Airport after she got off a plane from Kingston, Jamaica. Thompson presented herself for inspection after getting off the plane. Officials then took her to a private search area. According to a release from the U.S. Customs Department, investigators said when they questioned Thompson, she admitted to inserting a foreign object into her body. A short time
Like you do.
A short time later, officers found an egg-shaped container that they said contained a white powdery substance that then tested positive for cocaine. Here is a picture of said container. The weight of the powder was about a half a pound and had an estimated street value of $10,000. According to the press release, investigators said that when they questioned Thompson, she admitted to inserting this object into her body herself. A short time later, because you're going to, I blacked out, and when I woke up, there was,
I don't know. I just shoved it up there.
yeah,
I
I
was
know.
standing in
Cracking
line in
her
customs.
crack.
And
She
I got
was-
something.
She was arrested and turned over to the Port Authority Police Department. She is now facing state charges for narcotic smuggling. She remains behind bars on $50,000 bail at the Queens County Detention Center, and that is according to jail records.
She may have thought that it was a sex toy.
I don't know what she thought it was.
I'm just saying it could be a good excuse.
Sure.
Don't know.
I wouldn't use that excuse.
I
Don't.
feel like the batteries are dead in this bullet. Like, I don't know
I
what
feel like
happened.
it hasn't
Shaped the
worked.
right
It's
way.
not working.
Great.
Dead
I had a yeast
in-
infection.
all right, I need to see her picture again.
Al didn't get to see the picture. I'm sorry. Al, here's the picture of the offensive.
We didn't get to see her.
Oh,
We just got to see what she stuffed
That's
up her
right, a
vajingo.
$10,000
I mean, that could be a
vagina.
good time.
That's
to
right.
a $10,000
There's
vagina.
a bullet in her vajingo. Well, the problem I have with this picture is that there's no size reference.
Oh, because
Like,
Right.
somebody put a penny next to that so that I know how fucking big it is.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. That's just bad photography
Right.
right there. Photography
That's
101.
bad.
Well, I'm going to see
bad
if I can find.
journalism.
I'm going to see if I can find a contrasting
Can
photo for you.
Would
Yes.
Because I'm curious. Because that picture makes it look like it's.
Right, it could be
bigger than
this
football,
big.
Right.
Right, who
Makes it, in my mind, it's this big, and I'm thinking, well, that.
But it could also be the Hindenburg, you know what I mean?
Right. Where's my?
Like it looks about the size of
Right.
a football, and I'm thinking,
Sure.
wow,
Yeah.
that's woof.
Oh my
got
God.
it.
Look
You're
at
gonna
it.
feel that.
You got an open vajayjay.
Look at that.
What, the pancakes and pickaninnies?
The saga of Sambo's, the racist restaurant chain America once loved.
Aaron, I feel like you're in timeout.
Yeah.
All right, but no, I
Stand
gotta.
by, Aaron.
No, I gotta find that link.
That America once loved.
God, is that funny?
Are you ready for your?
Yeah, let me just get this link. Up
Your
into my
contribution?
thing and then. So I really do want to read that because that always it says page.
It
not
says
found.
page not found, Aaron.
Okay, but I'll still Google it later because that always just
You're
really.
like the Marnie of links, Aaron. Good job.
Stand by.
All right,
That's
Bullshit. I'm
funny.
using that in my bullshit segment.
That's funny shit.
all right.
All right, let's see if we can get Al into his segment. It goes a little something like this.
Too much of a reach.
We're gonna talk about the Oscars and Lady Gaga and Leo and stuff to see. We're gonna give an award to like the person who got the most done last year. Gossip that I heard, a couple of TV shows that I thought were really thought-provoking
Okay.
last week,
Yeah.
and then a movie that I think we should all try to watch together and decide if it's good or bad because I can't do it alone.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll start with that. There's a sci-fi-ish movie out.
Ish.
I don't think it's really sci-fi though. It's called 400 Days. It's allegedly it's about people who think they're going into a simulation to like practice for a trip to Mars.
Who's in it?
Brandon Routh, the one that was Roush, the one that was Superman
Okay.
in the movie that I liked, but it turns out no one else did. The Superman that I liked. So it's called 400 Days. It's available on Amazon and it's on Cox on demand. So you're gonna have to pay like $5 or $6. But I guess it's got this big controversial ending, and it's like kind of like, were they on a mission to Mars? Are they really? Is it just an experiment? what happens when you're in isolation. So
Astronauts locked in a space
Okay, and
simulator
it's
for 400 days.
Okay.
because we're getting
Just
ready
over
for
a
this, just getting ready for this man trip to Mars, and
Yeah.
can someone take that time? Now we
Well,
just
Joe DeGanza can.
we just took that. The guy landed today that would just spent a year in space,
Right? Yep.
So
Yep.
Look
Scott
it up.
Kelly.
Hashtag you're in space.
yeah, so I'm just curious. Like I've been searching for it, and it's on my list for this week. But give it a whirl.
I thought you wanted to watch it together.
Well, I mean, we're all
Yeah,
going to
but
watch
matching up our schedules.
it simultaneously. I guess.
settle.
Fathom.
Settle.
Oh Jesus,
No.
that's why I was like this
Tuesdays
week?
at 7.
I know, I'm like this week I
That's all we
can't.
got.
You have
I
trouble
know.
getting
Time.
here.
But just put it on your list. Keep an eye. It's getting the
Right.
shit advertised out of it on the internet. So
By the way, Drew, keep listening because I think we're going to be talking about a common TV show that you and I both enjoy, and I just learned, maybe because I listened for the first time, that Al loves it as well.
The Price is Right is still
Yes.
on the air.
yeah,
Yes.
Totally different. Totally different.
We're gonna play Plinko later.
And also, I watched the. I've seen two movies lately where I couldn't place the. Well, I saw the trailer for this one, and I saw another movie recently where I honestly could not place the actor for the entire movie, and it was Dane Cook.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I was like, who the fuck is
Canadian
Like,
comedian.
yeah, I knew him,
sure.
who was like really funny, and then just went
And then
really
not
bad.
really
I was
funny
And
going
at
to
all.
say not really funny as far as I know.
No,
But
he was really, funny.
when he first came out.
super initially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
boy, did
Him
that,
and the guy with the puppets, like he was really funny, and then
yeah, and then it all went wrong.
Right.
So then we'll just
after I Kill You stopped being funny, like that guy was
Right,
over.
right.
Jeff
Jeff
Dunham.
Thank you. I was going to say
Dunblum.
Foxworthy, and then I
I
stopped.
kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That guy.
Yeah.
that guy.
Jeff Dunham.
I'm loving the trailer for the 400 Days. I want to see it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it
It's on
really is
Amazon.
interesting. So let's go to here we go. So the Oscars, the High Holy Day
Oh
happened.
wait, I got this for you. Hang on, I'm gonna change our screen.
I appreciated the screen you had on when he was reading entertainment.
Right, but hey, it's gonna be this. There you go. Go ahead.
Oh,
The Oscars.
Center.
So
lovely.
we'll start off with
Nice.
now for those of you that play along and like to guess and like go with all the different, we call them the tea leaves,
Right.
like what you're reading to get your things. Everything this year was wrong. The most. You usually go with the
Kill
movie.
Surprise.
Yeah, no, and I said that when we said that the big surprise tonight was going to be Best Picture because
Yep.
and nothing
Because there
is
were
being
too many
consistent.
best pictures. Yeah.
Nothing was being consistent.
Look at the chat room. Don Pardo. Don Pardo is now in the chat room.
On down.
That's all right. Don Pardo was never an announcer for The Price is Right.
Is,
but it
isn't
doesn't
he
matter.
also
Rob-
dead?
It's just
the
an announcer.
The original was
so-
Johnny Olsen.
And then Rod Rodney, right?
Then
By
Rod
the
Rodney,
way,
right.
Stand by.
Who
stand
died of
by.
breast cancer.
Stepping on
Happens
Club's
to men
toes.
too.
By the way, Al, you'll need to tell me which picture to put up when for whatever you're going to
I
reference.
appreciate the Don Pardo.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm
We'll
not
try.
sure I can watch the 400 Days. I just watched the trailer, and
I don't even have 400 days.
what is happening?
I know, it looks very stressful.
I'm very stressed out.
So, anyways,
okay,
so Spotlight wins. Even though it didn't win the PGA, it doesn't have the most nominations. It kind of lost its thunder almost immediately after it got its thunder. No, it just was not picked by very many. It was an excellent movie that really, until everything started happening and the awards started coming out through the course of the year, it just lost all of its momentum. But before everything came out, when people were like, what do you think might show up later in the Best Picture, everyone said Spotlight, and then all the tea leaves went the wrong way, and this movie kind of got lost in the dust. While it's still a great movie, it just lost all its momentum. So next year, when it comes time to guess, all the things that people use to guess are going to be like, but that was wrong last year, but that was wrong last year, but that was wrong last year.
That'll be
So
super
it makes
fun.
it interesting. There really was not a bad movie of the 8 that were nominated, so there was nothing bad going to happen to you in that. But like, the movie that wins Best Director is no longer the movie that wins Best Picture, because now we're at like 6 times out of 16 years that it hasn't followed
I feel
that.
like
So
that's not a very good metric. now.
everything's the guideline. Go to Leo.
Oh, stand by. I was looking up something else. So,
Go Leo.
Not that
looking
anybody
at
needs to know
porn
what
while
Leo
he's
looks like.
no, wait. Are you talking about the Leo with him and Winslet?
You could anything with Leo.
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
seriously. Oh,
with his
look at
biggest
that.
cheerleader in the
Aw.
room, and Kate Blanchett, because Kate won her first Oscar. The other Kate won her first Oscar playing opposite him in The Aviator.
Oh, that's right.
And Kate Winslet won her Oscar for
As
The
Kate
Reader, but she was
Hepburn.
also in Revolutionary Road that year with
That's right.
Leo, who was snubbed.
As Kate Hepburn, right? That's
Yeah,
why
as Kate Hepburn. So you had
By the way, that's the sweetest picture.
So you really have the 3 great
I love
Kates all
that.
in one story. In case you're wondering who the
Yeah.
3
I
great
love them.
Kates are. But
What a beautiful, beautiful picture.
it really was inevitable. I love that they're still friends. His speech was lovely, and if you watch,
It was.
If you watch it back, he gets a standing ovation for the award, and then he gets a standing ovation for his speech.
Right.
And it was just lovely when he said, "I don't, let's not take our planet for granted. I don't take
I don't
this
take
night
this
for granted." Like,
Yep.
Well, and when they,
Even though
the
it was
Native
pretty much all-
American that was on there, like, was just leaning forward, was just like,
and those
oh
are
my
his.
God.
If you haven't seen it, those are his co-stars
Yes,
from the movie. They were
absolutely.
there in case the movie won, because now every award show brings all the stars up, which I like.
I just thought it was brilliant.
One of the comments made on Facebook immediately following his speech, which I realized you may have not seen, but when I came home, I jumped online just to see. The first thing, I don't need him preaching about saving the planet.
Yeah.
He flies a fucking private jet everywhere.
Oh.
He's got to travel.
Well, no, I know, but
Haters
it's like
gonna hate.
I know,
Yeah.
but that was one of the first
But
things.
then there's pictures of like any parties on this yacht. It's the yacht from The Wolf of Wall Street.
So it's scenes from a movie.
Yeah,
right,
that was my favorite thing. I was like,
And I'm not
Except for that's
poo-pooing
from
his
the movie.
statement. I just thought it was funny that somebody's going to jump online and be like, "Oh, he flies around."
well, they do that with Al Gore because he kept a
Ooh.
light on once. You know what I mean?
Oh, he turned the light on.
They
That's
show
right.
pictures
You're
of
right,
Al
you're
Gore.
right.
well,
with
it was
this
his
thing on.
lights to lead him to the internet.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. But Olivia Munn, well, we'll get to who looked beautiful then. But I mean, really, it was nice that he acted surprised, and the speech was lovely, but there was absolutely no doubt in the world that Leo was going to win. Like, even I wasn't nervous about it. I mean, the very second I thought maybe the world could go wrong.
By the
Yeah,
way,
but-
I have a
but
video
again-
coming up in just a minute.
But just
I'm
the fact
so
that
excited that you do.
just the fact that everybody that that was on the red carpet was talking about who do you think's gonna win. They're like, we really don't know, but we know Leo's gonna win. So I was
Right,
like,
isn't that
all
funny?
right, if the red carpet people aren't even
Well,
pretending.
and just the fact that it was so real, I thought, whether people knew he was going to win or not, that Kate Winslet just sat there, and when they did flash to her, that she just had like tears welled up, and people were
She's
sitting like
overjoyed.
with anticipation.
Yeah.
And again, same things with his co-stars.
But he's worked with
his
a lot of them,
speech Just
so
kind
that's
of-
always a good sign. If the people you work with
Right.
are that excited
Still
for
Oh,
love
you,
if you
right.
motherfuckers were up there, I'd be like this. Oh, here we go.
yeah, oh, that
But
one.
right,
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that in action.
I'm that
Yeah.
happened.
I feel like
While we're actually doing something.
I've
Whatever.
legitimately been up for something,
I'm
and
just
Marty's
saying.
been just picking her nose and
Whatever.
talking to Aaron the
Just
whole
like,
time.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
No, I watched you dance. But
So
You were
and
rooting for Katie June.
so the,
stand by.
so this
I wasn't rooting
yeah.
for anybody. I was there. No.
Yeah.
So the supporting
Hashtag
actor
awkward moment. Come on.
supporting actor was a big surprise, even though we've been saying it all along.
We were on the show together.
But Sylvester Stallone was the sentimental favorite, but it turns
Yeah,
out
snub.
if you're playing that card of the sentimental
Yeah.
favorite will win the Oscar, that's no longer on the table either.
Son of a bitch.
favorite.
It would have been his 39th or 40th anniversary, depending on how you count
Right,
it,
right.
of the movie coming out.
Oh,
it came out in
Harrison, you're so
76,
sweet.
but the Oscars were in 77.
77, sure.
That's sweet.
But
So it would've
I
been the
thought
f-
it was interesting that they didn't, and not, I shouldn't say interesting. I thought it was wonderful, actually, that they didn't flash to him. At least not that I saw. That they didn't flash to.
Oh, no, they do. They
No,
did.
no, no. But I mean, like, not right
Oh, they
away.
didn't linger on it. Right, yeah.
And I thought that was very tasteful because I'm sure everybody was saying he was going to win.
Well, the only
It was kind
reason
of like
they usually
Leo. Like
do go to the
everybody was saying
the
him.
only reason they ever do go to the people that lost is if in the speech they acknowledge
Right.
Them, right.
Sure,
them by
sure.
name. Like if you
Right.
say, "Oh, I'd like to thank everybody in my category," they usually will show one person.
Right.
And
You're right.
he
Who
just
has
said-
their shit together?
He
Yeah.
did a
Yeah.
general shout out
Who's
to the
not
supporting
hammered.
actor, but his speech was mostly about Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg.
Oh, and Mark Rylance was, come on. What
Yeah,
a
and
great
he's only the
speech.
second person that's ever won an Oscar in a Steven Spielberg movie. Only the second actor. So of all his years of making movies, only not a great actors
Uh-oh.
director. So if you're looking to win an Oscar, maybe stay away from Steven Spielberg. Not a great track record.
But if you're looking to make $1 bazillion,
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Then go there. So the Danish Girl and Alicia Vikander, no great surprise. I was hoping for a little bit of a sentimental Kate Winslet win, but we knew that was coming. Best Achievement in Directing, The Revenant wins only the third time in Oscar history that someone has won Best Director 2 years in a row. But it's our third year with a Mexican director, so they have to get a little bit of credit for that. My fascination with Mexican film starts about 16 years ago with Y Tu Mamá También, with Alfonso Cuarón, who we've talked about ad nauseum on here with Gravity and all that shit.
Right.
And Benicio del Toro with Pan's Labyrinth and his great movies. And this is the other guy, Babel. He did 21 Grams. Like, he's made some movies that I really, really love. And then last year, Birdman. So, I mean, it's kind of a big deal that although people are complaining about diversity, we're on a Mexican had never even been nominated before, and now we've got 3 in a row winning. So.
Did you see the Jimmy Kimmel piece where his little guy, I can't think of his name.
Oh,
the
Jimmy,
little something. Anyway, he
Chewy.
went out and he was on, basically like it's like Chelsea Handler's.
That's Chelsea
it's
Handler's
so like Chelsea Handler's
little guy.
Chewy. Is it the same guy? I don't even know.
I don't
It
know.
looks like, sure as
No,
fuck
it's
looks
not.
like him.
It's not.
But he was on the
And he
the
did
red
die of
carpet,
pancreatic cancer.
But he was also like kind of off the red carpet. So he's like over here and he's screaming at everyone, and he is giving them tequila. Like he had tequila in a thing, and Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Damn it. She comes out. The whole thing was very funny, but Iñárritu,
Yep.
am I saying that right? He came over and they were laughing because the little guy's Mexican guy. And they were laughing about the fact that, well, apparently, I think Iñárritu says, well, apparently immigration didn't work very well because, we're here. And it was just, everybody just kind of started laughing. It was very cute.
Yeah, and the 3 of them are very not your midget friend, but the 3 of them are very.
How are we dating?
Stand
now?
by.
Like, how did that happen? I don't think.
But in his thank yous
Not
across
your
the bottom of the
midget
screen,
friend.
Iñárritu thanked Alfonso Cuarón and Benicio del Toro because they did kind of all start off together. They wrote each other's movies. They produced each other's movies, and now 2 out of the 3 of them have Oscars. And if you've seen Pan's Labyrinth, I still think he should have got an Oscar for Pan's Labyrinth because I love that fucking movie. It's a horror movie for children, and it's terrifying. I don't know what child would want to see that.
By the way, Amina just asked, have we heard Charlize Theron speak Afrikaans? And that we had just talked about that on Sunday.
On Sunday, right.
And you were surprised that was her kind
homeland.
of acting. No,
Yeah.
but her speaking.
Right. That's an act when she speaks.
Yeah, which I
didn't
agree
realize
with you.
that.
I was kind of like.
And because she came to like London and New York when she was like 18 or 19.
Yeah.
So although they do speak English in South Africa, it's
There's an accent involved.
There's an accent involved.
Right.
So there's that. So the
She sounds mean, though. I have not heard it. I would like to hear that.
I
to
did a
look it
little Googling of her, and she didn't. Well, there's a question of who shot her dad, whether or not
I thought it was
whether or not her or her mother,
mom.
right? But it seems like the mom took the blame. So The Revenant wins Best Cinematography, and now Chivo, I cannot pronounce his real name, but that's what I'll call him. 3 Oscars in a row, kind of an amazing feat that this guy is doing this work, and they're just banging out Oscars at him. And when you vote in those categories,
Banging out.
they don't put the person's name.
Hashtag
so they're
banging
not
out.
voting for him for the 3rd time because on your ballot it just says Best Achievement in Cinematography, The Revenant. So you don't know who you're
Oh,
voting
I see.
for.
Okay.
You're just told this is the movie. So without his name on the ballot, he's won 3 Oscars in a row. Like they're just judging. It's kind of like an anonymous runway show in Project Runway. And the same with song. They don't tell you who the songwriter is, so you don't know that Diane Warren is losing her 8th Oscar, or Roger Deakins that did a movie. This is like his 19th loss because you're just voting for the movie. They don't give you the name. So now they're saying, like, would it help if we put the name on there? Would that like help someone who's never won? Would it hurt someone who's going to win 3 in a row? Or is it just a testament to their work?
Like, if only there was a device where all these people that vote could, like, find out.
They can
who
Google
wrote
it,
the song. Yeah.
but just when you're looking at your ballot and
Right.
these, and, they're
It's kind of
doing
like the
a,
propositions when he goes to vote on an actual ballot. He doesn't know what the fuck it is.
So can you
Googles
imagine?
it, he
But I
pulls out
Googles
his
and I
phone
look it up.
himself.
Would you imagine if it's that unimportant that you're like, what was the best cinematography? You're not going to be like, well, who's got 2? Who's got 4?
Oh, sure. Well, and
Who's
I
got
would.
And
sex?
I
plus,
would-
Who
when
has
everybody
8?
thanks Chivo and says Chivo, and you find out his
Okay.
name, you're like, what the? Who's Chivo?
Right.
So then everything else very
Chewy's brother.
deservedly was.
Chewy's brother.
Okay,
Chewy
there we
and
go.
Chivo.
Was Mad Max Fury Road
let me-
great wins, but the one surprise there was a couple surprises of the night, but the big one in the below the big line category was the visual effects one because Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Star Wars,
Oh.
like that's a big fucking category,
Ah.
and who pulls it off? Ex Machina. And I was so excited that movie won that
Because
award
you love
Yeah.
that one.
which has beautiful effects. And Alicia Vikander in that entire movie is a special effect
Yep.
because she's artificial
The android,
intelligence,
right,
she's
right.
an android. So I just thought that was such a great win for them. And maybe people are looking around to be like, what can we throw at this movie so people know that we loved it? So I just thought that was really a really cool win, especially since Mad Max made a big deal about there's not that many special effects, it's practical stunts. and The Revenant. It's all
But it's
natural
really
lighting.
good.
There's just the bear, and however the fuck they do that horse thing that I still have not figured out that horse
I
trick.
haven't seen it yet.
I need to buy the DVD and get the making of, and somebody's got to show me how they green screened that shot. But it's amazing. So anyways, so that was the Oscars. So from, who else you got up there? So show our winners real quick, our 4 actors.
These right there.
And that's Mark Rylance on the
Oh,
left.
what a great picture.
Brie Larson, and I love that they do this every year, and they have to gather them up as
Yeah.
they're going. What they did, and they did because the show
That's
ran a
a
little
cute
long, and
picture.
they didn't play right with ABC. They brought everybody that won an Oscar. They rushed the stage as Spotlight was finishing up, and they must have told them backstage to do it. Like when you hear the music cue, which was Ride of the Valkyries, which made me laugh, to cue everybody off, to run up on stage. And that's what the confetti was for, was there was supposed to be a group shot of all the winners standing there with the confetti coming down, but the people producing it didn't know what ABC had planned, and they cut it, and the angles were all wrong. And so you didn't see it, but then they brought people backstage. But on the right, and we have another close-up of her dress, she's now the spokesperson for Louis Vuitton. And this was my favorite dress of the night, if you have that one of her winning in the dress. It was just lovely.
Beautiful, yeah.
And there's just something about that pale yellow color that I just
I
found
loved
against
it
her
that,
skin
I loved
tone.
that it
and-
was different colors that people had, like whether it be that pretty yellow or the mint, or there was a turquoise-ish.
By the
Not
way,
even turquoise. It was like
Ru-
a deeper green, beautiful.
Rubio just won Minnesota.
What?
yeah.
Just telling you.
Rubio won Minnesota, and Cruz won Oklahoma and Texas.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
so that was that. It was lovely. So that picture of Kate and Leo was her going up while the confetti was falling. That was the shot. Like, she ran up after that group shot failed and congratulated him, and that's why they're standing in front of an empty theater, which makes it even more. Which I think it makes it even sweeter that the theater's
Yeah.
empty and they're just on stage lit up. Let me go back to my list. So that was it. Just, I mean, it wasn't a night of like little surprises. It was, and then worst dressed. Wait, we have to do, now that we did best dressed.
There's
Worst dressed.
two.
No, she's now 2 in a row from 2 different award ceremonies. From Sunday night, Heidi Klum, and here's my theory, which will get us to the next
Awful.
dress.
Just fucking awful.
Heidi Klum has clearly never gone to a junior prom, so she has to go.
Stand by.
So we
Stand
are
by.
all forced to
Oh,
suffer
that's
through shitty junior prom dresses, and this is just a living
Oh.
fucking nightmare.
Yeah, but there can't be a gay in the room that I agree with.
No,
Karen.
and fashion-
she had to have pissed off a gay guy.
Fish
Or
and
Amina.
Police.
Amina
Fish
said
and
that,
Police
that's
is
right.
the other show on E Network. The Fashion Police.
Fish and police.
No, that's on TLC.
Yeah.
Actually, it's
That's
a
learning.
logo. That's a logo.
Fish and Police
That's a
on
lesbian
TLC.
one.
Yeah, but the
that's
Fashion
Fish and Police, that's
had this on,
funny.
and Tim Gunn was the guest judge last night on Fashion Police.
Lord.
So funny, and they're like, "Oh, Tim, we got to do it to you," and he was like, "I love her, but what is this mess?" And it's some couture gown that just came off the runway, and they're like, "Here it is on the runway. Here's her version," and no, and she got worst dressed of the night with Tim Gunn in attendance with her best friend and co-star.
That's embarrassing.
And we've all been calling it the Endora collection, like something out of Bewitched Rejects.
That's funny.
But at the Emmy Awards, and we figure she lost a bet on this shit, this is what she wore to the Emmy Awards.
Oh God.
Not
What?
the yellow.
Next picture. Next
Oh,
slide.
oh, this one.
This
Got
is
it.
what she wore to
Oh,
the Emmy Awards.
Jesus.
And again,
Is she a figure skater?
exactly, it's a figure skater who's just running off to the senior prom. You
Did
know what I
she
mean?
borrow this from the Lady Weir?
The Lady Weir even looked down on this shit. He was like, no,
I feel like the Lady Weir wore this at one point.
Now, in a striking contrast to how lovely this
Let's-
is,
yes.
it's been seen before. A lot of children know about it. It's this outfit here, where she's apparently been on the children's television network in
That's
the
not
outfit.
okay.
And they're about the same height, which is good.
That's a dude with really strong shoulder
The
muscles.
legs look good.
On Big Bird, because that dress isn't doing anything for her legs on the right. It just a fucking nightmare. So that's twice in a row in like 6 months that she's gotten worse dressed. And this is a woman who judges people's clothes on fucking
Right,
Project
Project
Runway.
Runway.
Right.
Like, bitch, we're taking your card away.
Right.
And this was another one. I guess this walked down the runway, according to the people on Fashion Police.
Well, the 67th Emmys, according to what that picture shows. I don't know how long ago that was.
No, that was just this.
Oh, just this past one?
I'm pretty sure.
Got it.
Pretty sure. So let me just get through a couple things. So then the highlight of the night for all of us, and the reason that we were only like 10 minutes behind for the entire night.
Oh.
There was one point where we were on the same commercial as them, but then go to the picture. This happened, and it took an hour out of our night.
Oh my God, it had to.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's
It had to.
performance.
We watched it 4 times.
First
Blew
of all,
us away,
to mop everybody up
destroyed
from the
it.
puddle that they were
Right,
afterwards,
right.
had to have taken an hour.
Crying, sobbing messes.
Yeah.
I mean, there was hand holding that had to go on.
Absol-
Discussions
yeah.
that went
I was
on,
sitting
like-
next to him on the couch, and I wouldn't look at him because I could hear. I could hear it, and I'm
sure,
like, if I look at him, it's all gonna
It's
go
all
south.
over. Right.
It was just the things written on the arms, and then when they took the
Brilliant.
bow,
Oh my
and the
God.
one girl was just sobbing,
Yeah.
and the girl next to her is like trying to hold
Holding
her
her
hand,
the
like
fuck
shake
up,
it
right?
off.
Yeah.
It was devastating, and we went from almost on
On
time
time,
at the Oscars.
yeah.
Like at one point we were at the same commercial as they were, and we had to like do champagne. I think
Pause
was the,
it, right.
Yeah.
I think the dead people.
Oh
we
yeah,
almost
it was
caught
the
up.
in memoriam.
Yeah.
We had to stop.
We
Right.
had to stop,
Right.
and then we got
She
behind.
was she was just amazing.
It was chilling and
breathtaking.
And I actually talked about this last week or the week before that I had just heard that song and was so moved by it.
And I had never until
I had
Sunday
never.
night. I had not heard that song.
and it wasn't hearing it
I
before.
just
did-
had right after the Grammys because I just pulled up a playlist and I was like, Gaga, what the hell is this doing on here? And listened to it and about lost myself into a puddle in the car. Like it's the song itself.
And the
is just so
unfortunate thing
moving.
about that is, it's a beautiful song and it's a powerful song, but there is not one person in this room, and I bet not even listening to this show at any time now or in a rebroadcast, you don't know somebody that song represents.
Right.
Right. Oh, of course.
absolutely.
You all do.
Oh, sure.
We all
everybody,
know.
everybody does.
So that's
Resonates,
just
absolutely.
regardless if it's from the Catholic Church or from
Right.
someone else.
Or
We
personally,
all or
absolutely.
personally, right? But we all
Right,
have
and-
some connection to
And I
that.
really
Yeah.
thought with the spotlight thing going on, with what a big story that was, especially when it won Best Picture. But again, that's from the biggest hit always
Yeah.
wins Best Song. Unfortunately, the hit and the one
we
from the
were
hit movie.
shocked. I mean, I don't. And
We
I
were
think
totally
it was solely
shocked.
because
But we
of
were
the
shocked.
performance.
And I honestly have
Yeah.
to say, because I listened to the song
Yeah.
before the show, and I was like, oh, that's very good, that's powerful. It had nothing to do with how she performed it on there, like,
right.
and then having survivors come out.
She
and
knew what
everybody
she was selling.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I knew exactly what it was.
That was
Joe
her performance
Biden,
out.
and Joe Biden coming out ahead of time,
Well,
and the presentation.
and I agree with-
presented beautifully.
I agree with what you said on Facebook today. Everybody in the audience wanted to take their ballot back at that point and be
Oh,
like,
just be like, oh, no,
change,
no,
change.
I didn't
stop,
see
stop.
that. I didn't see
But
that.
it's from
That's
it's from a
awesome.
documentary that not many people have seen.
Yeah.
It wasn't nominated for Best Documentary, so it wouldn't be something you would have seen. And the biggest hit always wins. And even though the last two songs from Bond movies I hated Skyfall.
Yeah, you talked about
The
that.
sky
yeah.
falls.
Yeah.
It's a house. It's a fucking house in the movie. Like
you
it's not the
talked
spy
about
who
that.
loved me. I mean, I get that you can be a little bit of a metaphor and try, but what are you singing about? Skyfall is a house. Did they not
Sure.
give you the fucking movie? And then this one, the writing's on the wall. I didn't get that one either. Not that the movie wasn't kind of convoluted and a little bit like, "Ooh, where are we going now?
I didn't like that song.
And
though.
everybody showed
I mean,
up with
truly.
great clothes and never took any luggage anywhere.
Yeah, so, but I didn't like either one. But it really was like, you could just see them all in the audience like, oh dear God, I did pick that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But they-
Jesus, I mean, you're right. Without trying to go too far off and keep going, but I mean, when the reaction to
messages
all
on
of
their
us,
arms, yeah.
and I know for a fact that had you been there, like sitting there with us, I mean, I was sitting there.
I had
like,
to leave the room. I
Well,
ended up
and
watching
that
it,
was the thing.
thankfully, by myself in
Yeah.
a dark room.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
we
Where
were
you
sitting
should
there, and
watch
I
it,
was
yeah.
looking straight ahead, like, oh my God, am
Yeah.
I the only
and
one?
we were
And all I could
champagned
think
out
was-
with all the feelings.
Oh, God.
But all I could think was, am I the maybe I'm the only one reacting like this, maybe I'm not. And then honestly,
because you don't want to be the only one to cry.
Honestly, I could give a shit. But in my
still.
head, I thought, no, I know for a damn fact Al's crying.
Oh,
because
well,
I
they
knew
opened up the back
two of
curtain and
us-
like, you are not bringing out a choir.
Well, and
And
Yeah,
then
he
they're
thought
like-
it was a choir.
Yeah, and then they go, no, it's worse. It's rape survivors. I'm like, God,
Yes.
you.
It's
Well, and
worse
the
than a
fact-
choir.
the fact that he goes, that's a choir.
It's worse
No.
than a choir.
The
God.
fact that the way it was filmed as well. was
Yeah.
was
Oh,
just
it was beautifully
Well,
done.
and
looking through this window or looking through this box and putting survivors in a box,
Right.
and there was all
Oh,
of
yeah.
this.
It really was the performance of a long, long time at the Oscars.
I haven't seen
Absolutely.
anything like that in a very long time.
Yeah,
Well,
and then go ahead.
Mesmerizing.
I was to say
Mesmerizing.
from my perspective, because I was watching like 2 weeks ago Downton Abbey while watching Twitter for the Oscars, because I was like, Cliff's Notes will do for me.
Sure.
And so it was already spoiled for me by the time I got to it, and I was like, okay, like I'm prepared, I know what this is about,
Right,
I'm
right,
ready,
Mm-hmm.
and then forget about it. No,
Oh,
there's
no,
there's
and
just that moment that it just hits.
It was just
And
a
her
punch
singing-
to the gut, and she
and
just.
she was just mad about it. I was
and-
like,
and-
oh.
And then the audience, you cut to Rachel McAdams, the star of the movie
Yeah.
Spotlight, about this
Right.
topic, just sobbing, and you're like, come on.
Oh, and when cut to Diane
Diane
Warren
Warren,
was like
yeah.
it was a religious experience
She
for
went to
her.
church,
She
yeah.
was. It was like
Yeah.
she didn't.
So
Couldn't
good.
stand up. She was just like, oh
And
my
I
god.
love that there was just nothing about her Gaga's performance that was wrong.
No, it was.
I mean, that
I have
people like to be
never-
particular, and they kind
Oh,
of
no,
want to
that,
be
that
like,
one was.
Amina, I have
What's
never
that?
heard that.
oh, absolutely,
about-
yes.
about
I've heard
that-
Oh, that's in the
I've ne-
Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Never, well, I've never seen it.
Oh, well, I've played
I
you
call,
that.
gonna-
I call my head to DJI or whatever the fuck it is.
We're
But
gonna
that's the
have
song
to
where they
change
sing
that.
about it.
No, I know that. I know that part. But I've never
Yeah.
heard that myth that virgins could cure the disease.
That's what they're singing about in that song.
Well, I don't know. I don't know these
No,
things.
and that's fair.
Yeah,
but I
that's
mean,
fair,
like
yeah.
truly, that's something that
Because
there
I'm
was-
pretty sure in all of the explanations of that movie you've ever told me that they were singing about a myth about a virgin curing cancer
Well,
or
he says
curing
it
AIDS.
pretty-
I'm sorry.
They'd rape the babies.
They're
Well,
going
why
to
did they
rape
rape
babies.
right.
Well, that's
Because some people in our village think that that's the only way to cure the AIDS. There's
I've
not
never
many
heard that
virgins
line.
left.
I've never heard the line.
Oh, okay.
But
It's
Jenny,
sad.
yes,
Yeah.
that's fucked up, Amina. But if it's a fact, it's a fact.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
And so just.
God, it's just yeah.
But it was very well done, and she looked in her outfit like
yeah.
Oh, all
top
that
10 list
white.
of outfits too.
Well,
she
when
looked
Al
good.
looked at me and he goes, "That dress," and I went, "Those pants."
It's pantsuit, yeah.
She did
And
have
I
a little
love that.
Celine Dion camel toe at a couple points, but yeah.
But when she walked up and they were showing her walking up the red carpet, it was it damn near looked like culottes. You know what I mean? In a way,
Yeah.
because she said like a friend of mine just kind
Yeah,
of
her-
I decided on.
I
it
watched
today.
Fashion Police, so I can help you.
Oh,
Her
sorry.
stylist is also her
work.
designer.
That was the gayest thing ever.
Yeah, kind of. So just to get you kind of caught up on Alicia Vikander, if you haven't seen Ex Machina after all I've been talking about it, please see this movie. It's so good. But also
I did. I had a high fever at the time, but I watched it.
yeah, and A Royal Affair and Anna Karenina from the same year. A Royal Affair is in Swedish, but it has Hannibal from Hannibal, another great movie of his. But Anna Karenina with
Look that up. Looking it up right
Oscar nominee and Alexander Skarsgård and what the fuck is her name? Skinny
Anna
girl, really
Kendrick?
good.
No.
I love Anna Kendrick. No, she wasn't in that.
No.
I can't think of it. She's
Settle
in the
down.
Joe Roth movie. She's in Atonement.
I'm almost there.
Skinny girl,
IMDb.
real pretty.
Oh, Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley.
Oh,
She's in that one. And then
love
the
her.
person that we I don't think we've talked about him very much, but
Had a girl over
Domhnall Gleeson by the end of it, because he was sitting there at the Oscars, kind of waiting for one of his movies to win. Last year he was in Brooklyn, Ex Machina, Star Wars, and The Revenant. And this is like, yeah.
Wow.
He was in two Best Picture Oscars. And here's this guy just sitting there kind of quietly. He's in that
so
movie.
he clearly doesn't have to work anymore.
No, but really good. But he's one of those actors that's going to be like the next big thing. So next year, when I'm telling you to keep an eye on Domhnall Gleeson, Irish actor, but he gets rid of the accent in a hot second. I didn't know he was Irish till Brooklyn.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm looking at him right now, and I have no fucking idea who he is.
Well, he was
Wait, what's his name
in.
again?
No, I'm
Ex
seeing
Machina,
it.
Star
no,
Wars,
I get it. But
Revenant.
Star Wars and what I don't.
Did you see
remember
Star
him.
Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the other guy besides the Adam
Oh.
Driver. He's the other guy from the Dark Side or whatever they're called.
Oh.
He wears a cap.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna keep looking. Oh,
and
here
in The
we are.
Revenant, he's the captain that he very often plays people of authority.
Okay.
So then from things that we talked about, because we had a lot of conversations about like the opening monologue by Chris
Oh.
Rock, which was very good.
Yep.
And then a couple things that were not very good. And then the Girl Scout cookies was a great idea and a lot of fun. Turns out they really, in the audience, they raised about $2,500.
Okay.
But at home, his daughters raised the
Oh, that's
$65,000.
cute. Okay.
It was like
Great.
internet
Okay.
sales. I think they put themselves
Yeah.
up for internet sales, someone said, and they like
Because
sold
we talked
like
about that. We have the app, and they can send it out with the
So
link.
somehow something got twittered, and that's how. But from the audience, he got $2,500 in cash out of the people in the audience,
Fantastic.
including Shillery. Now I can't say it.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah, that she had
Theron.
cash in that little outfit, that beautiful
Shut up.
dress.
Isn't that funny?
Somewhere she
Yes.
was packing
She's
cash,
all like,
and so did Kate Winslet
Yeah.
had cash on her.
Smart girls.
So, I
always,
mean,
always
but-
take a
Always
20.
take a 20.
Right.
But
always
it-
take a 20.
It turned,
You
Cab
never
money.
know when Girl Scout
Cab fare,
cookies.
right.
You never know.
but it turned out he like really interesting, or you could just be offended that the Oscars had a political stance, but of course they do. It used to.
Well, I love that he had on his white jacket. That Chris Rock had the white jacket on. Like everything was just in your face.
Yeah,
and I
and-
thought that there are going to be so
That's
many
very Chris
people
Rock.
that have.
But
heard-
it made it very.
No, it was good. I'm saying there are so many people that I think probably went. and
Oh, of
just
course
turned
they
it
do.
off.
Because people
Fuck
don't
'em.
want to have an uncomfortable conversation.
Yes.
Like they want the People's Choice
Exactly.
Awards. Then watch the People's
Exactly.
Choice Awards.
That's a good
Yep.
plan.
And
Do
the
that.
Oscar
Yep.
wants to elevate the conversation. And ABC this week just honestly carried
Oh,
over
yes.
because last week Blackish,
I watched the
which
Blackish
is
episode,
so
which was
fucking
so
funny,
good. Yeah.
but a great conversation starter about a black family that doesn't live where the riots are happening, but they're
Right.
watching them on TV, and how they handled
Yeah.
how to talk to the younger kids about what's going on with black people and cops right now, and how the older kids handled it. The older daughter's perspective was
Well, when she like came out and was like, "I'm paying attention. Like, settle down."
yeah. I
like,
mean,
what?
her turn. And as soon as the grandmother and Diane the twin need to get their own spin-off, I will watch every minute
episode. Oh my
between
God.
Black
Yeah.
Jesus and
Black Jesus.
when the younger
Yeah.
daughter just tells them all where
Diane.
to go. Diane, when
Oh,
she
that-
I love that their
Diane.
names are Jack and Diane.
Jack and
I
Diane, they were brother and sister. Well, because the
And
week
when
before they
oh.
handled their name,
Yeah.
like where their names came from.
It was hysterical.
And when they found out that it was about people that dated, they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Get in the closet. She
so
says
what
to her
did,
brother,
what did Jack and Diane do again?"
Sitting on Jackie's lap with what?
"Where am I putting my hands?"
Settle down.
But and when
Stand
Lawrence
by.
Bye.
when Lawrence Fishburne hands the grandmother some of his gin, and he goes, "Oh, now the last time she had gin, she shot you," and he goes, "Oh, but it was sweet loving first."
I love their
It was.
relationship.
It's so funny. Yeah.
They're just so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
But I just love it. And then American Crime. I think that's what it's called on ABC, the show that's on, because I
Oh,
get
by
American
the way,
Crime and
that's
American
what
Crime
Drew-
Story.
Drew, check in, Drew.
So
Thank
I know there's American Crime
Yes.
Story, which is
No,
O.J. Simpson,
American
and then
Crime.
American Crime on
Love
ABC.
that fucking show.
Is about, and I just happened to catch. I was watching something about the kid from the prep school in Connecticut.
Have you
that
been
got
watching the whole
yeah.
season? Though?
But
Yeah.
the kid in the prep school in Connecticut that convicted of rape because that prep school had the tradition of trying to hook up with the seniors before they graduate,
Uh-huh.
sending out invitations
Right.
and then writing the girls' names on the
Yes,
wall that
yes,
they slept
yes.
with.
Yep.
And now he just got convicted of a lesser rape charge. It was in Newsweek.
It's
They
like
did
a
an interview with him.
kind of, yeah.
But then it went to the YouTube videos. You know how they keep playing if you don't stop it? So I was
sure,
like no
yeah.
longer watching the video, and it went to a story about a basketball team where it's the story of the kid that was raped by the basketball team with like a broom handle or something.
Yes, okay.
And all that thing and another like weird tradition and all this stuff. So this story that they're doing is about shootings but it's about race and about money and about like the class inequalities. And I just thought you could watch that and be like, "Oh, shut the fuck up," or you could actually have a conversation with your
Right.
children,
Family,
your teenagers,
friends,
with your friends
anybody,
about
yep.
how about not rape people.
Right.
But I like the
That's a
implication.
really good option.
It's a really good option.
I feel like that's
Wait a minute, is
it's a
that an
viable
option?
But they've
option. It's a
introduced
possible
so many
option.
so many great like sub stories into this where like it's the girl that's dealing the drugs. It's this person that's doing this. Like there's no
I just added it to my Hulu watch list. I'm in.
For
It's-
American
it's-
Crime?
Yeah,
It's
most
so fucking brilliant.
most of the episodes of this season are available on demand with a Hulu subscription.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm gonna have to start at
Did you see it
episode
last
4.
year?
I saw. I've never heard of it before. in my
Okay,
life.
so American Crime last year. May I adjust?
Yeah.
American Crime last year was Felicity Huffman.
It's all the same cast.
And
The cast hasn't
Hutton,
changed.
Timothy Hutton and blah blah blah, right? And so it was this cast last year, and it was
in a certain light, I look kind of like a very young Timothy Hutton.
yeah,
actually, you
absolutely.
do.
And
I know.
you've
It's actually
absolutely
fair.
put
I
that
have
picture
pictures
as your
of it,
profile picture. It's fucking hysterical. But you do not look like him now.
No, thank God.
No, not at all.
Don't wanna.
But last year's story was this, and then all of a sudden they come out with season 2.
Well, they're doing
and
the
it's
American Horror Story.
completely-
Right,
They're
same
doing it like a
cast, new
repertory.
story.
It's all the
Right.
same actors,
Oh,
but
sure,
now you
sure,
play
sure.
a new
Yeah.
summer
And
stock, if you will.
But it's brilliant,
I
and
will.
it's about a school, and a basketball team, and like being money kind of weighted, and
because it's a
whatnot.
prep school and there's
Yep.
kids that are there on scholarship.
2 schools. There's
And
a public
about-
school
right.
and a private school.
and
a
trying
blah,
to
blah,
figure
blah,
out
and
like
the-
with the race part of it, where there's a very wealthy black gentleman that's on the basketball team.
But he just happens to be over 18.
Right.
So that factors into it too. That
That
he's the
changes
everything.
that
Of a
changes
rape
everything
thing,
of what
yes.
names you can publish. So it just handles everything. And then because there was a shooting on the show, they had people from Sandy Hook, people from Columbine,
Yes.
someone whose son had committed suicide after being outed and bullied at school. And Doug was very critical because
He was really critical.
He was very critical because it wasn't on the nose enough for him. Like he wanted it to be exactly what they showed in the show.
I
Like
see,
it should
okay.
be one guy, you know what I mean? But because they just went with school shootings and bullying and stuff like that,
Guns in schools.
guns in
and-
schools.
We have
and-
plenty of
So
examples.
Doug was
sure.
Doug was very offended that
Well,
it wasn't
but
the
if
exact
you-
story that they were showing.
I
It was
understand.
Once you see the first 4 or 5 whatever shows that there are now, and it leads to what this discussion
You're on episode
is
8,
about.
by the way.
8,
Yeah.
whatever.
Right,
it's been.
no, and it-
but
but
I
it-
mean, where it leads you to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see why, and I can see why he would look at it and say, "Well, I don't understand. Why would they be talking about Columbine? It was something totally separate," and he was real adamant about it. Whereas Al and I saw it in a totally different light.
of just
it was
school shootings.
school shootings. It was just a blanket
Right.
kind of
That's
people with guns in schools is just
That's the very first thing I
bad.
think of when somebody says school shooting.
Right.
Still,
Right.
Right.
It doesn't
Columbine.
matter. There's no
like
way to
even
compare.
even though there's more recent and more tragic
right,
ones, like the first
right.
one comes up.
But and
Columbine.
there's no way to necessarily compare Columbine and Sandy Hook and Pearl, Mississippi, and you can't.
they're all the same.
They're all the same. No. But I mean,
Dead kids.
dead kids. But
Guns.
you can't be like, well, it was this, and it was this, and it was because of this circumstance. No.
Guns.
Right. It
Guns.
just kind of
Right,
like
right.
like somebody was
Exactly.
asking like, where is the story about the teen with the rape? There were so many rape stories on that YouTube that I let play because I was in the other room listening that I couldn't tell one from the other. It's kind of like there's a scene in Blackish last week where they're like, oh no, that was the guy with the videos. No, that's the guy with the
Yes.
cigarettes. No, that's the guy over here. No, that's
Right.
the guy over here. And they can
Yeah.
no longer keep straight the city with the unarmed person being shot. Like
Right.
when you realize like the epidemic of these things.
That was the guy with the Skittles. No, that was in.
Yeah, that
Michigan.
was
the
here,
guy
that
with
was here.
Right.
So
The
it
burrito. No,
turns
that was
into
South
that,
Carolina.
and but it really is, and so and that's why I'm getting them confused because American Crime is
you're
doing the
right.
same thing that American Crime Story is going to do. Their first year is the OJ trial,
Right.
But they're going to use that same actors like they do in American Horror Story and just do it like repertory. All these actors they used to do with American Playhouse back in the '60s, where like they just got a new play every
Sure.
week and filmed it.
Right.
So,
Right.
But I mean, just very interesting, just really interesting television. And I was so amazed at the end of Wednesday night of like, who sat there and like, all right, let's turn off the TV and have a conversation about this. Like this is
Right.
Yeah.
or whenever you watch it, or who was like, oh, I don't want to be lectured by my TV. Like that's going on in the world, and it's
Right.
like it has
And
to be
it does.
talked about.
And they change the channel and they go watch the Duggars.
Well, and the
Right.
or the
Where it's also
Kardashians.
happening.
or the Kardashians
because they're raping them.
Well, and you know the interesting piece to that as well was that
My kidneys are working again.
On 2020, they had the mom of Dylan Klebold, I believe it was.
Which one is he?
What, Columbine, one of the boys.
Oh yeah.
That they finally had one of the moms speak out, and it.
That's such a hard place to be.
Oh God! And watching
imagine.
her broke my heart because everyone said, "Well, how could you not know? How could you not know? And it
You
was
know how
this
much
really
shit
big
people
thing.
don't know about their kids? A lot.
Well, and then when you flip a coin and say, well, there were bombs that were being built in the basement and nobody knew. I don't know. She said, yeah, today I'm going to dig through my kids' stuff and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. But at the time,
You
I
leave 'em
wanted to
alone.
give them some, I wanted to give them some space. So that was really awful watching that. And then when it came up on American Crime,
And that was the thing to do, like let your kids be kids,
Yeah.
and like that's how the previous generation was raised, and that's how everybody,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you reach a certain age, and then just leave them alone. They're teenagers, shove them in the basement, and
Right.
and that's where the helicopter moms were born.
yeah, absolutely.
Like things like Columbine started happening, and all of a sudden you had helicopter
How
moms.
could you
Yeah.
not know?
But if
Well,
you-
here's how I will know.
If
Yeah.
you want to watch just an amazing movie that deals with the mom side of it, there's a movie called We Need to Talk About Kevin. It's Tilda Swinton.
Yes.
And
remember
that
you
beautiful
talking
Ezra
about it.
Miller. And the best part about the title is all anyone needs to do is talk about Kevin, and the only thing no one does
Is talk about
is talk
Kevin.
about Kevin. Like everyone avoids the topic of what is clearly a disturbed teenager, but no one
Yeah.
will sit him down and talk to him. So, so on that topic, it's a
Yeah.
it's a tough movie, but Tilda Swinton in the performance of a lifetime, just an amazing movie that will leave you slack jawed. Again, you may because it's not a gun, but it's
Sure.
still violence at school. So,
Yeah.
all right, there we go.
I love it.
One parting
Nope.
what?
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I was just going to give one parting shot to the Oscars. You talked about fashion. You talked about all the rest of that.
Well, and that was the only fashion I wanted to add to, and
What?
that was right here with Anant had talked about
Oh, yes.
Priyanka Chopra.
The girl from FBI.
Fucking gorgeous, that one. And she was just a delight. Like, she is gorgeous and just well spoken. And I think that was the one, if I'm not mistaken.
it
he
is.
was mad that she didn't speak with her accent as much and this
Yeah.
and that. But she just beautiful.
And she's on that show.
beautiful,
She's on that show
beautiful.
FBI, and is now billboards all over the place.
Quantico.
I love
yeah,
her.
Yeah.
Oh, is that called Quantico?
Uh-huh.
She's
Yeah.
hot.
She
Yeah,
is
and
gorgeous.
hot.
Star of like
Crazy
50 or
fucking
more
hot.
movies
Yeah.
in Bollywood, like big star around
Yeah.
the world that's
Yeah.
just getting big here now because of a cheesy cop show.
Right.
What else? She's still
She
hot.
can be whatever she wants.
So the parting shot I was going to give, because in reference to the fashion, you talked about fashion police and all the tacky dresses and all that stuff. I saw this today, and it made me laugh.
Oh,
Because
Yeah.
I still nobody will ever compete with her. She's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and,
Aaron put that in our thing. That was funny.
And this just in, Scott Kelly, Back to Earth,
Yep. Oh.
from the space
Touchdown.
station. He's a little late.
Stand by.
He's a little late to vote,
Yep.
but he's back on Mother Earth, according to
well, he's right on
Associated
time
Press.
too because they said like 9:37 our time.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I like
he's
it.
back. Welcome home, Mr. Kelly. Thank you for playing along for a year up there. You're done.
Is it wrong that I'm happy that Rubio won Minnesota?
No.
I don't
No,
know.
no, no. By the way, I'm not totally surprised by. But did they say whether Clinton or Sanders? Did they do that?
Oh,
yet?
I haven't looked at that.
I'm sure it came across.
Because that's my big deal right now.
Yeah, you look at that because I feel like we should kind of wrap with
Yeah.
that a little
All right.
bit. Because
I just want to know which one.
I think
won.
I've decided. Like worst case scenario, I feel like I would take a Rubio over all of them because he feels like the dumbest.
Yeah, the most
Yeah.
pliable.
Right.
So Massachusetts went to Clinton. That was still up in the air. Oklahoma went to Sanders. Alaska's still not done voting, and they won't be for a couple hours. Minnesota went to Sanders.
Oh, okay. That doesn't shock me, but
And so
it's cold
far,
there. They want to
and-
feel the burn.
And hey, Sanders at this point with
Right.
46% of the vote in, Sanders is winning Colorado.
Huh?
So he is going to take the 4 that they thought he might.
okay. Okay.
And one of them's not an all-white state, so that's good.
That's good. Because, I mean, popular with the white people.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
Sanders.
Yeah. Very much.
She
Yeah.
won. She won Massachusetts. Oh no, they still haven't called Massachusetts. Let me look.
Okay.
Oh no, they called Massachusetts. I said that. That was one they were waiting on. So Colorado. Oh, they called it too. All right, so we're just waiting on Alaska, but no one cares because I think
Good.
there's like 3
Hillary
delegates.
marched all the way through the South, though, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Okay.
By big numbers.
Well, sure.
Are we ready for you?
Sure.
Here we go.
Are we playing my music? Sure. Well, I don't have a whole hell of a lot of time, so I'm going to start with addressing a question from the chat room, actually, about Sam Smith at the Oscars. And then we'll see what we have time for after that, because I don't really know how long that's going to take. And so I've got stuff, but I don't think I'm going to get to a lot of it. We could talk about Justice Thomas, though, for a second.
I think so, too.
10 years.
Oh, yeah.
10 years.
10 years.
By the way, I appreciate that on the bum bum.
Dun, dun.
That was good. That was good. I liked it.
I've been practicing. Bernie,
You did it well.
Jenny Bernie's from New Hampshire, correct? Vermont. No,
Yeah,
Vermont.
no, he's...
One of the is he from the up one or the down
No,
one?
he's from Vermont.
There it is.
Yeah,
Right,
independent
right,
from
yeah.
He
Vermont.
won his
No.
state.
Yeah.
He won
Yeah.
his state.
Independent.
All right. So, tacking on, Sam Smith, cute, needs a puppy,
Needed something.
all these things.
He needed a sound check.
Said at the Oscars, I read an article a few months ago by Sir Ian McKellen that, and he said that no openly gay man had ever won an Oscar. And if this is the case, even if it isn't, I want to dedicate this to the gay people, blah, 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 blah. No Sam Smith. Here's a list. Marlon Brando.
No. Not openly
Not
gay.
gay.
Not openly gay, that's the
not
difference.
openly gay, no, but is quoted in this article to have said homosexuality is so much in fashion it no longer makes news.
Yeah, but not openly gay.
Like
at
a
all.
large number of men, I too have had homosexual experiences. That's why he makes the list.
I'm going to vote no. He's
Vote
on,
no?
That's Queen Latifah. No.
I don't know. I'm reading from the Gay Star News. So
Yeah.
you
No,
take
that's fine.
take it as you will.
All right, well, we'll judge as we go along. Stand by.
Stand by.
Yeah.
Number
keep going.
2, Alec Guinness, convicted of a homosexual act in 1946.
What was the act?
Well, I'm going to guess one of two things.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Up or down. What up?
What?
Wait, up or down?
He managed to keep his bisexuality private for most of his life. Was
So
later
not
outed
openly
after his
gay.
death.
Bisexuality private most of his life. You're off
Totally.
the openly gay list.
That's all right. We're going to get there.
Now you're getting into Kirsten Cinema territory.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Stand by.
George,
Clayton.
I want to
like
say
that.
Cucker. Best
Cooker.
director, My Fair Lady. His homosexuality was an open secret. He was the head of
Still
Hollywood's
said
gay
secret in it.
subculture.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Doesn't
We're going to get to
count.
Manelli at some point? Because for Christ's sake.
Yeah, because if we're going by these rules, then Manelli's coming up.
Yeah.
John Schlesinger. Best director, Midnight Cowboy.
Possibly. It was a gay-themed movie.
Story of a country boy going to New York City to become a male prostitute with a lot of gay themes. Remains the only X-rated film to win a Best Picture.
But was recut and made NC-17.
Well, sure, like you do. Joel Grey, 1972, Best
Out
Supporting
now.
Actor.
Just came out of the closet
Cabaret.
like a year ago. Doesn't count.
Right, no.
Came out in 2015.
Yep.
And that's crazy to think that Joel Grey,
Like,
only in
what,
2015,
80 years old.
right? And finally, he's like, "Guess
Right.
what? Really? We knew.
Yeah.
Here's your glitter. Here's your glitter. Go to Palm Springs."
John, I want to say Gieland.
Oh, Gielgud. Sir John Gielgud.
Thank you,
From
Gielgud.
Arthur.
Arrested in 1953 in London for cruising in a public bathroom. Kept himself highly discreet.
Define cruising.
I mean,
All right, kept himself highly discreet. Nope, doesn't count either.
Linda Hunt. Linda Hunt has lived her life with her wife, Karen Klein, since 1987. They married in 2008.
Oh, but okay, well, maybe.
Best Supporting Actress.
For the
Year of
You're
Living
My Water
Dangerously.
from the Moon.
Has
from-
Tomlin won anything?
No.
Okay, well.
Nominated, though,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
for Nashville.
Oh.
Wait, the year of Living Dangerously, right?
Yep.
When she says, "You are my water," the Oscar was her "Water from the Moon." It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful speeches ever
Very
given.
nice speech. I love it already. Bill Condon. 1988, Best Adapted Screenplay, Gods and Monsters.
Yep.
Is about a
Openly
gay
gay.
retired film director, played by Sir Ian McKellen. So
And-
we're gonna go with yes.
Bill Condon, that's your first yes. He was openly gay.
No. Jodie Foster, I'm pretty sure she's still not open.
No.
But she wasn't open then.
Oh
Like,
no, God no! Then all we needed her to say that year was that she was gay.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole thing. Was silence equals death? That was about her.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. That's a definite no go.
Howard Ashman.
Dead though before he won, so it doesn't count.
Well, fair enough. Stephen Sondheim.
Still has not admitted to being gay.
Open? Yeah, not
Elton John.
before he was out.
Oh no!
Was
That
it?
would qualify
Well, no.
for the Lion King. I think he was.
1994 Best Original Song. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Lion King.
But had he done the
Yeah.
Guess
yeah.
what? Guess who I am? By then, had he done it?
Who's surprised? Do I need
No,
to
no,
think
no,
about
no.
it?
No,
No,
it's
wait,
not
but
that,
we're
but I
saying
mean-
like openly gay,
Stevie,
making another
Stevie
man.
Wonder could see that he was gay, but
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just
Melissa Etheridge came out after.
right.
Right? I mean, like, come on.
Oh no, Melissa Etheridge would be a real one.
Sir Elton
because
John came
she
out
would
as
be a real
bisexual in an
one.
interview with
for an
Rolling Stone
Oscar.
in 1976.
But when did he come out as gay?
Then he got
However, following a divorce, he told the same magazine he felt comfortable being gay in 1988. So yes, he qualifies.
He qualifies. And Melissa Etheridge definitely does, because her song was from the the
she's coming.
That's
Al
an
Gore
Academy
movie.
Award?
Yeah, for it's best song for the Al Gore movie.
Al Gore, right.
Oh.
Yeah, I got John Corgliano. Best original score, The Red Violin.
Oh, I got nothing on that one.
1987, John composed his first symphony inspired by the AIDS epidemic and the friends he lost. I'm going to go with probably.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you that one.
Well, I'm aiming for
Well, especially with the
probably.
subject matter, he's probably not going to hide
Alan
that.
Ball,
Right.
Best Original Screenplay,
Yes.
American Beauty.
Thank you.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the
yeah,
one I was
definitely,
thinking of.
Definitely out and proud and gay. Yep.
Melissa Etheridge, Best Original Song, I Need to Wake Up. She's been out and proud forever.
But she's not a man, too. He
don't
did
think-
say openly gay man, didn't
I don't
he?
think she could ever have been in.
He
But yeah,
said-
there wasn't a closet door that
Yes.
could close.
I mean, when
He
I
did-
saw her
did say
first
openly
album,
gay
I was
man.
like, oh, I know
Son
we're
of a bitch, the women are out.
there
the
was
women
no
are out.
doorknob there.
But the Bill
No.
Condon one's a good one. That is a good one.
Dustin Lance Black.
Yep, and that's the one. That's the only one that I could come up with today without Googling.
Yeah, gay rights activist and fiance to Tom Daly, raised Mormon. He has dedicated his life to fighting for LGBTI equality. When did we get it on?
inquisitive,
There's
When
a
did we get it on?
what?
indifferent.
Maybe intersex.
And then Sam Smith is the final one on the
that's
list.
probably-
Now, wasn't there
So-
someone who accepted an award?
If you're gonna
and I
accept-
don't think it was American Beauty. I mean, there was someone, I don't think, that accepted it was a young guy
It may not
That's
have been an
that's
Oscar.
Dustin Lance Black for Milk.
for milk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
you just sat down right after she said it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
That's-
I'm like, that was
No.
the one I remember.
But that's the one that we all said when he said, "I think I'm the first person. I
Okay.
may or may not be." And we're like, Dustin Lance Black.
Maybe, maybe listeners
Yep.
now and in the future, if you ever think you're going to accept an award on
Find out.
behalf of an entire community,
You might want to check it out.
do a Google search.
Yeah, but he did say I may or may not. Like he didn't say I'm the first.
and how
He
old
said-
is Sam Smith?
10, I don't know.
20 something. He's young.
No, he's young.
He's just a
he
baby.
saw a meme on Instagram and said, "Oh, well, I must be the first gay. I
He's
must
a
be the first
baby.
homo."
But gay, and one of the controversies of that about Carol not getting the Best Picture nomination when everyone was expecting it was I read an article that said it's because neither one of them die and they don't suffer enough. Like in order for
Yeah,
a gay
that's what it
character to
said.
get a Best Picture nomination, like
Suffering and dying.
one of you's got to die or you got to suffer a lot through it. And they really, they
Again.
have a bad week, but that's about it.
Jew Holocaust. Boom, you got a winner. If you get
There
gay,
it is.
gay
That's
and
true.
you're suffering, you got it too.
Yeah, you got to be like a.
Oh my
Gay
God!
in a
If you're
funeral and you're
gay in the Holocaust and you die, boom, we're done.
Or you can be that dumbass, a single man. What's the hell with the Tom Ford directed movie with Julianne Moore and Tom? Oh no, what's his name? Mr. Darcy. Oh Jesus Christ!
Got nothing.
I don't know.
I think it's called A Single Man. But anyways,
Yes, a single man.
so
Okay.
it's supposed to be the story of this older gay man who's a complete and total drunk, and his best friend Julianne Moore is a total drunk, but he still finds a way to like hook up with this hot youngster. And I'm like, okay, these two are smoking and drinking scotch for 40 years, and yet when they get dressed up, they're Julianne Moore and what's his name, Oscar winner for The King's Speech,
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth, and they're all in Tom Ford, and you're like.
Come on.
It was seriously a masturbatory fantasy. It was a spank bank for him, and it was the year of
There's something
Avatar.
wrong with
And I'm
that.
like, and that's the movie that Doug just loved. He's like, but they look so good. I'm like, show me somebody that's been drinking scotch for that many years and smoking cigarettes that's gonna turn it around and look like these two.
Not
Right.
so good.
Right.
Avatar was more realistic than that fucking movie.
Right.
Not so good.
That they're always like trimming in all these clothes, but they're like boozing it up and laying down across the ground, throwing up. And they, oh Jesus Christ,
Moisturizer.
I hate
Something.
That. Right.
They didn't eat first.
That movie was on the line. That movie
Eat a
was on the
snack.
lines of James Bond, where they kept arriving, and again Tom Ford. They keep
Right.
arriving in these clothes, but no one's got a suitcase or a travel iron. And they
Right. Travel iron.
The
That's
only-
the.
But the funny thing was, is at one point on the train,
You
he
have a
finds
steamer.
a porter and he says,
You have a steamer.
and he's asked to get his suit cleaned. I'm like, finally, someone did laundry in this movie. Where is he getting these clothes? You know what your underwear would smell like on day 3, the way he's sweating?
Day 3. Whew.
I'm giving him the benefit of the
Okay,
doubt.
Jeezy Pete.
But I mean, this guy's
Seriously.
running through the desert, chasing people and getting shot and sliding down shit. And I'm supposed to believe he's fresh and gorgeous on day 3. I'm gonna need to see the change of underwear,
I'm gonna need to see that.
not smell it, not scratch it.
Please
instead.
don't do
Judge's
that.
rule.
No, don't
Yeah.
do that.
Stand by.
Speaking of don't smell it, Justice Clarence Thomas
Yes. Wait a minute, I have a hair on my
Okay,
hand.
but
That was funny.
sorry, my
That's
bad.
funny. To me, that's funny.
Yeah, cat,
Yeah.
hair, and
I get it.
sure.
Justice Clarence Thomas broke a 10-year silence at the Supreme Court just this Monday. Just 2 weeks after the death of his conservative colleague, Antonin Scalia, who left a noticeable void during oral arguments.
Well, because
Well, sure, because Scalia actually said shit.
Yeah.
exactly.
Thomas piped up for the first time since February 22nd, 2006.
Shocking.
Parenthetically, other than a brief quip uttered 3 years ago with an extensive series of questions about Second Amendment gun rights. So gun rights and the death of Scalia apparently woke up Justice Clarence Thomas.
What was his question?
Thank
Do we
God.
know?
Let's see. The case involved two main
Where's
men.
Antonin?
Yeah. Where's the guy that always talks?
Can we pray to Antonin?
Where's Heart Attack on Legs?
Yeah.
Why couldn't I have been a part of that
Wow.
hunting?
Does nobody else have candy but him?
I wish I
Right.
had been a part of that hunting
Does
crew.
nobody else have candy?
The case
But-
involved two men from Maine barred from owning firearms under a federal law because of prior state domestic violence convictions. The men argued that those convictions did not merit the lifetime ban, and Justice Thomas apparently agrees. He said, "This is a misdemeanor violation. It suspends a constitutional right." He says, "Can you give me another area where a misdemeanor violation suspends a constitutional right?" That's the big thing that he opened
That
his
was
mouth
it?
for, to keep people having guns.
That's right.
Thank God he's there.
Well, he wants to be a part of the new hunting club. Because there's now I heard there's an opening.
The
So,
Illuminati.
yeah, the Illuminati hunting club, that there's an opening. It just came about a couple weeks ago. And he would like to have it. They may not take blacks. We're not sure.
Yeah, may not.
Not okay. Not okay.
No, it's not okay. He's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
He's been a douchebag since he was spitting out pubes.
God love the Supreme Court. Hopefully next week we have news about some nominee that they're shitting all over. And we'll
I
shit on that
completely
segment then.
believed
Yeah.
in
It'll be
hell.
super fun.
Yeah, who did not? I mean, I'd be shocked
Oh,
if
yeah,
people
yeah.
did not believe
How could
Anita
you
Hill.
How could
But
you
at the
not?
time, no.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people really did not
Well,
believe
because women
her.
talking like wah wah.
Right, right. They're
Settle
just
down.
making that shit up. Do you know
Hush,
who he
honey,
is?
hush.
Yeah, yeah. Put your apron back on and go back in the kitchen.
Put your apron back.
So there it is. That's some exciting stuff that's happened. It's 5 minutes to 10. 4 minutes to 10.
Oh, we got.
And I
we
saw
already
that
did.
I saw that headline that he talked, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit!
Yeah.
He's alive.
It's alive.
Yeah.
If only Ben Carson would wake up.
No, we
Why
can't
not?
have that.
Wake up, honey. Wake up.
And I love because he has money. I'll just call this my bullshit
Thomas?
thing. No, Carson.
Carson.
Carson has money, so
Sure.
he's not leaving the campaign.
He said as much. No.
At
He's
any
totally said
time.
as much. Yeah.
And now they were saying like he's some bullshit thing said he was going to be Trump's vice president. Do you imagine? No experience and less experience,
That sounds like a really good idea. Let's vote
None
for those guys.
And,
And-
some less none.
and somehow
Less none.
less.
Less
And
none.
further south, Trump.
Exactly.
I just
President Trump and further south, Trump.
further south. Stand by. I like that.
further south.
Further
Trump.
south, Trump.
Right here.
I'm
Yeah,
into it.
that's brilliant.
I mean, I just.
That's brilliant.
But the fact that like he didn't even win, place, or show anywhere. There was
Nowhere.
no, of the 12 states that voted today. Maybe Alaska.
Wait,
There's still
how
hope in
many
Alaska.
delegates does he have? I'm gonna go look.
well, and
No, none. He still hasn't
He
qualified
still has
for any.
zero.
he
Oh, because
just-
they're in a win, lose, or draw kind of
I
situation.
think
I
Kasich
appreciate-
might have like 2.
I appreciate that. What's his wife's name?
Who, Carson?
Carson has 8 delegates.
No. What a fucking
Trump?
piece of
Trump?
shit. Yeah.
Isn't it Ivanka or something?
Nope. Ivanka was the first one that took everything.
Oh yeah, Melania.
Melania.
I
Melania.
think it's
I don't
Elena.
Whatevs. The current Trump woman is actually
Mrs. Trump. I
Woman.
think you would
Trump,
call
as
her.
it were.
Right.
Actually very smart, and spoke with Anderson. I don't know if you guys saw that. Anderson did an interview with her, and she was like, there are things we do not disagree on, or that we do not agree on, and I will let him know And she was a very
He won't care.
no,
say, and
he
he will
won't
just
care.
keep on
But
walking.
I appreciated her because
that's nice.
a lot of stuff has come out about her because of modeling and
Mail
some
order
more
bride
racy.
and-
Well, there's that.
Sure.
And some
I
more
always wanted to
racy
be a
kind
mail
of
order
things.
bride.
Is that working out?
It's
Is
not so good.
MALE or
I mean, really, nobody's ordering. So no.
Yeah.
Nobody's ordering.
And I love her like
We've
how-
received 0 orders.
where do I buy a stamp?
Right.
I don't know.
I love
no,
her have-
no, that came out. That's awkward.
Wow.
Stand by.
What are you gonna do? Lick the back of her?
Stand by.
Oh, I forgot something.
There's a half naked photo of her. Like she posed for like
Oh,
Playboy.
I
or
was
something.
like,
No, we're back to the Trump. one.
okay, because
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I
Wait,
don't
who are
know
you
about
on?
That her.
Oh.
Wait, that came out wrong too.
Yeah. Wow.
I just heard that. Yeah.
I just
I should have seen that one coming.
Seen that coming. One day I was accidentally gonna get on her.
Fantastic exchange. Go on.
No,
I
but
see
we don't know what we're
photos.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Melena or whatever her name is might be.
Melania.
Sure.
I'm making shit up as I go
She's
along.
got some kind of like Burt Reynolds is the centerfold of Cosmo photo out there. So now the Republicans that have been saying how classless like the Obama daughters are because they wear
Yes.
dresses in public and Michelle Obama's
Shut up. I'm
probably a
trying
man.
to be an Obama daughter. We're classy.
I know exactly.
I want them to adopt me. No,
But
it's gonna
just
be
the
fun.
fact that now they have like all the shit that they're talking like it's a foreigner wife.
Right?
She's an immigrant.
Yep.
And she's posed most and I don't know if she was nude and they blacked
She was
out
not.
the bits.
No.
Okay.
I don't believe she's ever posed nude.
But I honestly just
Damn near. but-
I swear to God, this thing listens to us. I type in MEL and it comes up with Melania
See?
Trump.
Boom.
I think it
I like
listens.
it. I like
well, look
it.
for images because there's something of her, and she's like on a bearskin rug. It's just
She is.
It's
I mean,
distasteful.
and think about it. And I agree with this. If that were Michelle, if that had been Michelle Obama,
oh yeah, they would have lost their fucking
are
minds.
you fucking kidding me?
There you go.
Yep. See,
That's it
Not
right-
nude.
But still hoary.
The first lady, ladies and gentlemen.
She, well, the potential first lady.
Yeah, I want her to redecorate that fucking house.
Wait a minute, time out. Yeah! I mean, stand by.
I want you to know that in my mind, I reached a line and I decided not to cross it.
Please do.
Oh,
Please do. You
Good.
did?
Stand by. Al Perkins edited
Well,
himself.
stand by, people.
I mean,
All right.
I'll tell you all later, but I didn't want
So
to.
we're on bullshit?
So wait,
that
so
was
it has to do with this picture?
Yeah, I mean, just
Oh.
bullshit completely to.
Like, where's the rest of the bear? I don't know.
No, and I think I see a little nip there that's not covered in the appropriate
No,
tape.
that's
that may be
that's
the bear
bear's
nose. Yes,
It's the bear's nose.
Hey, boo boo. Hey,
Would you like a picnic?
that's
basket?
what-
what would Scooby do?
That's what I'm calling
do?
bullshit
Oh,
on.
I
Is that the
know,
Republic? I just want to watch the
Amina.
Republicans that are like that whole KKK thing and his earpiece didn't work. I'm like,
God.
how could his earpiece not work if he's repeating back everything that Jake
Everything
Jaffer
but
is saying?
everything but he can't hear that, but he can hear everything else.
Yeah, and he keeps saying, I'm just mean the KKK. That's all I mean. And that the guy has all these different quotes about
Yeah.
the guy whose name I
Has
Aren't
always
there-
talked
forget.
about
Aren't-
David whatever.
And aren't
What is
there
his name?
pictures of them together?
No, he's
Trump
no.
naked?
No,
no,
Trump
no.
with
Ooh,
David
don't do
Duke.
I was
that.
thrilled. I was
Is that right,
thrilled
David
No,
Duke?
because he has
Sorry,
been
yes.
he's been like distancing. He's been saying shitty things about that guy for a long time.
Yeah,
all
but
of,
at the same time, if somebody fucking asks you about him, why does he have to look up and say, now I'm going to have to research that because I'm not sure who it is. Do I know David? Have I
Right.
met him? I don't
Muslims,
know. What
fuck
the
off.
fuck?
Mexicans, fuck off. Oh, the KKK.
David
I don't
Duke,
really-
why-
I don't know that
you
much
want me
about
to,
them.
You want me to say white supremacist?
Why would
I be on
I
my
don't,
side?
I don't know anything about
I'm not
that.
sure yet. How many votes might I
Oh.
get? Where would they put me in the polls?
I thought actually there was a picture of them together at some point, but I don't see
Fucking
it.
no,
douchebags.
and the fact, and that's what makes it so strange that he didn't just say like,
No. Calm down. No, that's what I'm saying.
right,
He should have
right.
said that.
I thought you were saying that.
No,
too. I was
no.
like, that was exciting.
That's what Trump should have
I thought
said.
it was going to be a
He
fight.
should have been like, nope,
Yeah.
we're done with this.
right.
We're not. We're
absolutely.
Yeah.
absolutely.
He doesn't want
Well,
any more to come in, but we're gonna stop.
Because as you watch him
Harrison's
dance around,
absolutely right.
What?
he's not going to alienate any kind of white people.
oh, right.
Yeah.
Any kind of white
Absolutely.
people. So I don't want to say anything for the KKK, but I don't want to say anything against the KKK
Right.
because that's going to alienate some white people.
But
I can say
how-
all the shit I want to about anybody, every other, all the brown people in the world.
That's right.
but all the white people are what he's after, and
And
Right, because you know you got to get
Here-
more
what
of
he's
like
these
I said,
resonating with. Like poor white people are
We
what
love,
he's
we
resonating
love
with.
the we love
Poorly
the
educated.
uneducated, the
No.
poorly educated,
Poorly educated. I'm sorry.
Well, you're doing something wrong
Stand by.
if the KKK supports you.
Oh.
And the interesting, Harrison's spot on. And the thing that makes me crazy with him is that I'm trying to figure out who these dumbasses are that are supporting him. Based on this, he won't say he's for or against the KKK, right?
Right.
So by not applauding them, if you will, for lack of a better word, by not saying, "Oh yeah, I love the KKK," no, white supremacists, meh, supremacists, I'm right here and I appreciate them. Wouldn't he be losing their votes if you're part of the KKK? Wouldn't you want him to say, "Yeah, I'm good with them"?
But they're a secret organization. They wear sheets. They understand.
I
Needed a
get
secret
that,
little.
but does
They need a
everybody
little
get
tug
where
of the
I'm
Also,
going?
quiver
in the
ear.
bigger picture, they are such a small
You're
small
right,
group.
You're right. But why wouldn't they stand up against him if he won't stand up for them?
Because he's their best shot.
Sure.
Okay, fair, very fair, and that's I'm not.
You
trying
gonna
to
get
make a
somebody
point,
else to
I'm
say horrible
curious.
things about?
You're right. You're right. I'm not trying to make a point with that.
Oh,
I'm just
no.
curious. Like,
and plus,
how
because
in
they're
the
known for their
world?
virtue and like all their
Hugely,
principles.
right.
Yeah.
And their
Yes,
hoods.
they are. Yes,
Because the alternative
they're
is
all good in the hood.
Bernie Sanders is going to be Jewish to them no matter what he says. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's true.
He can denounce anybody he wants to. He's still going to be Jewish.
You're right.
That's not going
That's
nowhere.
True. That's very true.
And actually go to the Onion and
Yeah.
read the facts and myths about Bernie Sanders' campaign. God bless the Onion for getting it absolutely. Shall we read them?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Oh,
Let's-
that's brilliant.
All right. Since I was invited, I'll do it.
Please,
right.
you are invited. Why is that on the biggest letters I've ever seen in my life?
Shut up.
Okay, here we go.
happened?
Bernie
I
Sanders
can't even
campaign.
see it, and I just want to know. Shut up. If the font is big, you just shut up.
Okay, here we go. Myth. Sanders isn't experienced enough to be president. Fact. He has decades of experience having his ideas shot down by Congress.
That's a true point. That's true.
Myth.
One. Ding. One.
Sanders will take people's money and redistribute it. Fact. Sanders also plans to seize all family heirlooms and precious keepsakes.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow that.
Myth. Sanders was at the March on Washington. Fact. Sanders was marching for the entirety of 1958 to 1974.
The judge's rule. Stand by.
Yeah.
Myth. No self-avowed socialist can win a U.S. general election. Fact. No Jewish person can win a U.S. general election.
Again. Fair.
Myth. Sanders lacks adequate foreign policy experience. Fact. Sanders has detailed knowledge of which countries America should stand to learn a thing or two from.
I thought you were going to flip that out.
Let me do that one again.
I'll
Yes.
say, read that.
Read that back.
Myth. Sanders lacks adequate foreign policy experience. Fact. Sanders has detailed knowledge of which countries America could stand to learn a two thing from. Learn a thing or two
One thing or two from.
I like it.
That was the trick. That's tricky wording to something really funny. Myth. Sanders could never win on a national scale. Fact. The normal bounds of reason and logic do not apply in this election cycle.
That's a true fact.
Myth. Sanders doesn't have a presidential appearance. Fact. Only female candidates' appearances ought to be scrutinized.
Of course. I stand by.
Myth. Influential individuals and groups are hesitant to endorse Sanders. Facts. Endorsements are immaterial until pipe fitters local 392 has had their say. Myth. Sanders is too weak on international affairs to stop ISIS. Fact. The Great Caliphate will never be stopped. All infidels will burn in hell for eternity after God's final day of judgment. Myth. Sanders is unelectable. Fact. A candidate named Bernie has never lost a presidential election.
I like their
That's
perspective.
great. I like their view. It's a good view.
I just have to tell
Yeah.
you, when in doubt, just go to Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the
Go
Onion.
to the
The
Onion.
Onion knows what's up.
But
I
that's
feel like-
what's so fun
Whatever
about
this is
that
delicious.
site because it's just like Jesus.
I feel like you should be a contributor to the Onion.
Spot
Oh,
on.
spot on.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wish we were witty enough.
I'm not joking.
Hillary Clinton
I'm not kidding about how
Hillary
big that
Clinton
is.
issues single
We're
word
not.
victory speech following her Super Tuesday results. Satisfactory, says candidate.
Stand by. Very quickly. May I just tell you something? With these glasses up here in my forehead, I can read that from here.
That's why it's that big.
No, it's brilliant. That's all.
Good job.
You-
Way to go with your
This is
X-ray
nothing
vision
special.
there.
You can make your
girl.
font bigger too.
I've just never.
No, she's looking at the 10-point headline.
I was like, what
Can you see that? There you go.
Oh, that's all.
all right, so there you go.
Wow, that was fantastic.
Bullshit. We'll just cut
Marty,
bullshit on.
bullshit, go.
I just don't like the fact that somebody that is exactly my age is trying to
getting
ask
all
her,
judgy
why is the
about
font
eyesight."
big?
Yeah.
Really? You're 46 years old.
That shit happens to everyone.
Oh,
And he's older than that.
that's a good point. No. There's nothing wrong
And
with
still
that. It
reading the
was just-
small print.
No. By the way, I think everyone needs to settle the fuck down. Because all I was saying was from here I went, oh, like it was clear as fucking day in front of me.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's delightful.
Well, if you turn it this way, it's not. So a lot of times you'll see me with my thing like this.
By the way, I don't want to
It
know
makes
about
it
your
fatter.
thing. I don't want to know about your thing.
I'm
or
thinking
the
maybe
width.
someday we're going to get an optometrist in here. We're actually going to do an eye exam on everybody.
Oh my god, I'll fail.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I say
I don't have to take my
brilliant.
contacts
I
out,
told you,
do
I just don't wear my glasses. I wear them at home.
I know you've worn them in here. Marty wears hers
Oh, yeah,
now.
yeah.
I don't
I do
need them in
now,
here because
yeah.
I've made everything on every screen so fucking big. I can see it without my glasses.
Also, that's why
Oh my
you're a
god,
little
somebody
touchy
remind
about
me
that.
to bring my glasses.
Oh, I need to actually make
I
that
win.
screen bigger, because I don't have to look at the screen. I look at that one. I can read the clock. I can read the sign about shows without technical errors.
No wonder, that's good.
I have.
So now I'm gonna my bullshit is gonna be insignificant tonight.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Well,
No,
then let's just move on.
no.
Next
Stand
guy,
by.
What flavor
Stand
was
by.
that?
like bread.
No.
I don't know. It was delicious and sweet and sugary.
So-
in the middle
so
is like
here's the
some
deal.
sort of a
Okay.
Still
Burry.
over here.
All right.
Sorry.
All right.
So normally I come
Fake
up with
baby.
something like kind of heavy. Well, this was just the what the fuck moments from the Oscars. What the fuck?
All right.
There were,
Okay.
and there were a number of them.
Okay. have to look up
Remember when
something.
we were sitting there watching the Oscars and Kevin Hart got bleeped?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that at all?
Yeah.
Like we were sitting there like because we had to put a sticker. We were playing bingo for everyone out there. We were playing an Oscar bingo, and anyone who got censored, we would have to drink. When Kevin Hart was bleeped out for no apparent reason, that was bullshit number one. He said congratulations. They were so afraid that somebody was going to say something, or that, let me rephrase that he was going
gonna
to say
that they
something.
just preemptively beeped
That they
him?
preemptively beeped him, or bleeped him out, whatever. I just thought, come on. That whole thing when, what's his face from this guy right here.
Oh, Ali G.
Yeah, the Ali G thing, but what's his actual name?
Sasha.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid. The Suge Knight joke, I don't know about anybody else, but I thought that was one of the funniest fucking things. I thought that was great.
Well, the funniest part was he didn't know Suge Knight was in prison.
I know.
Well, no, there's
And that's why part
being
of it
in
was
prison
very
and
funny.
being in a straitjacket like Hannibal
No.
Lecter are two different
It-
things.
it
Bite
takes
somebody?
It did look a little different.
So
I agree.
Suge Knight was not present. He's in jail
No,
right now,
he's not.
facing serious time for murder
Murder.
charges. And Chris Rock was only poking fun at Knight via the actor R. Marcos Taylor, who played him in the film Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, I didn't even
Oh,
realize
okay.
that was him.
Right. So that's why it was so fantastic, was because, here, that movie wasn't given any love.
Right, except for
And,
best screenplay.
Oh, there's
And
But they,
so
but they
gotcha.
nominated the white guys.
Right. And then Sarah Silverman comes out and starts talking, just fucking rambling about James Bond
Dick,
and blah,
and a
blah,
grower,
blah.
not a shower, and bad in bed. That was not funny.
No one understood that.
She's often not funny.
On the,
Often.
I agree
Oh,
completely.
God, but when she's
No,
on.
when she's funny, she's
she
fucking
is
hilarious, but she
on.
is often
But not. I agree.
Jesus
and
is
I
Magic.
feel like,
If you have not seen the movie Jesus
I
is
love
Magic,
Jesus is-
that movie hurts. It's so funny.
I feel like Jimmy Kimmel sat there and went, I made the right choice. When she
mean,
was up
Yeah,
there.
there.
But they have something on this website that says when Leonardo went off about Mother Earth, that pissed me off that he was on this same list. Because I thought he really did.
that was a wonderful job.
Fantastic
Sure.
speech.
I mean,
Sam Smith's performance, that no one clapped when Jenny Beavan won. Costume designer Jenny Beavan was making her way to the stage. Remember, I said, who the fuck has that jacket on? Who has that leather jacket on? She
Right.
looks like she's out of...
The weird thing is when they show the whole clip,
Yep.
they're clapping. She's way in the back of the theater.
Takes an
They
hour to get
stop
there.
Takes an
clapping,
hour,
and then when
right.
she gets to the stage, they clap again. There was just
Exactly.
that lull of like, is she not here?
Right.
Because
Right,
it took her so
right.
long to get up
Well,
there.
because you get tired of clapping after a while. Like,
Now-
that only needs to last.
Exactly. Well, wait.
But it really was funny that they caught the scene where they all took a little break from clapping. But
Yeah.
the minute she gets back on stage, they're all clapping again.
Well, it's kind of like, when we're trying to get people back up on stage after a concert. Your hands hurt.
Yes.
Encore, fuck you.
I often don't participate in that.
When the
that
In
part.
Memoriam tribute, I thought this would be an interesting reaction from you guys. When the In Memoriam tribute left out Abe Vigoda,
yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Burton,
I had
and more.
I had
Who's
Abe
Ann
Vigoda
Moore?
on there.
Well, they have Uggy the dog, but I let that go. The Oscars In Memoriam left out at least Jeffrey Lewis, Tony Burton, Joan Leslie, George Gaines, Abe Vigoda.
Oh, George Gaines.
and Uggy the
George
dog.
Gaines was the guy from Tootsie that we just talked about last week. Just
Oh,
recently
right.
died.
Right.
I don't know who Tony Burton is.
And Jeffrey Lewis's daughter tweeted about the blunder, saying at the Academy it was obvious, it was an obvious oversight, not to mention my father.
Oh, Tony
Hashtag
Burton.
Jeffrey Lewis.
He played Apollo Creed's trainer in the first couple Rocky movies.
Okay.
Yes, I actually saw that one. But the
And
one
they-
that I thought Abe Vigoda, because it's also the Academy.
Right.
It's not
was
just every
he in,
actor.
Like, what? Tell me what he would have been
Abe
nominated
Vigoda,
for.
not nominated, but he's in The Godfather, and
Godfather,
Godfather 2.
right.
Right. Oh, I thought it was about nominations half the time.
No,
No.
no.
Oh,
A lot
see,
of-
I'm in.
No,
okay.
you could have never
Okay.
been nominated, but just been an
And still
actor.
in a film.
and a member
Right.
of the Academy. But
Right.
they do
Okay.
pare it down. And there is a publicist who worked for many years getting work because what they do, it's a campaign. So they have publicists hired to throw parties, to get events together, to get people to see the movies, to like do Q&As with the cast. They parade them all over Hollywood. They have dinners, luncheons, so you can see the movie, have your spaghetti dinner. Well, the one guy that made it into the list, and the guy on Gold Derby, Tom O'Neill, the website that I'm always on, it was a friend of his, and the Academy had wavered for the last 3 days. Like, they told the family he might be included, he might not. We edited at the last minute.
Okay.
And at the last minute, someone must have campaigned for him, and he got on there.
Oh, nice.
But I thought the Abe Vigoda one, I thought he should have been in there for
I
the
agree.
Godfather and Godfather 2.
Okay.
You know, the George Gaines, he's in Tootsie, but then he goes into like Police Academy 17 movies. So, like when they were all offended about Farrah Fawcett, you tell me what Academy Award worthy movie Farrah Fawcett starred in. She was in Sunburn and Extremities. Extremities was pretty good, but
Oh, okay. See, and I
She's
was
a
thinking
TV
those-
star.
right? TV.
Right.
That's
Right.
what
So
I
that
was
would have been
asking.
at the
there's
Emmys.
so the Emmys can take their business to you,
And the Emmys, I'm sure next year will do that because obviously he was in so many television series and different things. Like Barney Miller, he was in for the
Yes,
whole run.
and
And
I
probably
figured
George,
that would have made
probably
sense to
George
me.
Gaines would show up at the Emmys for his Punky Brewster and his work
Okay.
on. But you never know.
Right. The last two, when these kids did a better job presenting than most adults. And we kind of talked to it because I'm in love with Jacob Tremblay.
Oh yeah.
At this point, I'm in love with that little boy from The Room that you thought was a little
I keep-
girl
I'm
in The Room.
confused about the girl
I'm not.
thing.
I'm
No, I
I'm
get it
not
because
disagreeing, but
It's the wig because he never got a haircut. Now I
Right.
understand.
And Abraham Attah from Beasts of No Nation.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? Attah?
Yeah, something like that.
That they stole the show, and they were so cute. The only thing for me was Jacob Tremblay wasn't close enough
Up
to
to
the
the
mic.
microphone.
And I kept thinking of Clayton. Put the mic in front of you.
Oh,
But
that drives me
And
crazy.
lastly, that fucking Stacey Dash. Like,
there's
that was
a
the
joke
most
that-
awkward moment, and it didn't land. And I
Yeah.
got why she was coming out there,
'Cause
but
she's
it
on all of-
didn't land.
And,
Oh, it was awful.
And she's just she's an annoying cunt.
She is an annoying cunt. But do you guys remember that when the whole
I remember her coming out, but I didn't know who
And
the
she
fuck
said
she was.
something about Happy Black History Month, but
Yes.
she's been the one on Fox News and all over the Republican stations talking about how they should get rid of all Black History Month and the BET Awards and all that stuff.
Oh,
like,
I know.
when Smith, Jada
Wilson.
Pinkett Smith, came out and said we're going to boycott, and we're going to do this and that. Stacey Dash came out with her own feelings on it, and it was kind of a big deal because she looked like a fucking idiot. And she comes out and she makes this big announcement about why that's wrong and whatever. So all of a sudden, here she comes out at the Oscars,
And she just says
and
the
people
Happy
were
Black
like-
History Month,
right.
and it's like, but if you
The
were,
irony was just like,
yeah, and the people there probably were
Yeah.
not following that story close enough to know that
right.
this bitch just made another left turn into Crazy Town.
Gotcha.
I told you, she's the one. She's on the 2012 election, the Larry King show that goes on for 5 hours, where they have no election results. They're in more of a bubble than we are.
Right.
So they're all
That's
going
hard
on
to
like
do.
rumor and innuendo, and they
hard to do.
think the Karl Rove thing is right. That Karl Rove, what he was doing at Fox News, questioning the results, they think he's right because of who's like giving them information and the sources that they're reading. But in that whole thing, like she's Latina 1 minute and then she's black the next, like she kept changing races
When you were telling me that, I
and
was
telling
like,
everybody to
"Latina?"
shut up because they weren't black or Latina women. Like, and then we're like, well, pick something. Like you can't represent.
that
You're
was
not Tiger
funny.
Woods. Like there's got to be some race you're not currently representing. But she
Fair.
would just shut everybody down.
And the fact that and Drew makes me laugh that he has the dog, but I'll let that go. That we're talking about the dog from The Artist. That's who Uggy the dog is.
Oh,
Still dead.
got it.
Yeah.
Still dead.
Still dead. But the fact that was not in the that Uggy or UG or whatever the fuck the name is
Yeah, I got
was not
nothing.
in kills me.
We're running
Digress.
short on time, so let's move on.
Digress,
Do you have a
sorry.
bullshit that you're going to
Sure.
come? Go ahead.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go with Donald J. Trump's positions on his official website
Oh,
as the bullshit.
is it the
for this
Kama
week.
Sutra?
Good for you.
Well,
Trump.
he's a very diverse candidate.
Yeah.
His positions are as follow, or his. I won't even read the whole position, just the topics.
Is most of it
Fabulous.
doggy?
Yeah.
No,
Because he wants the rest of us to take it that way, according to it sounds like.
Yeah.
and I can't imagine why Rednecks of America are lining up behind this man because his positions and the things that he feels are important
You're
are
exactly right.
the U.S.-China trade reform, Veterans Administration reform, tax reform, Second Amendment rights, and immigration reform. You really just touched on everything. I mean, all he didn't do was endorse Mountain Dew.
Right.
Is that an option?
Yeah. I'm pro Mountain Dew.
Right, I feel
I
like
would like the wake up drink of America to be Mountain Dew because I really like Mountain Dew. It's
sorry.
really good.
Diet Mountain Dew. We learned that from Kim Davis. Diet Mountain
Oh, good point. Good point.
Stand by.
Dew. Right.
Bad
So he's-
moo-moos, but Diet Mountain Dew.
He's pro-choice. He's pro-life. He's pro-women. He's anti-women.
He's pro
Right.
douchebag.
He loves the Mexicans. He hates the Mexicans.
The only things that he will say anything about are these 5 things.
Yeah.
They're on his website.
Yep.
Small
Oh, it's
paragraph.
gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Gonna be great. Here, I'm gonna make it great. I tell you,
Make
I'm gonna
America
make it
great again.
And no one's done more for equality than me.
Fuck that. I about fell over in my
I feel like Stacey
room.
Dash did more for equality.
Jeez.
I-
Right, well, yeah.
Have you ever had one of those moments where you're like, I kind of want to shoot my
That's
TV?
funny.
When he said that out loud at that speech,
Nobody's
I'm
done
like,
more than equality.
that's what I was
for me.
like. This is why I can't trust news stations anymore because you can't play that and not cut to everybody in the studio and be like, what?
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do a reverse bullshit. I think that it's funny that it came out that at the Oscars, because they bullshitted everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
I think it came. It's funny that at the Oscars, the story broke that Rob Zombie was actually kicked out of the Oscars because they thought he was a homeless man, but it's a fake story.
Oh,
Oh my God, that's
That'd be really funny if it was
I
true.
did not hear about that. That's funny.
It was all over the interwebs.
Was it?
And
I
then it
didn't
was
see
a
that.
busted story. And I'm like, well, that seems plausible. I mean,
Yeah.
they could have looked at him and been like, you got to go.
I'm sorry. Even if you have a house, you can't come in.
Well, isn't that what we've said for so long now with the Onion coming out and everything else
yeah.
that we are
And you
like?
just-
So you have
Oh,
to be
no.
very careful. Yes. Well,
a shame.
it was on the news today. A Time magazine photographer who
Yes.
was at a Trump rally
Choked.
was photographing some sort of a dispute, and was it Secret Service? that
Secret
jumped
Service.
him?
They were photographing Black Lives Matter that came into a Trump rally, and they were leaving, and he went, and apparently he had been having words with Secret Service, and they put
They
their
did a
arms around his
chokehold.
fucking neck and threw him down. Like, and they're showing this over.
Yeah, it
and
was-
Oh, it's all like kicked
and,
out
and
black
then
students.
my
kicked
favorite
out black
part of
students
that
today.
same thing was Trump looked at a person of more Asian descent and said, "Now, are you Mexican? Are you Mexican?" Like yelling up at her, asking her, "What a fucking idiot.
He is.
Just a dude.
I know, like somebody said that, ISIS is watching your elections. Yes, they are.
Yeah. And laughing.
Because they're like, well, we can invade when this fucker comes on.
all the way
Yeah,
back
Drew's
to their
right.
trench.
Did you guys hear the
Whoopi Oprah mistake?
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was fun. I didn't know Oprah had tattoos or
And
got a new
dreadlocks.
tat and dreads. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, as we're in the waning moments of tonight's show, let's go
that
into
tells you that Whoopi needs to go on a diet.
let's go into this segment, and it's
Oprah
our
loves
final
bread, by the
segment.
way.
Right.
And now, thoughtful vulgarity, where we in the studio try to make ourselves slightly less shallow, which is not hard to do. We will ask one question of the panel while fucked up drunk. Because you know at home how well it goes when important questions come up several hours after alcohol has been served. Politics, religion, why not? What could possibly go wrong? Who could you offend? Good luck.
So, do you think it would be wise to shut Bernie up and make him the VP choice, even though he's older than she is and horribly white?
Well, he is Santa Claus in a lot of ways, but shut him up and make him the VP?
No. But like, is that how you know that they did a little deal and offered her Secretary of State to get her out of the 08 race because she was still in June.
Do I think that he would make a great VP?
No, I'm just saying, like, is that an offer? Like, is that something?
I don't think it's a bad
If you're
offer.
the leadership, as it were, is that something that you're
I don't think
of?
it's a bad offer at all. I still think that it should be someone else, but I don't think it would be a bad offer to make for him. And
Or
if
do
he
you
became
offer him something else, like
something, I think
in
there's
the
something
cabinet
else.
or in the?
But to get the kids to vote, you got to kind of put him in the VP
You
seat.
have to put right. You have to make him a.
If you want those 18 to 24-year-olds to come out and vote.
Yeah. I would say then if you're making that deal, yes, but otherwise no. I think that Cory Booker is the VP
Ooh, that
choice.
would be hot. That would be, yeah, I agree.
I say no. I feel like, it's probably going to sound really naive, but I feel like I have to trust the process. Like, let him run all the way until it's done.
Oh, yeah,
to the nomination. You know what I mean?
But
Would he make a great VP? Absolutely. But like, there's a really naive part of me that still believes in the process and believes that the process would work even better if everybody participated.
You're right.
But I still believe, and not just in presidential politics, like in a lot of things, I believe that the process works.
Oh, it
and
does,
have
but
to
you know,
kind of- you have
these
to kind of
deals,
trust it.
these
Sure.
deals always come down.
I woke up this morning and I was thinking about, you know how we've talked many a time about how get rid of the electoral college, and let all the people. And this morning,
And now you found out that the primary system is way worse than
Way
the
more
electoral
fun.
college.
than the electoral
right, but I was
college,
like, oh dear God, if it was the other way and it was every single vote, I don't know, it would be terrifying to find out if all of these idiots who are just blindly following the Jim Jones, if you will, of our current political cycle, if they all vote, all these fucking morons, and it was a popular vote that totally took the whole thing, would we be fucked?
I mean, it's only gone the other way. The electoral college has only not agreed with
The
the
populist
populist
vote.
vote twice. Bush and I can't remember the other one. It's in the
Oh.
1840s or
It was a long,
80s.
yeah, like
Yeah, there's only
ridiculous.
once in the modern age, but
Because I figured that's where we choke this. If it all goes to the wire and we're done, it's like if they look at the numbers, like what's he ain't
Grover
gonna win.
Cleveland won
Oh.
the popular vote but lost the election.
yeah, and then he won like 2 more anyway, so it
Okay.
didn't matter.
I don't know. I just was. I woke up this morning. I was thinking of different things. And I'm like, oh dear God, that would be terrifying.
And I think
Also, Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, but we're talking about moons ago.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
when
yeah,
something
right,
happened,
right.
But
right?
still, yeah,
Yeah.
so it's been-
It had not happened between Grover Cleveland in 1888 until
Bush.
Al Gore
yeah,
in
it took
2000.
112
Right,
years.
right,
So
right.
I'm just saying, like, that's
Way to go with the math.
Nicely
Right,
Man,
done.
way to go.
right on it.
What the, by the way, what the fuck is that?
That's Chinese math. I saw a video like
I don't believe you.
I didn't know what that
Stand by.
was either.
Stand by. I do not believe
no,
you.
there's
You've got 90 seconds.
there's
Figure it
kids in
out.
China that like, hang on.
So, my thing on that would be, yes, because I think there's going to be a drop off of younger voters, because I think part of the thing with all of this, like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this healthcare thing is like, are you not paying attention to how little you can get done in office?
Right.
And if you're an independent and you're not a Democrat, like, you need the Senate to go with you. And I just don't see him
Pulling that.
I don't see him campaigning for Democrats down the tick because he's an independent. Like, he doesn't campaign for Democrats. Like, Clinton has a better history. I don't see Trump going to the Senate. Like, if once he gets the thing, you want to go down ticket and you want to start campaigning for local people on that level to win the Congress with you. Like, that's the joy of, you know, Obama once. The rest of the time he lost the fucking thing. But so I think, but you lose those young voters, and it might be like, make it a combined ticket and hope for the best.
Right. Oh, I think
then
that
you have
could
no
be
future of the Democratic Party because now everybody's in their 80s. Now we've like used up all the old white people in the world. But you have to this has to start skewing younger. So you got to find out who they like. Because even, like, everybody wants, what's her face from Massachusetts? Elizabeth Warren. She's as old as they are.
Love her.
Right.
Right, but again, you have, like, now we got to worry about longevity.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Well,
I think that's where the Republicans have the advantage at this point.
Right, they have they do that running younger people. Even if
Correct.
they lose this cycle.
And I'm not talking, I mean, you have Cruz, you have Rubio, but the gal from
South Carolina.
And
so even if you lose this cycle, 4 years from now, you're not even 50.
Boys and girls, we've talked about it enough. We'll talk about it more next week. It'll be more exciting, except it won't be Super Tuesday. If you've got time, or if you don't, stop by, see us. It's Q Talk America. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Kat Carlson, Marnie Ryer, and Al Perkins. We will leave you with this parting thoughts.
Adult diapers are required.
We'll see you next Tuesday!
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America.